I've been seeing going around. All right, let's go
Yeah,
live. Here we
all
go.
of it, all of it. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's me and Batman here today. Shinobi's having some weather
Hola.
issues, but we got plenty for you folks. The anime awards just happened. We'll discuss that. Feel free to ask. JJK is
Yeah.
dropping. We got Maki. People I know are writing with her. She's about to fight Sukuna. After Yuta did his thing, Yuji did his thing. Obviously, RP Gojo did his thing.
Oh my god,
Um,
my key scales just kinda Toji.
Yeah, I see all these Toji agendas on Twitter, like, oh my god, Maki's doing work! But apparently I saw a spoiler alert, that Sukuna's still holding back. So there's that. This to destroy. And I like Toji. I'm not hating on Toji. I'm just saying he's still holding back, just to give you that. And he's injured, and he's dealt with a bunch of people coming at him. So
Yep.
imagine being purposely nerfing yourself and having to engage in combat for that much time. Just keep that in mind.
Yep.
What's going on,
Like, bro,
Raspberry?
he's fighting the whole fucking war, bro.
Yeah, he's he's
Like, and he
he's
doesn't give a
backpacking.
fuck. Like
Yeah.
what people don't understand, he fought Gojo, who was the strongest, the only guy that could actually scale to him and have any fucking chance remotely. And then in the end, we find out that he was even holding back against Gojo.
Yeah,
Even
literally.
Gojo conceded he wasn't, whatever, blah blah. Then we find out he has other forms. So
Yeah,
it's like
forearms.
that means all these side little fucking bitch ant characters, bro. All of them would get clapped by the form that fought Gojo, basically the
Oh
one
my
with no
god.
arms, whatever, and
Yeah.
just going.
If he
Like they would
lost,
all clapped. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So like, imagine if he went like full power, like fucking perfect Susanoo, and
Yeah.
like basically like how Madara like fights the five target holding back, but he doesn't do perfect, whatever. Basically, if Sukuna did full perfect Susanoo, bro, all arms, whatever you name it, he would slam everybody at the same time.
It'd be like,
Gojo,
yeah.
side characters, it'd be a massacre.
It'd be like the 5 Kage versus Madara if he went all out. So,
Literally. And he's not
yeah.
doing that. He's just
Yeah,
having
he
fun. He's enjoying. He's similar to Madara. He likes to fight, right? He likes to experience and enjoy it while it lasts.
yeah.
But then overall, he's going to kill him in the end, right? Very
Yeah.
similar to Madara. But he won't go full fucking power at all. He hasn't been pushed to that
He
point.
likes
They
yeah,
haven't.
he likes evolving. Like you see it in the Gojo battle after he defeats him. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, Mahoraga gave me this sort of paradigm to evolve, and I was able to utilize an attack to cut through your infinity, and now you're dead.
Yeah.
Like he enjoys the taste of blood, kind of like Madara. They have that parallel in a way. Speaking of Madara,
Yeah.
and he enjoys evolving. Like he enjoys combat and he enjoys the improvement aspect, which is why he's so dominant. He never stops improving. Like he wants to
Yeah,
improve.
and that's another thing too. It's like what people don't understand is like he could literally like speed blitz Gojo if he like transformed further. Now in like that first form, I don't think he obviously I don't think he would have been able to speed blitz. He did
Yeah,
say he was
yeah,
holding back, but even
yeah.
if he went full, I don't think he would still be able to do that. I think we'd have to transform and then
It
he
was
could.
yeah.
But overall, like bottom line is he did no matter what need that adaptation ability.
Oh
Like
yeah,
he
he
needed
definitely
the
did.
doomsday feat
Yeah,
because that's just how broken Infinity is. It doesn't even matter how
it's a
fucking
hacks. Yeah,
powerful you scale, whatever. It's literally hacks. It's like the fucking Totsuka Blade or the Yata Mirror. So like that, so that is absolutely a given. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if we're still being objective, Sukuna still scales over. It's just once again, how do you beat fucking hacks when it's automatic and it's always on? You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like it's
It
not
was
like
kind of like
comboing.
yeah, exactly. What's going on, Terrion, Marcus? What's going on, Steven? Love your streams, man. Appreciate you, brother. By the way, make sure to hit
Yeah.
the. Oh, shit, give me a second. I was just right there. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already, folks. Really appreciate it. Shout out to all you guys. We're speaking to JJK today because we've seen some agendas being thrown around. By the way, just to keep it clear, I love Toji. The only guy I love more than him is Gojo. He's
Facts.
like my
He's my
second favorite
favorite.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so him and
Yep.
Gojo are top two in my, and after that I'd probably be
For me,
Sukuna.
he's my favorite. Like
Yeah.
I understand why everyone picks Gojo. Don't get me wrong,
Oh yeah,
but
he's
for me,
fucking
number
yeah.
one is Toji. That
Toji's
I'm
just
sorry.
cold.
I'm a
Yeah.
Taijutsu lover, bro. All day, every day. You know what I mean? I fuck with that shit. That's why
He's
Rock
kind
Lee
of
back
like
then, the part one was like my
yeah.
guy. But
He is kind of
yeah,
like my guy. He's like the top physical combatant.
peak of yeah, nothing. And
Yeah.
there's no hacks, no ninja. Nothing.
Yeah,
Just straight with
literally.
hands and just
Just straight
like
hands.
being built different.
He has a heavenly
Like,
restriction, enhanced physicality. Um,
exactly.
yeah, Maki's carrying
No,
his
no
legacy,
aura,
but
right? You can't even detect it
yeah,
or
he
some
can't.
shit,
So
right?
that's why he kind of snuck
Yeah,
up on Gojo when they first fought because he couldn't detect him. His 6 eyes couldn't like detect any cursed energy because he has zero.
yeah.
Like Maki too. That both people And apparently, if I'm not mistaken, you can't use domains on them because they have no cursed energy to
Yeah,
triangulate.
that too.
So
Like he's
that's
just
another.
cracked. That's
Yeah,
because he's pure fucking normal taijutsu, bro.
yeah.
Like
You can't really hack him. You have to kill him. Like basically, I mean,
so that's why I love Toji. Like he's the guy that like sure he was given those unique traits. You can argue that too. Like it's still like kind of like the born genius trait he was given, but
yeah,
at the same time he earned all his shit as
yeah. He's an
well. He still
assassin.
had to train and yeah, like
Yeah,
he's an exception and he's just fucking built different. And most importantly, if you guys don't know this already, but the way it goes is Gojo, oh no, it goes Gojo when he like way back in the past, right? That loses to Toji.
yeah,
Then it's Toji above that Gojo. Then when Gojo evolves and gets his next form and he's way more powerful and shits on Toji, now it's that Gojo over Toji. And then it's Sukuna, right? And then fucking Sukuna be over that Gojo. And then it's very simple chain scaling. You know,
yeah.
that's like the
It's much more
peak
simple.
level of powers that we see. So it's
Yeah,
like when people start pushing these weird agendas with Toji, and they're like, "Oh my god, he can fight fucking Sukuna or even a full power Gojo." It's like, motherfucker, did you not see him lose
yeah.
to full power Gojo? He got
He
shitted
lost.
on. You know what I
He
mean?
lost to a not to hate on Toji, but he lost to a delirious Gojo. Gojo was in the sky like high as fuck. He's like, oh
Yeah, he
my
wasn't
god.
even mentally competent. He was
Yeah,
fucking Gara. Like he was fucking losing his
yeah.
mind,
He
bro.
was like in the
Like
skies, like I'm awake, and then he sniped him with his hollow
oh,
purple. I was
no,
like,
when you
fuck.
said the noodles, he was like, "You're right. You're so right."
Yeah, he's like the battle's just begun. And Gojo's like, you're right, dude. Holy shit! And then he snipes him with the purple. I
And
was
then
like,
he just checks on him.
and then Toji stands there like, fuck, man, the fuck happened? Like he's just standing there
Yeah,
like, oh,
he's literally like thinking don't get me wrong, he's still being a badass, like cold and
oh hell
collected.
yeah,
He's pulling up Madara and Sasuke, and
yeah,
he's like, like what the fuck? But he literally concedes and says this guy is just different. I can't do shit.
yeah.
Basically,
He kind
he
of,
was
yeah,
dodging all his attacks casually, effortlessly.
yeah,
That's
he
how
took it on the
much he
chin.
killed over.
Yeah, he definitely took it on the chin. He was like, fuck. Like
Yeah.
I remember like he's iterating to himself like, this mindset is what got me killed. Like he like had like he admits like his ego maybe it was might have been what it was. Like
Well,
he's like,
see,
oh,
that
this
was the
sort of
crazy thing
mindset.
too, though, Jay. When he got shitted on by Purple, he
Yeah.
was still just unfazed, standing there with half his body blown the
Yeah,
fuck up,
blown the fuck
and he just
off.
and then he looks at his blood and he grabs it with his hand. And he's like, okay." He's like, "Well, that sucks."
Yeah, he just like he puts his hand like where his arm used to be. He's like, well,
Yeah,
I
he's like, "Well,
just
that's it. GG's. All right, yeah, you got it, bro." You know what I mean? Like, so
like
it's like
he
overall, we clearly see his fucking limits, right? You know what I mean?
yeah
And then when we see him revived, it's once again blatantly demonstrated. We see him fight a special grade that was shitting on grade one sorcerers. Now they were relative, right?
yeah
But
yeah
it was way more powerful, and they were all gonna die. They all even conceded that, you name it, and they were like basically saying if someone needs to break the domain from the outside, otherwise we're fucked, right? You know. So,
yeah
but then
exactly.
he shows up, breaks the domain, gets in there, beats his fucking ass. But and he didn't like one shot in speed blitz or anything, but he did scale over that special grade. So that special grade was at least relative to Toji, right? So either way, if you connect all those dots, it's blatant like exactly where he would be, and that's basically where Gojo would have been in the past too. Okay,
Yeah, way
that's
back
one way
when.
to comprehend
Yeah.
that. So overall, then we see the next big bad, the next level, which is Sukuna, who's not even at max power, right? He comes along and it's just shitting on everything, blowing up a fucking city, having a big crazy battle with the Doomsday creature. You know what I mean? It's like that Doomsday creature and Sukuna would have shitted on that fucking Toji. You
Oh hell
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they were just way more powerful, blatantly
Yeah.
emphasized. So it's like he has his limits, you know?
Yeah, there's certainly like more like me and Batman were talking about before the stream. There's just more direct, blatant scaling in JJK, which is what I like.
Yeah,
Obviously, there's enough to like make it interesting. Like obviously the author's not going to give it away. Kind of like what Toriyama
yeah,
said, why he stopped power levels, like numeric power levels, because he doesn't want to give it away. But
that's
it is more blatant though. Like, oh, okay, this guy scales over this guy, Gojo's over the rest of these guys, Sukuna's just above him. Toji's like the top assassin that can kill most
yep.
people, but can't kill Gojo or like obviously Sukuna.
Or
Probably not
Sukuna, or
Mahoraga
yep,
either.
yep.
But it's definitely more direct though, which is I enjoy it. Like this is what we said too. Like the author Gege just takes more risks, which I like. He lets people
Yeah.
die. We've seen fucking like main cast people die. Like Mahito fucking killed a couple people that we fucked with, right? Nobito, like
Yeah,
we fucked with him. He got slaughtered right in front of our eyes, like. And that made
crazy.
Yuji have this moment, like where he kind of let go and he fucked up Mahito, and obviously we saw how that went. I enjoy the
Yep.
risks that are taken because obviously I mean, this is a criticism, to be honest, and I love Dragon Ball, but obviously Toriyama is very hesitant to let go of
to kill
Vegeta,
anyone. Yeah,
Goku. Like they die, yeah, but they come back, right? So it kind of delegitimizes that sort of like emotional
it's
appeal.
like Marvel and DC. The
Yeah,
heroes die, they come back every time.
exactly,
Batman
and
dies, comes back. You know.
it's even like the Gohan story where the rumor is that the reason Gohan didn't take the mantle after the Cell arc was because people were adamant about keeping Goku at the top, and Toriyama kind of listened. Right? He's like, all right, I'll keep him at the top of the as the main the MC. While conversely, Gege killed Gojo off, who, let's be honest, was probably the main character to most of us for the majority of the time until he got killed. Even though he won supporting character this year, let's be honest, most of the time before his death, he was the
Was
guy.
literally the
Like
main,
he was
yeah.
the fucking guy.
Anytime it was drawn on him, it was always the main event, the main story, and it was always
Yeah,
Gojo, never Yuji.
exactly. So it's like that's why I fuck with. I think that's why most people fuck with it because the sort of climax and the odds that are against the
Unique,
protagonist,
different.
it's real. Yeah, it's real
Yeah.
shit. Like if you fail, you're gonna die.
It's kind of like Attack on Titan, but on top
Yeah,
of it as well, like changing it and not making it the same predictable anime bullshit or
exactly.
manga. Where
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you have a main character, he has this crazy power, this, that, you know what I mean? So it's like
yeah,
they really did their own thing and it worked beautifully.
exactly. And the reason why Gojo's death was brilliant. Again, I love Gojo. He's my favorite character. I'm still grieving to this
Yeah.
day. Is because Gege hyped this guy up so much, like he was a fucking untouchable, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, there's no way he's gonna lose to this kid. Like he's the prodigy, he's the six-eyes legend." But he lost. He fell to Sukuna's hand, right? And obviously, it just hits more that way because the whole time he was being propped up to be this untouchable, immovable object, right? Because you can't hit the
Yep.
guy. But then this Doomsday figure comes in, literally with Sukuna and Maharaga, and they take him out. So it was
Straight
brilliantly
fucking
done.
adaptation hacks, baby.
Literally, and it hit, and that's the point. Yeah, we were
Kryptonite.
all,
Literally
yeah,
kryptonite to Superman.
exactly. Like, yeah, we were all pissed. Yeah, we were all like, oh, what the fuck? But that's the point. I think they want us to react. If we were just like, oh, whatever, it wouldn't hit the same, right? We're interested, which is the point. And sometimes bad emotions being stirred sells manga too. It's the same thing with like
Yep.
Gojo's
Shock
death.
value.
Yeah, shock value, exactly. So Gege's brilliant in that aspect. Like he just knows how to build up the sort of suspense and then like just rip away our hearts after with like Gojo's death or Nabito's death, Nanami's death. It's really well done. And like you guys see on the screen here, JJK is for sure anime of the year. Let's be honest, it's not even close. I know Bleach
Facts.
came out, I know fucking One Piece came out, but JJK is just different, man. It's just different. It has this sort of unique aspect about it. Just we haven't really seen before, or in a while. So definitely fuck with it, man. It's doing well. Just saw your thumbnail. I thought it was Itachi. Yeah. This thumbnail is pretty goated. I have to bring out Kawaki and Boruto. Is Boruto above Baryon
The
mode yet?
craziest thing I just thought about, and it kind of hurts my soul, but
Yeah.
it's I'm just being real, and I'm pretty sure it's correct. I think everybody also agrees, majority too. But like if Toji was fighting the Konoha team of Konoha 12 retrieval, that he would get jumped
Oh
and beat up.
yeah. Yeah. I saw. I think it was. I saw on Twitter. I think it was Six or someone posted that shit. And I
Yeah.
reposted. I was like, dude, why are you doing
And
Toji
they're
like that,
like,
bro?
it's crazy how they're gonna jump him and beat his ass.
Yeah. Bunch of like fucking 10-year-olds whipping his ass. I was like, bro, that's fucked up.
Man, let's be real.
Yeah.
It is kind of like true in a sense because like even in Naruto we saw that shit where like fucking those little kids are just beating up grown ass fucking adults or or
Yeah,
like
literally.
more older teenagers, bro, because they're just like that strong and they're
Yeah,
getting
that was fucked up because those kids would beat his ass if it was cross first. Let's be honest. So
or it's like Naruto when in the movies he's like fighting against grown ass men but he's a little kid as a genin but he gets his
yeah,
QB amp and then he shits on him.
fucking slaughters him. That's be Toji, unfortunately. If he was fighting that verse.
Literally.
Is Boruto above Baron mode? Have you seen the spoilers yet? I'm not gonna spoil it what happened in the most recent chapter. I would say each chapter there's a better and better argument that he is, but there still isn't enough for me to conclude that he's above Baryon mode. He's definitely above his father at his best. Besides that, he's definitely above Sasuke and Naruto at their
Yeah.
best. But I don't know about Baryon mode just yet. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because barrier mode was fucking shitting on Ishiki.
yeah,
Bro.
that
Like,
shit
it
was
wasn't
fucking
even
yeah.
like the fact that he actually got over Ishiki was insane.
That
of
was
an
cracked
amp
as
that he
fuck.
was.
Like Ishiki in that level, that like Ishiki and Baron mode, I don't know yet. We'll have to see more.
Now,
To
like
be
he was
honest.
like I will say this in defense for Ishiki, he was faster then Ishiki blatantly right and
Yeah,
just beating his fucking ass, and he was even overpowered him to an extent as well. But his AP wasn't greater than his durability. That's obviously a fact
exactly.
because he
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
able to one shot Ishiki either.
yeah,
He was using hacks to like drain him and like even weaken him and fatigue him as well. Yet he
yeah.
still couldn't one shot. So the AP with the barrier mode is kind of problematic. It's weird in a sense,
It's
but the
weird.
power
Yeah,
and speed is still like ridiculously explosive to the point where he
yeah.
was just dominating
It's
him.
beyond
So
Rene Sharingan Sasuke. Let's just say
yeah.
that. And he had like the
Oh,
best.
even Sasuke said like
Yeah,
such
he
enormous,
couldn't even.
insane
He
chakra.
wasn't able
Yeah.
to perceive the sort of
Yep.
microscopic rods that Kawaki, and excuse me, that Ishiki was
Yep.
throwing. And as soon
And
as
Naruto grabbed it.
yeah, he grabbed it, and Sasuke's like, I couldn't even perceive that. What the fuck? Like that's how good
Yeah,
his reaction
man's
time was.
perception blitz above Sasuke,
Yeah,
bro.
that's pretty cracked. So
You know what kind of reminds me of, Jay? It's back in the war arc or in the part one where Naruto gets his QB shit, and then Sasuke's like, "What are you?" You know what I mean? Or,
yeah,
"Oh my god, all that chakra," and he clenches his fist. He's like, "How far will you go?"
yeah, literally that's the same kind of moment. He's like, what the fuck? He I
He's
like
like,
jaw
"Fuck you for
dropping.
being the main character, bro. I'm tired of it."
Yeah, facts. It was pretty. It's pretty apparent the wide gap that Naruto had. So as far as
And they
Boruto,
had to. They had
yeah,
to because
they had
Boruto
to.
would never be the main. Yeah.
Exactly. There's no way that they would have defeated Ishiki in the first place without that. Like they needed a
Yeah.
ridiculous amp. Like that's what they needed. So what's going on, Syrinx? 8 minutes late. Oh, good, bro.
Even Boruto would kind of be problematic for scaling in a sense. Like I wouldn't really care because let's be real, I just love Naruto, right? I don't think
Yeah.
anybody wants Naruto to go, even Sasuke either. Like I'm pretty sure if we could all vote, we would still want them to keep their shit. But the story has to progress. Boruto needs to be the next generation vibes, right?
Yeah, passing the
Um,
torch. Yeah.
like if that never happened, like Naruto would continue to train, you name it, all that shit, and yeah, Boruto would get strong, but fucking the problem is Boruto wouldn't really ever be able to catch up. Like he would have to basically use his karma in order to have any chance remotely to
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Naruto. You know what I
And
mean?
his
So
his
like
his development
yeah,
has been immense. Like from the plot twist to now.
insane.
Yeah, he went
Yeah.
from below.
The most insane growth I've ever seen out of it. Like we thought Heavy Sasuke was crazy,
Yeah,
like when they thought he was on steroids and shit. Nah, Boruto
no,
takes that to a whole other
this guy
level.
went from below base Naruto in his prime to
Literally,
above Jigen. Like what the fuck?
yep.
Yeah, he's fucking cracked,
That's
dude.
base.
In base, by the way. Yeah, in
No
base is above
Jogan,
Jigen.
no like whatever the fuck it's called, no Jogan or
No
no
Jogan, no
Karma, no
Karma, no
Sage
Sage
Mode.
mode. Like, dude, in base, he's above Jigen, the guy that slapped Naruto and Sasuke around like fucking
Like bro, like three,
yeah.
like the man has 3 extra fucking amps, and
Oh my
he's that
god,
strong. Like
exactly.
that's ridiculous.
So there's an argument that maybe at his best he could be above Baryon, but we just haven't seen that yet. We'll have to wait. Maybe when he
Yeah,
fights
let's
these,
say he like stacked like Karma, Sage Mode, and Jogan. You know what I mean?
yeah, if he starts using, if he
Maybe
fights the Shinju, then perhaps. But we haven't seen that yet. When he
because he
fights
does it
those,
against Kawaki in the end during like
yeah. So we
Wave
know
when
for
everything's
sure,
destroyed.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure by then he's definitely going to be using that.
Yeah, like he doesn't use Sage Mode, which is interesting. So
Yeah,
maybe we don't know until we were able to see the fight. So this could be bullshit. But what we do know so far, he can stack the Jogan in Karma, but we
yeah,
don't know if he can stack Sage Mode with Jogan and Karma either. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Like we've
exactly.
seen many characters still be able to use Sage Mode with all that stuff too. So I'm pretty sure he could do that as well. But then again, unfortunately, Boruto might be Minato 2.0 in the Sage Mode aspect or ballpark to where he might not be nowhere near as effective either. And that
Yeah,
could be maybe the case too, which is why he's never using it,
yeah.
or stacking it, but we'll eventually see. Who
Yeah,
knows?
we'll definitely
So
see how that fight goes. Mr. Streams, man, Thunder God streams at the same time. You know, I got to rep. Oh, shout out to Thunder God, bro. Shout out to you. It's all good. Yeah, Thunder God's a goat. And shout out to Gamabunta too, bro. Shout out to Gamabunta.
yeah,
Yeah, death
facts.
death isn't permanent. It's not useful. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with some animes. Sometimes, you know.
Facts.
Byakuya was supposed to die as a note, but Kubo got death threats, so he spared him. Damn. I know people, dude. The weird death threat shit, like with Gege when Gojo dies, like, bruh. Come on, man. These guys are writing great stories and you're fucking sending them death threats. Like, what the fuck is that, bro? If you do that, you're pathetic. I'm sorry. That's sad as fuck. Dragon Ball and One Piece are the only major shonen I recall where death is consistently meaningless. Yes, Dragon Ball for sure. Other ones have occasional fake outs, like Naruto. Yeah, like the Pain arc. Yeah, with the fucking Rene Rebirth shit. Yeah. Who's the artist of the thumbnail? Shout out to the guy who drew this. I found it on fucking Google. His signature is right there. Let me move this out of the way. Right there. I don't know who that is, but shout out to that guy. He drew this, whoever that is. Who's the artist? Oh, I just read that. I like how Akutami did a gotcha moment where he gave Gojo arc and took the camera completely off of Ichidori, but at the same time Gojo's death was supposed to be like a torch passing. The guy's brilliant with the sort of roller coaster narrative he has. I definitely agree with you there. That's why Gega's brilliant. That's why he won Anime of the Year. The guy's brilliant at what he does. Honestly, we all saw the fight between Gojo and Sukuna all the way from season 1 when Gojo told Itadori he wasn't the main guy in charge, and Sukuna was like, "Oh, you're not the main man in charge, really." Yeah, we all knew it was coming, that's for sure. Obviously, we all know the famous panel where Gojo said I'd win. We all still people
Yeah.
flame him to this day about it. But Gojo's that guy,
And to be honest, he wasn't like what people really really overlook, or like they try to dog him so bad. And I get it, like it's funny, whatever,
yeah,
whatever. But then you have the weirdos that are being like really dead ass about it, and it's like, bro, if you really analyze it, though, he would have actually beaten that Sukuna that he fought, like the normal like base form, right? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or obviously even lower fingers. And why? Because of Infinity, because of his hacks. Because Sukuna wouldn't have been able to land anything. He would have just
Oh hell no.
outlasted, right?
No.
And then that's it. You know what I mean? So it's like, now, and so overall, it would make
It's like,
sense for why he would win. Because
yeah.
if he keeps spamming purple, I haven't seen the fight, but I think if he would spam purple enough and while using Infinity, eventually Sukuna would lose.
Yeah, he was definitely,
So,
and he was just wrong, man. I mean, everyone's wrong sometimes. Like, fucking, that
yeah.
was the Sukuna he fucked up was one finger Sukuna. Like, it wasn't like he fought off 20 finger Sukuna. Obviously he would have been beat,
No.
but
And
it's like
that's
he was
the thing.
just
And he
wrong,
didn't.
dude.
I'm pretty sure he didn't expect a fucking summoning on top of it either.
Yeah, he didn't expect fucking Mahoraga to fucking be Mr. Doomsday in the corner. Like, he didn't expect that either.
Yeah,
Like,
literally,
he,
that's
he was
what I'm
just wrong.
saying.
I
So
mean,
it's
yeah,
like,
he's a six eyes, prodigy, but he was wrong. It is what it is, and everyone's wrong
now,
sometimes.
I
So
will say this too. There's still an argument for Sukuna, where Sukuna probably still could have still won, even without
yeah,
the summoning.
even without it.
I mean, you can go along with all the statements where even Gojo conceded and said he wasn't going, like he was holding back, still whatever, blah blah. Now, the problem with that's where it gets contentious, where we, because it's like quantification and like and it's arbitrary. But so
Yeah.
it's like if he was going fully all out, like what, like would it just be a very very competitive match? You know what I mean? Or would Sukuna actually be able to be more dominant and be the other way around? Like, at the end of the day, it's really interesting. But what I will say is the reason why I say it doesn't matter regardless is because he always has Infinity on. So the fact that he has it on, even if Sukuna was slightly over, not holding back, or if he was over, he can't hit the fucking guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So the
exactly.
only way Sukuna could win is if he could also outlast. You know what I mean? And then basically just, Gojo gets gassed and then he just kills him once Infinity's off or some shit.
Yeah,
Right?
and even in that fight, Gojo was burning out. They had
Yeah.
multiple domain clashes. His brain, like he was trying to heal his brain
Oh,
while
he's pulling a
fighting.
Kakashi?
Yeah, he was starting to burn out, and eventually, if he was full power, trying to like fucking snipe him or splits him with
Yeah.
Mahoraga, the argument is that more than likely Sukuna would win with full power even without Mahoraga. Obviously, there's arguments that exist like,
Yeah.
oh, he wouldn't have adapted as quickly or wouldn't have adapted Infinity. Fine, that's sure, but more than likely,
Yeah.
what would have happened anyways? He would have burned out. Pick up
Oh,
from
if
even
that's the
having
case,
cursed energy.
facts.
Yeah, and at that point,
Yeah,
Infinity
no,
will go off
that's
anyway.
like Obito. That's like Obito with his MS, with
Yeah.
Hashirama cells and Kakashi. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the way I look at it is he would have lost anyway. I think he would have burnt out. More than likely they would have kept fighting domain clash after domain clash. His brain would have to keep healing up his wounds and with reverse curse technique, and eventually he would have ran out of cursed energy anyway. So I think that's what would have
like
happened.
so if we're being objective, like Sukuna would just win due to outlasting, whatever you name it. Yada yada. Like it's either like they would be equal, but he can outlast him, right?
Yeah.
Or two, he's slightly more over Gojo since he was holding back. And then meaning Gojo would just like basically once his affinity is gone, he just gets fucked up, right? You know what I mean? So it's like that's basically the two ways it would go, even if he didn't have the fucking summoning. And that's just kind of what you're working with. Or if you want to be really generous to Gojo, okay, then maybe somehow, some way Gojo could kill him, whether if it's with purple or he could somehow miraculously outlast, But then
Exactly,
again, if everything Jay's saying, I think there's just to the contrary. If he's struggling when it comes to curse energy and output and he can't even hang, whatever, it's like, come on, you know what I mean? So
exactly. Like I'm not an expert on JJK yet. I think I have pretty decent knowledge, but I'll say this: the Gojo argument exists, but I think it's just less likely that he can beat Sukuna, especially
now
at full
Gojo would
power.
clap any other form though.
Oh yeah.
15
Lower?
finger.
He clapped 9. He clapped Anything
Yeah,
below probably like,
all of them.
yeah, he'd clap all. The one that fucked up Jogo would probably lose to fucking Gojo. I
Oh,
know he fucked
facts.
up Jogo,
Oh
but
yeah.
he wouldn't fuck up Gojo like that. I'll tell you that.
Because what that
So
was like 9 fingers
I think he
only, or
had like 15 at that point when he fought Jogo.
yeah, yeah,
Jogo,
yeah.
even
And
Jogo,
he
like,
was yeah,
yeah,
he was
Jogo was
struggling
like,
with the summoning beast. Like he could
yeah,
not beat it. He was going all
exactly,
out and he could not beat it.
and
Yeah.
even Jogo was like assessing himself. He's like, he's like, man, he's like, I'm probably like 8 or 9 finger level, but I can't be 15, you know. And fucking
Yeah.
Gojo slammed him too, and that was early Gojo. He slammed his
Oh,
ass
he
too.
no
So
diffed him. He wasn't even
yeah,
trying
he didn't even
effortlessly.
touch
Yeah.
him. He didn't even fucking touch him. So I mean, yeah, I think he'd
Yeah,
be
you connect
15.
all those dots, and it's like, yeah, he would be massively over. He would just shit on
Exactly.
Sukuna. Yeah.
So he's still like, there's still an immense gap between him and everybody else right now. It's just Sukuna's is the
And
top.
we see it with the beginning Sukuna too, when he first appears, and what he only
Yeah,
has like a finger or two, and then
yeah.
Gojo just effortlessly dominates, and he's like, "You fucking sorcerers," you know,
Yeah,
like.
exactly. At that point, yeah, Sukuna had no chance, but obviously he only had fucking
Yeah.
one finger, so I mean, it's being fair, but yeah. Choji, Warwick versus Shikamaru, Warwick. That's an interesting matchup. Um, Shikamaru is obviously more intelligent.
Wait, did
Um,
they say Choji in
yeah, Choji in the
Shikamaru?
Warwick versus
Oh, I
Shikamaru
thought
in
they
the
said
Warwick.
Toji. I'm like, wait, Toji just
Okay,
died.
Choji. Yeah, he gets speed blitzed.
Yeah.
Choji, it would depend. Obviously, I would probably lean. Shikamaru would have to catch Choji in the fucking shadow possession immediately to not let him like use his
Yeah, and
butterfly shit.
immediately kill him. Like
Yeah,
if Shikamaru has prep time, I'd say he could
Shikamaru.
probably take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something would just happen conveniently for him, and then he wins. Because let's be real, I don't think he would ever beat head on without prep.
Oh
You know,
hell
I'm
no.
just saying.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't.
And they were equal to each other, remind you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so, Choji, mind you, I like Shikamaru more, but when Choji has butterfly mode on top of it, he's also faster. You
Yeah,
know
his
what I mean?
physicality is just above.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
His physicality, everything is fucking cracked. Like he was able to go blow for blow, like not blow for blow, but he was able to be relative to the ghetto statue, which is
Yeah.
pretty
It's
impressive.
pretty impressive.
He was able
Yeah.
to speed blitz Asuma, you know what I mean, who's a
Yeah.
Jonin. And we know Shikamaru is in a similar regard to Asuma as well. So it's like overall, like if it's just no prep and they're going at in max forms, like, Choji just has the advantage. It's not
Yeah,
fair. Like
honestly, I
you
probably
could
would
even
lean towards
argue
Choji.
Choji could overpower the shadow possession because we know shadow possession has limits to chakra.
Yeah,
When it came to the curse mark or QB chakra, it just can't contain it, and they got
can't contain
shit
it.
on, you know.
Yeah, I would say as
So and
well.
Choji has an enormous explosive amount of chakra with his fucking
Yeah,
butterfly
Shikamaru
shit.
would have to have like pre-established parameters in his favor. Like if they're in a shadowy
Yeah.
area or some shit, or fucking Choji's off guard, or he has prep time. I think if it's just a one-on-one
Yeah.
encounter, like in the middle of a fucking like desert or some shit.
Or if he like does like mind hacks, you know, like kind of what
Yeah,
Batman does when he's like saying certain words to like psychologically, manipulate them
exactly.
and fuck with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To make them underperform, whatever. Like he could do that, like for like calling Choji fat or whatever. Blah, blah. Like so, like once again, like it just if he's
yeah,
really smart about it, you know, and like or prep especially, like I could see Shikamaru doing it. But then if it's just straight up like yeah, Shikamaru's probably fucked, and then territory matters as well.
Oh hell
If
yeah,
they're
yeah,
in
yeah.
open, if they're
Yeah.
in open, he's fucked.
He's
He's
fucked. If
done.
it's all
You know what I mean?
sun, yeah, there is no like angles for shadows, then he's fucked anyway. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna get fucked up. So
Now,
I would say
even in a forest, he's still technically fucked because Choji could just start, damaging everything, right? Like,
yeah,
just imagine him being that fucking ginormous and just rolling as a ball everywhere,
just
or just
start
jumping
ripping
in the
fucking
sky
trees
and
everywhere.
you know what I mean, like pulling a
Yeah.
judo, like yeah. So
All
it's
the
like either
shade.
way,
Yeah.
he's still fucked in that type of environment. That's what I'm saying. Like Choji, as crazy as it sounds, he has the advantage all around, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll probably lean towards Choji winning most hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we got 2 donations in a row. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you brothers for that.
And another thing too, before anyone freaks out or the Choji
Don't
haters, like if you're probably like, oh my god, but the Choji only gets a strength amp, you know what I mean? That's it, whatever.
Yeah.
That's technically not true. And originally, way back then, I was along that boat too. But if you actually pay attention and everything, when he says he's 100 times stronger, yes, it's mainly incorporated to his strength and AP power, but
Yeah.
he does get faster, and we see it because when he has the second pill, you know what I mean? Like when he has the first pill, he's going blow for blow with Jugo, you know what I mean, and base, right? And then when he goes to the second pill, he's going blow for blow with CM1. We know CM1's an amp and speed, strength, whatever you name it. And then when he gets the red pill, because he was getting shit on by CM2, now he's dominating CM2. Like it wasn't even equal anymore. Now he was just way over. So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
it's definitely a fucking speed amp on top of it, you know.
Yeah.
Now the problem is we don't know how fast he gets. It's arbitrary. We have no idea, but we do know he gets faster. You
Yeah,
know,
you can even
so
argue from like a scientific physics standpoint. Like he doesn't like his size and stuff. If it's still relative, then
yeah,
obviously for force to increase, his speed has to increase as well. So that's another argument for
yeah,
like the very
yeah.
fact
I'll
that
say this objectively too. Like we know the curse mark is a 10 times multiplier, like CM2. So
yeah,
if he was way over CM2, you could technically argue it's greater than 10 times. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But
exactly.
now I wouldn't say 100 times. I think people take that statement way out of fucking like that. Just that doesn't make any sense. If he was actually blatantly 100 times over, this motherfucker would be beating a lot of fucking
Be
characters, and that just
fucking
doesn't make any
Hashirama and
sense.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Like no,
yeah.
that doesn't make any, like that's some fucking Dragon Ball Z bullshit.
That's
So
like the
yeah,
ultimate hyper literal interpretation. Yeah, no,
yeah, like he would
yeah,
literally be a Super Saiyan basically, and that was not emphasized. That was not shown. Not like Jugo doesn't even like you know what I mean. No, he was just like not only that. If you really analyze it, I'm not trying to be mean, but Jugo actually tanked the first blow from Choji.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
He
If it was
got hit
literally
with the
like
elbow
Super
and he
Saiyan
didn't
Amp,
die.
Super Saiyan
Yeah.
amps take you from like fucking planetary to like fucking solar system. Like, nah, bro, it's not that. Yeah,
Exactly. So
that's
it's
fucking
like
crazy, man.
overall, so no matter what, that I'm just debunking that real quick. So if we analyze everything and are actually being logical and understanding, feats in context, whatever, blah blah. Like we know the CM2 is 10 times, and when Jugo wins CM2, he was shitting on Choji. But, you know what I mean? So like once again, I'll say really quick, simple math. You fucking Choji did the first pill. He's equal to base Jugo, and they're going blow for blow. Then he
Yeah,
gets shitted on by CM1. He goes to the second pill. They're still equal. They're going blow for blow, whatever. And then when Choji does like his expansion, he has to go to CM2 because he's overpowered. Now he's way over Choji. Choji goes to red pill. They're not equal anymore. He's way over. So it has to be a greater than 10 times.
exactly. To go to the dono, shout out to Sir Goats and Kedrick the Goat. Appreciate you, brothers. Who would win between Sukuna or Orochimaru, the one that fought Four Tails Naruto? Oh, the second one. Okay. And if Sukuna still wins, then could he beat the Naruto that fought Kakuzu? I'll say this pretty safely. He's not beating Naruto. Um, as far as Orochimaru, hmm. Here's the thing. He is ill. He is quite nerfed. But he did have the durability to at least withstand some ass whooping from Four Tail Naruto. That is quite impressive. The
Yeah.
speed as well that's utilized when he's in Four Tail.
Fucking
Um,
hacks, man. Orochimaru's
yeah.
hacks is ridiculous. He would have died
Also,
so many times, though, bro.
yeah, Sukuna's cursed energy is immense. Obviously, he's healthy. If we try to like scale, let's equalize. Obviously, we have to presuppose that everything works on the other.
Yeah, like
Um,
Sukuna's the moderator of the show. I'll say
yeah,
that.
he's the moderator of that show. But in this verse, uh, if I'm trying to
Scaling's
scale
different.
AP from what I know, he's like
Yeah.
city level max, maybe mid city level with some of the cursed energy
Like
techniques that he possesses.
when we see the Sukuna that fought the volcano dude, you know what I mean? They were blowing up the
Yeah,
entire like it was like I think it was like a section of the city. It wasn't the
yeah, they're
entire
fucking
city,
shit
but it was
up.
like a portion of it. Yeah.
He has like the world slash ability, things like that. Then there's
Yeah.
there's a question of can he hurt Orochimaru with the AP that he possesses? That's another question. If I had to deduce
Yeah.
who's the superior, I think Shinobi in general, especially Sanin. I know he's sick, but he still did what he did against Fortel. I think his
Yeah.
physicality, his reactionary time, his hacks, his durability, his physiology. I think he's just superior to someone of Sukuna's caliber as far as just combatant. So I'd probably say Orochimaru would take him. There's an argument that Sukuna's hacks might be able to overwhelm him, but I would deduce that Orochimaru's enhanced like superior physicality would probably make him blitz him and things of that nature. So if we equalize, because
Yeah.
there's answers we can't answer, like
'Cause,
how would
like
curse energy interact
yeah.
with
Yeah, I
fucking
don't
chakra,
know
but
like how far Gojo scales when it comes in Sukuna when it comes to speed and all that, whatever. But
not
like
very
those
high.
characters, I just don't know.
Yeah,
I
not very
know I
high.
know the other characters are nowhere fucking near, and they're
Mach
over here
three.
losing to part one
Yeah,
characters, like for instance, like Toji.
yeah,
But
no, no.
fucking so like at the end of the day, I'm taking Jay's word, and that makes sense as well because I've heard from many people that even scale JJK as well. And or maybe not even know Naruto don't fuck with, it, but even at like a whole bunch of people saying that like they just don't scale nowhere near when it comes to speed and
Not at
stuff, whatever,
all.
blah blah.
Yeah,
So it's like if we're being generous, from what we do know, everything Jay's saying, like Sukuna could probably have like the hacks or AP advantage, maybe AP
yeah,
too. Because like it depends how you view like that whole fucking like going through affinity, whatever, all that shit and whatnot too. But either way, it's like speed is the problem. That's like the
yeah. I
biggest
think that's a big
component
issue.
of it.
And if Mach 3 is
Yeah,
fast in most of the verse, I don't see Sukuna and Gojo being light speed. I'm sorry. I just don't see
yeah,
that.
no.
I'm not saying Orochimaru's light speed, but I think his speed is still more than likely above the likes of Sukuna
Yeah,
dojo.
it's getting towards around like where it's at least relevant enough to where they're mid Kage level. Like
Yeah.
Orochimaru Prime was Hiruzen level, old man Hiruzen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
So it's like overall, like we know kind of where that's at, and you could at least say they're relative to KCM. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying they're KCM level, but you get what I'm saying. Like fucking, they're relative in a regard where like if they were holding back, like if Minato's holding back or Naruto's holding back, right?
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, they could fight whatever, do some shit, and that makes sense, right? They're holding back whatever, but if they're fully obviously not there, so the fact that they can even be relative to probably holding back versions, okay, then therefore that's why they would just be so much more massively over than Sukuna by that
Exactly.
logic.
And
You know?
based off the knowledge I have now, I'd say Orochimaru, even that ill. I mean, he still performed pretty well. So, Kedrick with
That's
another
the thing
donation.
too. There's like a misconception as well, Jay, where a lot of people think like that Orochimaru's like the same nerf to Orochimaru we see in part one, where his arms are purple, they're dangling, he can't do
Yeah, no.
jutsus and shit,
No.
whatever. Blah. You know what I mean? Like it's actually not the same because people forget that like Orochimaru does the ritual jutsu because he couldn't wait on Sasuke, so he gets a fully like compatible healed body. You name it.
Yeah, he
The only
does.
thing he can't do that's stated verbatim is like the Edo Tensei. He can
Yeah.
do other jutsus. He can summon shit, snakes, whatever, healing, all that ninjutsu, whatever. But he just can't fucking do the Edo Tensei and like things like the forbidden shit, right?
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was shown like blatantly, concretely. And then we see him being able to still fight Four Tails and like all this other shit. And the reason why that's important is because we've seen Jiraiya's comparison to fighting Four Tails as well. And I know there's context, whatever, so I'm not going to shit on Jiraiya because he's obviously holding back. He's not trying to kill or be super serious either.
Yeah.
But overall, like the fact that we know the Sonic are all comparable to each other, whatever you name it, it basically goes to show that Orochimaru still has his Sonic stats. He's just handicapped when it comes to certain jutsus that he has in his arsenal.
Exactly.
That's the difference, you know.
Yeah.
So
Kedrick, appreciate the other donation, brother. Would you rather be stuck in a mall for 24 hours with a silverback gorilla or 5 block mambas? Oh, the mambas easily. You can't. If there's a gorilla in there, first of all, he'll probably run your ass down. Try to sprint away, he'll like fucking run you down. I think mambas, you can run away from them. Go to like a butcher or go to like inside a restaurant, grab some knives and just chop them fucking heads off. But with a gorilla, you're fucked. Unless you have a gun and there's like a gun store in the mall, you're getting fucking mauled by that shit. So.
you're
I take
you're
the
dead.
Mambas.
You have no chance, bro.
Yeah, at least with the Mambas, you can like maybe put on an extra layer of clothing or like find if you're
Yeah.
lucky, there's like a weapon store and just shoot those bitches in the head or cut their heads off. But with a gorilla, you're gonna need a shotgun or some shit. You're not gonna survive that shit. He'll grab you,
Oh no,
beat
you're
you,
like, bro, a bite
slam
from a
you.
gorilla, bro, like
Fuck
fucking would
no.
destroy you.
Fuck no. Yeah, I'll definitely take the Mambas. As long as they can't bite you, you could just run away, go find some sharp objects, and if your reaction, and then wear some clothing so if they do bite you, it doesn't like penetrate, and then you just cut their heads off. That's all you got to do. But with the
Facts.
silverback, they're stronger than you, they're bigger than you, they're probably faster than you. They could probably run you down. Even if you try to run, they'll probably run your ass down. Yeah, I'll definitely take the fucking Mambas. Fuck that.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Where would Choji and Rock Lee scale if you highball them? You mean like End of Shippuden? Um,
Uh,
Choji
highballing?
is
Okay, yeah.
highball. If I really wank Rock Lee, he's fucking
Yeah.
Madara level because he kicked Madara in half. But that was a
Yeah,
QBM.
you could
That
do
was a
that, yeah,
QBM
and be
though.
a
But
fucking sophist and rat. Or if you really
yeah,
want to take it even fucking further, Kishimoto wanted to really have fun giving a fucking hyperbole for this motherfucker.
eight
But
gates.
yeah, for highballing, he even said Rockley with 6 gates scales to 6 past Naruto in
Yeah,
power.
yeah. You could say
So
his speed is relative to Jubidara if you wank him with the when you're
yep,
throwing the kunai, fucking to stop
yep.
the
Yeah,
Tsusigari.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? So if you go
Yeah,
along all of that,
it's like
and with the
wanking the
data
shadow.
book statement and with his like feet shitting on Edo Madara and whatnot, what blah blah, then there you go. But if we're obviously being not retarded,
Yeah, not retarded.
like, yeah,
He's like
he's
uh
strong.
yeah.
Like I don't. This is the problem with Lee. Like you, if this is the issue. Like if we're given like a fucking like a mid I'll say this. If it's a low ball, you could say maybe he's low Kage level with the 6 gate, low
Yeah.
Kage level.
Low Kage level.
But if we're being transparent, a high Jonin.
Yeah, high
That's it.
Jonin.
High true
Choji,
Jonin.
I'd probably
Yeah.
say max low Kage. I would say low like high Jonin. If I'm being like extremely
Yeah.
generous, he's like low Kage.
Exactly.
Yeah, like he could be Asuma probably, like like at his
Yeah.
best.
And then if I was like doing a mid ball for Lee, like you could say
Yeah,
he's like Minato level or beyond because like when he does the six gates, and he's like, I curse that I don't have enough power, whatever, to help Guy using the eighth gate. He like
yeah,
starts getting mad and like roasting himself, and then Minato like gets like serious for a moment, and he like has a sweat in his cheek, and he's like, no, Lee, that's plenty enough, and it says dot 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 to basically emphasize the seriousness of it,
exactly.
and so you can kind of argue and rationalize and be like, oh, therefore that's beyond even Minato and Edo or some bullshit.
Yeah,
But either way, that's
for
kind of all you really have. Like,
yeah
unfortunately, Kishimoto kind of shitted
for
on all the side characters. The
yeah
only feats that
unfortunately.
they have is in the movies. That's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm being honest. Like, if you want to count all scaling, you would have to go to the anime and the movies and then look at their performances in comparison to Naruto throughout his periodic evolution in the series. And that's how you can kind of get like some ballpark. You can also gauge to a certain extent when they fought Kasame's 30% power
Yeah,
too.
the maximum
So
length for Choji would be grown
yeah,
Choji butterfly with red pill, Super Saiyan 2 multiplier. Uh,
yeah.
fucking beats
Yeah, bro, even without the red pill,
backpacks
with
the
the fact
war.
that he has like the fucking butterfly shit, that's
Yeah.
theoretically 100 times multiplier
Oh
since he
my
can
god.
activate it now.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like
exactly.
think of it this way. So like he has like so this is the only issue though. Like the other two pills where they give him like a crazy amount of chakra, whatever, and power. Like he won't have that. I'll be honest with you. He won't have that because that's just a blatant like chakra amp, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're pills, but what he does have still is the expanding shit, right? And that increases his power, not speed but power.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when he does the butterfly, that is 100 times.
Oh my
So
god.
now he has like his first level of amp power, then the 100 times multiplier, and then if we give him a red pill on top of it, that's another 100 times, so 200 times
Imagine it's like
multiplier.
multiplied to like fucking 10,000. My god.
Literally, bro. Like,
Oh my
so
god. He'd be
yeah, he'd
like,
be fucking cracked. But like, if
yeah.
we're as Jay said, like if we're being transparent, he's just a high tier Jonin.
Yeah, yeah, IT Johnny.
What's it called? Or you could say low Kage level. I'm gonna be honest. For Choji, I would actually say low Kage level, and the reason why is because
Definitely
he did
Boruto.
shit on Kakazu. He did shit on
Yeah.
Kakazu. He beat
Yeah.
him. He
I,
subdued him.
I would definitely say by
So like he
Boruto he's at
literally
least low
overpowered
Kage.
him and like had his hand on top of him and said, "You're not moving or going anywhere." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he shitted on Asuma, who also scales to hit on in Kakazu, like base to base and shit. So meaning therefore that's why Choji would technically be low Kage level because he's literally bodying fucking high tier Jonings in his like massive fucking butterfly form.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. I'll say
So
this. Yeah, I'll say this about Choji and Boruto for he's definitely low Kage at least in Boruto and Rock
oh
Lee
facts,
for sure.
facts, yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
yeah.
Like
So
if you're highballing, you could say mid Kage,
yeah, at that point,
but
I mean,
you know,
fucking, we see what these Kage are doing to fucking Tsutsuki, and these guys are probably mid Kage at this point.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, yeah. Like the fact that Shikamaru could even like restrain one of the like that alien dude that fought Sasuke with his
yeah.
shadow. The fact
Fucking
that he could do that,
Otsutsuki.
like that blatantly would put Choji in a similar aspect because he always is
Exactly.
similar to Shikamaru.
Yeah,
You know,
those guys at that point it's a whole different ball game.
so it's like
And
they're literally six pass levels at that point. So technically, like obviously in the Boruto era they would be mid Kage. But if we're like saying like overall, like legitimately, they're literally like alien level. They're six pass
yeah,
level.
exactly. Especially with all the shit we've been
So
seeing there. Um,
yeah.
let's catch up with the chat, folks. We gotcha. End of part 1 Boruto versus the entire Naruto verse from the start. No recovery between fights. How far does he get? End of part 1 Boruto. Do you mean like before the plot? You mean like before the plot twist?
Yeah, like
It's hard to
before,
scale
or
him there, but he fucks up
yeah,
the
you've seen
majority.
that. I don't know that shit though. So
Yeah, how would I even scale into part 1? I'd probably say he's with Karma, probably 6 past level, at least low tier. So he'd fuck up the majority of the verse. If it's one after the other, he'd one shot the majority. Once he starts getting the
yeah,
war characters like Madara, Jubidara, things like that, I think he'd start to fall. The farthest he'd get, I'd say, if I'm being extremely generous, is he beats Jubidara. That's a stretch. After that, he would definitely lose to like Naruto and Six Pass or Sasuke. And definitely Kaguya would beat him. Um, I,
like
th- I think
yeah,
he'd
like
one
the
shot most
problem is
people.
like with Boruto. Like here's the interesting aspect with fucking Boruto. Like back then, so like when
Yeah.
we see like Boruto's cracked, but his problem is like blatant power scaling. That was always his problem in the beginning of the anime and even in
Yeah, it
the
was vague.
manga. To where
Yeah.
like he's cracked in intelligence and being a genius. Like it's stated verbatim, he has the genius prowess of Minato, the fourth Hokage, and the unpredictability of Naruto as well. He has both characteristics.
Yeah.
So that makes him really cracked to where he could literally use chakra nature transformation along with a change in chakra form immediately with two chakra natures. He did it with lightning and he did it with wind instantly, bro. Like the guy's fucking cracked, and he makes a compression rising gun that's basically like a Shidori rising gun in a sense, and to where it can like have really strong piercing AP power, but where it's so strong where his arm could fucking fly off from the recoil. So he eventually had to stop using that. It was like named a forbidden technique, like the Rising Shuriken for Naruto when he first had that. So like overall, like Boruto has some crazy hacks. You know, he's strong in aspect, whatever. But like the only time when he has scaling that's pretty crazy, like or that you could like kind of use sophist tactics or really get away with, is when he's fighting against Fuse Momo. When Naruto like gives him the fucking like that massive Rasengan, like if you think about it logically, he's still holding the weight of the Rasengan. Like that is a thing of how big it is and the power, whatever. So that is impressive in a regard. And then he has like a fucking tug of war with Momoshiki. He kind of does it, whatever. He's even able to like, you know, endure that for a moment. So like if you're going through all of that, like then obviously if you like take it literally in highball, he's like blatantly wiping everybody, right? It's just a power cliff moment. But if you look at it legitimately, then where it gets weird is when you watch the anime and the manga, then he's struggling to a bunch of fucking Jonin tier characters. Like
Yeah.
characters that are nowhere near Sasuke, Naruto, and so on and so forth, or even other Kara inner members to where like you know like that one robot dude Jay, I don't know if you remember him, A or Ao,
Oh yeah, the
whatever.
fucking I, the one dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
A.
like he's
Yeah, yeah.
struggling to him. He was struggling to Kawaki as well. He was struggling to the outer card member where Kawaki had a backpack while extremely fatigued and no
Oh yeah, yeah,
chakra as well.
yeah,
So like overall, like there's just all this stuff where it blatantly shows Boruto could like he could fight and hang with Jonings, you know what I mean, and whatnot in Boruto, but he can't hang with people that like have the power of like Naruto, Sasuke, whatever, Momoshiki, things like that, whatever, blah blah. So like that's
yeah.
why it's just it is what it is.
Part
There's
one.
so much consistency. So
Yeah,
yeah,
part one, six pass was where he start to struggle. I'd say if it's now,
yeah.
he solos the entire verse. If it's current Boruto, it's fucking slaughters everybody. But part
Oh
one, yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was
As of now, yeah, he would fuck. He just blink,
he'd
bro,
probably
and
one
they're all
shot if he
fucking
wanted to. He'd
dead.
probably one shot
Yeah.
the whole planet, like one shot. But
Now, if
yeah.
it was like that one Boruto that's before the time skip, where he's like obviously theoretically getting stronger because more time's passing, and I think his like hair looks similar to Sasuke as well. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
anything
yeah.
about that Boruto, so I
Yeah,
can't really gauge him.
he like the year out, he already mastered all of Sasuke's shit, but he was still below
Mm.
code. Like they both had to run for their fucking lives. Um,
Oh,
but
okay, okay.
yeah, so he was
So,
probably
and then
around
Code's not
Sasuke's
over.
level.
Code was Code over Jigen at that point or no?
Yeah, he had no limiters at that point. But Boruto was like
Okay.
extremely inferior. Sasuke had to like sacrifice his
Oh,
own
so
ass for that.
meaning Boruto still wasn't even at prime Sasuke and
Oh
Naruto
no,
and
yeah,
Jigen
definitely
level.
not. No, he
Yeah.
definitely wasn't.
Oh, so yeah,
Like
so yeah, so the same would apply then. So meaning, yeah, he just can't fuck with six pass level of power like
yeah,
that,
not even at that
basically.
point. Yeah, so that's probably what I would say. $5 from Kendrick again. Appreciate it, brother. Hypothetically,
Yeah.
if you were in The Walking Dead, how long would you survive? That's a good question. So if I'm being as realistic as possible, if I'm in the area I'm in now, gridlock would be a huge problem because
Yeah.
the reality is, if there were to be a zombie infection that like The Walking Dead, everyone would be trying to leave major cities to get away from densely populated
And
areas.
humans
It'd
are
be
the problem, really.
yeah.
That's the biggest component.
So there would be
Humans.
fucking gridlock in all major highways around the country probably. What I would do, I'll probably try to like
Military or
obviously
your enemies too. Yep.
yeah, I would either try to go to a military base or I would probably wait it out. I mean, obviously I'd have to get weapons like in my own home, obviously, but I would try to go to a location that's I would deem as somewhat safe, wait it out, wait for people to leave, like migrate out, and then maybe try to like
Yeah.
try to create like a small sort of village where at least we could block
Like,
off a certain radius of area. Harder said than done because
yeah,
I'm
or go
sure
to an
others are gonna.
island. You can go to an
Yeah,
island too. Yeah.
obviously it's harder said than done because I guarantee there'll be others that come to the same conclusion. The smart ones that don't
True,
just go to
yeah.
the,
Yep.
So I probably more than likely I wouldn't survive long. I probably if I get that far. I'd have like fucking enemies trying to just, like I get sniped or some shit with a rifle or some shit while I'm like crossing the
Like,
street.
like the craziest thing about it too, what really sucks about like I'm gonna be honest with this, like Jay actually has the right mentality because
Yeah.
Walking Dead, I'm sorry for any Walking Dead fans, I'm just gonna be really honest and blunt with you and objective. There was plot holes in that shit. I'm
Oh hell
sorry,
yeah.
but slow zombies are not beating a military. They're
Hell
not.
no.
They're not beating.
No no
That
no
would never fucking happen with all
no.
this air support tanks. I'm so that was the most unrealistic bullshit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Of that they
You
somehow
need
got
yeah.
overrun and that's bullshit. You know.
They would what they would
Um,
do, yeah, what the military would fucking do is they would isolate themselves in remote
it,
locations. And if worst comes
and
to
they would
worst,
bomb
they'll
all the cities, the big
yeah,
population area, like
worst
Last
comes
of
to
Us did.
worst,
You know?
worst comes to worst, they'll use chemical warfare, or they could just fucking nuke entire fucking states. Like that would be
Yeah,
the
that's
worst
true.
case. So in reality,
But they would
for,
win. Yeah,
yeah, they would most likely win. If anything, they'll just kill themselves. They'll say, you know what, fuck it, this is nuke
yeah.
everything, and then everyone's dead. Whoever
So
survives
that's
can
why like
rebuild.
that's why I'm saying
So
like Jay has the right mentality
yeah,
because overall your only way of surviving is for one getting out of the shit areas, right? Like the high population,
yeah,
whatever, blah
exactly.
blah, because those are going to not only be the most dangerous to survive, but the military will eventually might come to a conclusion. Hey, we just got to. That's it. Get it out. And that's
Start
you know what I
mowing
mean. Whether
people
if that's
down.
air support,
Yeah,
chemical, or a nuke, you know. So no matter what, your best way of surviving is either somehow joining the military
yeah.
or what's it called having some form of protection because I think in our world we do have regulations and even the CDC where they have like if shit was happening or whatever that they would have like they would have like camps or like or rescue areas
Yeah,
for
yeah,
civilians
definitely
where to
would.
go to and to be
Yeah.
protected. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they would still do that too. I don't think the government would lie and just be oh fuck you all and we're for
Oh, hell
ourselves,
no.
you know.
Yeah, no, no. Definitely not.
Especially against walking zombies, like that's
Yeah.
not you know what I mean? Like they would the only way the government would go solo mode and be selfish is if they're fighting like some cracked special infected fucking
Yeah, if it's
zombies. You know
like
what I
I Am
mean?
Legend,
Like,
then I Am Legend, they'll just nuke us
yeah,
all.
like
Like, we're fucked.
yeah,
Like,
at that
then,
point they have no choice and they would have to nuke. There's no like, oh, we need to be nice and like, no, you can't.
yeah.
Like if you want to survive, it's and that's the crazy component of it as well. I'm pretty sure Jay could maybe be able to do. I can't speak for him, but you would
Yeah.
also have to get rid of your sense of morality. You can't
Oh,
be
hell
kind
yeah, you
anymore.
have
You
to.
can't be trusting. You can't. You literally have to be cold and basically like if you guys have seen The Walking Dead, how Shane was. You have to have that mentality in order to survive.
Yeah, because
Like the reason
eventually,
why they were having problems is because Rick's
yeah.
mentality was conflicting with Shane, where Shane was like, "Hey, survivor mode." Rick was like, "No, but we need to still do the right thing and survive," and
Yeah,
that doesn't fucking work.
yeah,
You
he was
know?
trying to like implement democracy, and when they were with
Yeah.
fucking Herschel and his farm, they were trying to implement democracy. Shane's like, no, dude, the world's gone. Like that, the shit doesn't
Yeah,
work no
and I
more.
don't agree with it. I'll say that right
Yeah,
now.
I don't
Like,
agree.
it's
I don't
obviously
agree.
wrong. Yeah, like it's morally whatever, not accept. But at the end of the day, in order to survive, if we're being objective and reality and facts, right? Let's let's be.
Yeah,
It's the same bullshit when it comes to IRL and shit and men and girls, whatever, blah blah. If we're being objective and facts, like that's the only way. Like if you
yeah.
want to live, you unfortunately have to do that. So for instance, like if you're in an apocalypse and you see a person all bloody, he's like, "Help me, help me." People actually will do that on purpose to lure you
Oh
and
hell
to
yeah.
steal your shit or kill you or kidnap you. You know what I
Be
mean?
on some
Like
on some Last of
so
Us shit when they fucking
yeah,
fucking fake ass like
literally.
scans.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
Uh,
you can't be naive. You can't like that's just humanity. That's human nature, dude. People will
yeah,
always be in it for themselves at the end of the day. The ones that truly want to survive and don't give a fuck, you know. Now, obviously, if there's moments where you have the choice to do the right thing and it's not going to kill you or put you at risk, obviously you would do it, right? You know,
yeah,
like we're not fucking saying to be robots or monsters, but when it comes to surviving, where you can't and it's contentious or anything like that, whatever, you got to be fucking cold and
yeah.
concise,
You're
and
gonna
that's
have
another
to.
element. If you can't
And
do that or stomach that, you're fucked. You're
yeah,
dead.
and where I'm at with a highly densely populated area, my chances of survival, unless I like, get to a fucking military base immediately, I get fucking. The truth is, I'd probably get
Yeah.
shot like trying to fucking steal
Yeah, you're
shit from
dead.
like a
Yeah, we just
store.
get shot. We get killed by a human. It wouldn't even
Yeah,
be a zombie. It'd just be a
people would start
human.
sniping each other. People would fucking mowing each other down the streets. Like you go out,
Yeah.
people getting run over and shit. Like it'd be a fucking
But,
shit
like, I'm
show.
sorry. Anybody that gets bit by a fucking zombie, they're all retarded. All
Yeah,
of them are so
exactly.
dumb,
So it'd
bro.
be if they can't walk. Honestly, I'd be more worried about the humans than the fucking zombies, to be honest with you. But like if the zombies are that slow and stupid, like the Walking Dead ones, I'd be more worried about people. Like they'll be trying to take you out.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll be worried about. I wouldn't be worried about the zombies too much. Like here's one thing that I'll say though, because that's a good question. the durability of zombies in real life would be way fucking higher than Walking Dead. I don't think people realize how hard a human skull is. It wouldn't take one baseball swing to fucking destroy their head. It would take several swings. Let's just say that. So I would certainly say
Yeah.
if the zombies aren't like super decomposed for years on end, you're gonna have to shoot them. If you're trying to fucking kill each zombie with a bat, you're gonna get overrun real quick. So that's fucking dumb if you think bones break that easily. It's hard to break a
Yeah,
fucking human
facts.
skull. So first of all, your
It is
hands aren't gonna
very
do it.
hard.
You're not gonna be able to punch a skull in unless you're fucking Francis Ngannou. You're gonna need a bat. You're gonna need a sledgehammer or something like that. And it's not easy. You're gonna have to probably get a gun, like a high caliber round that can go through the head in one shot. Even a small caliber weapon, like a 22, wouldn't go. It wouldn't go clean through the brain anyway. You need like a high caliber pistol, or you would need a fucking hunting rifle or a fucking assault rifle to really make damage. It would be hard to kill zombies. It's not like The Walking Dead
No,
where
like
you use
dead
a
ass.
fucking
Like
yeah
that's really important what you're saying. Like a lot of people are actually weird with that shit or go to fucking Tooth Fairy world. Like
yeah
physics and what and how much strength it actually takes to really like go through someone's head or blah blah. It
hard
takes a lot of fucking
yeah
power. It
and
is not like you would
like
have to be like physically fit and really peak human condition to be
yeah.
like either getting close to doing that or just somehow doing it effortlessly.
Another interesting fun fact I learned. I went on this zombie tangent years ago. I still remember was how
Yeah.
difficult it is to behead like an actual zombie with a sword because people obviously Michonne, you guys all know who she is. She slaughters everyone,
She
like
just makes it
beheads
look like
everybody.
it's easy, like
Yeah,
butter,
in real
yeah.
life, there was only like one recorded thing where a super expert samurai hundreds of years ago only did it once. He was able to behead somebody with a sword one time, and that guy was a fucking expert samurai. As far as recorded events where a guy's able to do that successfully, it's like one in a million. So good luck using a fucking sword and thinking you're gonna be fucking a ninja with that shit. You're not gonna cut no head off in one slice, I'll tell you that. So it's gonna be you're gonna need a gun. Let's just say that. You're gonna need a fucking gun, high
You need
caliber.
guns.
Yeah.
And that's another
Honestly,
problem. If you never had any gun training,
you're
you're
fucked.
fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. You're gonna have to learn real quick because if you don't, and let's say there's a swarm of them, a horde, you're fucked. Because there's no
You are
way
fucked.
you're not
And
gonna
that
beat
is
them down.
way harder than using
Yeah.
a melee weapon.
You're not
Way
gonna
harder.
slice their heads off. You're not gonna fucking beat them with a bat. You're definitely not gonna beat them with your fist. You're not gonna be able to break
Yeah.
no head with a fist. You're gonna need a high caliber weapon with high caliber rounds, or you're dead. It's
Yeah.
just that simple. So
And you're gonna
that's
need a lot
reality.
of reload quick. Like you're
Quick.
dead ass literally gonna be
Yeah.
needing police training or military training. Like you're gonna have to be concise, quick, you name it, whatever. You're gonna have to practice. And once again, that all takes time. So when
That
you're
takes a
literally
lot of
being
time.
forced to survive and you name it, like you're just fucked because the odds are already against you. And unless you're able to
Yeah.
find an area that's safe and allows you to have that time to develop yourself, you're fucked. You're done.
Yeah, it's way harder than it looks on The Walking Dead, dude. I'll tell you that. I'll
Oh,
tell you
way,
that.
way
Way
harder. It's
harder.
nowhere near as easy as it is. Facts, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
what people don't understand is they do that for the story, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're not
exactly.
just going to
Yeah.
be killing people left and right. Like they do that in a way, but it's mainly fodder characters that don't matter or no names.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like. So overall, like that's what people don't really understand. It doesn't matter, like you could even be the most badass. Like if the odds are against you and you got numbers, like you're
You're
fucked
fucked.
still. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Navy
Like what you
SEALs,
call,
dude.
or if
Yeah.
you're in a building and there's zombies coming from everywhere, even if they're slow, if they're all around and you don't have a fucking even with a machine gun, you're more than likely still gonna die
Yeah,
because
let's
there's
be
just
honest.
so many. The bodies are dropping, so now you gotta fucking like step over shit or hope you actually kill them. Like there's so many factors to it, you know, to
Yeah.
where you're fucked. And God forbid if you only have a melee weapon and
Oh, you're dead.
you're getting swarmed all around, you're dead. You're dead.
There's
There's
more
no
than
way.
like if you have a melee
Yeah.
weapon and a bat and there's more than 5 of them, you're fucked. You're not gonna survive that
Yeah,
shit. Like,
exactly. Like so, like
uh,
that's the thing. They don't underestimate the zombie. Like we're not over here saying
yeah,
like, oh, that's a fucking cake. Like no, we're saying that as in regarding where you have the ability to run. So that's
yeah.
why they're not really a threat because you could just run and get away,
That's the
right?
best
You know,
option. Running. Hey,
so
that's the
yeah,
best option. It's
it's
just
just
to fucking
running. The
run.
fact that you have that luxury, that's why they're not the threat, and the main threat is really just humans. You know,
Yeah.
so it's
Exactly.
like so at the end of the day, like that's why you have to be really careful. But the problem, though, once again, when you got to go find food or whatever, guess what that requires? You got to go in buildings, close
Risks.
encounters,
Yeah.
and that's
Risks.
where shit gets crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be extremely logical. If the smart, here's the most logical conclusion: go to a military base. That's the smartest single decision. But if
Yep,
you're in the
that's
Midwest
it.
somewhere, or if you're some desolate like shithole, no disrespect to country
You're
areas, but
dead.
if you're in the middle of nowhere, you're fucked, man. Unless like a
You're
helicopters come out for
fucked.
you, you're fucked. Like, you're gonna have to hunt. You're gonna have to build shelter. You're gonna have to also hide from other possible humans that want to take you out. You're gonna do all kinds of shit. So if you're in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere, just you gotta be real good at surviving, man. If you're in a densely
No, you
popular
want to
area,
know?
you're
You
fucked.
want to know the worst fucking like the worst? And I feel like the most realistic zombies I've ever fucking seen
Yeah.
was the one with World War Z, or
Oh
not World War
God.
Z.
Oh
What was it? What the fuck was it called? I think I'm kind of saying it right, but I think you know with Brad Pitt or whatever, whatever the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
his
World
name
War Z.
is.
World War Z. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, World War Z zombies, where those guys are in fucking hordes and like you know what I
Oh
mean, they're
my.
just running or
Sprinting.
whatever. You know, you instantly turn like that shit. You're done. You're
We're all
fucked.
dead.
Like you're
No one's
yeah.
surviving that
There's
shit.
no way. Like you would literally the military would, and we literally see it too. They were even contemplating it, but eventually they were able
Nukes.
to find the cure. Right.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But they were gonna nuke everything. They were
Yeah,
literally
no,
gonna
yeah.
nuke it.
We're all dead
So
because here's the thing: they don't get tired. They'll just keep running. They're never gonna get
yep.
tired.
Yep, they just
Hell
keep
no.
running, but they jump too. They got like
Yeah,
insane fucking
fucking
vertical
jump.
jumps and
They have
shit.
like crazy physical feats and shit. Hell no, bro.
Their sensing is fucking cracked. Like they can hear like very ridiculous noises and shit. Like
Yeah,
so, like if it's something like that, or I don't know if you guys have played it. I've actually I'm releasing a lot of gaming videos on it because I already completed the series. But I played Days
yeah.
Gone, which is a PS4 exclusive, and it's also a zombie
That shit is
game.
fire.
It's very
Yeah.
similar to World War Z zombies. But the only difference is they're even more intelligent. So not only
Oh
can they
God.
hoard, but they can like strategize, kind of like I Am Legend zombies do. A
Yeah.
scratch can affect you, whatever you name it. And then eventually, what's it called? They can even start evolving where they can actually gain more human intelligence, but still be feral and like a zombie, whatever, blah blah.
God.
Like it's literally
Yeah.
upgraded versions of
They're like
World
fucking.
War
They're like
Z.
going through evolution like we are.
Yeah, and the animals also get infected.
Oh hell no.
Bears, wolves,
We're fucked at that point.
birds. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell no. I
Like
definitely want
it's
to live on
so
that.
fucking like, bro. When I played that game, I'm sorry, like whether you guys watch my let's plays or not, there was so many moments where I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I'd be dead so many times.
Honestly, humans are frail. People just don't realize it because we live in first world conditions. We're fucking frail, man.
Yeah,
Like fucking.
like literally, bro. And like another
Yeah.
bad part about it too is if you're under the age of 13, you die instantly because the virus just like blows up your cells and your
Oh
blood
God.
starts to boil, whatever, blah blah. So like if you're under the age of 13, you just die.
Fuck
Any
no.
older people from 70 and up, they're also all dead. So the
Yeah.
only age group you have is from 14 to like in 60s, basically. You
Damn.
know, and that's the only percentage of humans that are alive. So if you do your
Yeah.
math or whatever, the population of the world is already fucking drastically fucking shrink down because it just kills all the young fucking kids and teens and whatnot, and the majority of older people. Because the virus has a very strong effect. And then once again, now you got to deal with all the shit that can fucking kill you. They're intelligent. They can hoard. So many of them plan shit, mutate, evolve. Animals, like I'm sorry, that is absolutely the worst.
Yeah.
I think even
Exactly.
the military would probably be fucked.
Oh hell yeah. I'll just say this before I move on because we're on a tangent. Best options for Walking Dead scenario: military base or island. If you have the resources. If you don't, you're
Nice.
you're gonna die eventually. Let's say that. Another donation from Sir Ghost. Appreciate you, brother. Two of them actually. Are you still doing J clips and rants? Because I need the legendary Noodles stupid claim about Itachi being stronger than Hashirama debunked. You know what? I might do a rant. That's a good idea to go over. It's an easy debunk, but yeah, I might do that for you, Sir Ghost. I got you. But also, I'm
I'm
working on my own.
assuming their logic is Minato one shot manga,
Yeah.
therefore correlate Itachi to Minato, therefore over
And
Hashirama.
they also use that fucking Hashirama statement where he says, after Sasuke tells him about him, he's like, "Oh, he's a better ninja than I," but he means that in terms of like character, not fucking his power.
Bro, at
Yeah.
this point, those retards are literally dead ass gonna actually believe Kakuzu's skills to Hashirama at this
Yeah,
point
bro.
when he fought him.
You can't really save
Even though
them.
he was beaten up and lost and was fucking
Yeah, bro.
crucified and bullied out from his village, but okay.
Yeah, that retard and his friends think that bullshit. Also, I'm working on my own comic. Shout out to you, Sir Goats. But we'll read the chat, folks. We went on a zombie rant because that shit is
Yep.
fun to talk about. Um, let's see what you guys are saying here. Honestly, I don't think Tank beating up Devin is a big deal. He was only 16. Oh, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, so I put on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, folks. I've been on this boxing sort of tangent on there. If you want to follow me there,
Yep.
follow my Twitter. There is this clip that came out. It was Devin Haney versus Tank Davis sparring footage. I'm not gonna lie, Tank worked him, right? But this was 16-year-old Haney, and Tank was already, becoming a man. He was around 20. I think he was already competing as a pro at a high level, and he worked Haney. He worked Haney. He wasn't like knocking his ass out, but he was working him. Obviously, Ryan Garcia is using it as ammo against Haney to make him look bad. But
Uh,
I have 2 points. First of all, Haney was a kid. He was 16 years old, sparring one of the best boxers on the planet at the time, and he held his own. Yeah, he lost. He got worked, but he's 16. He held his own. Two, every great has been worked in sparring. There's actually rumors, and I only know this because I've been in the boxing game for a long time, that Floyd Mayweather years ago actually got knocked out or knocked down by Zab Judah in training. And this is Floyd Mayweather, not an official fight. There's a rumor that they sparred and Zab actually dropped him. And this is Floyd Mayweather, by the way. So the point is, everyone gets worked in sparring. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. John Jones, fucking Floyd, fucking Haney, Ali probably got worked in sparring. Everyone gets beat in sparring. Just because you get beat in sparring doesn't mean you're not a world class fighter. Just because Floyd got dropped by Zab Judah doesn't mean he's 50. He's not 50, you know. Just because John Jones had a bad day, it doesn't mean he's not the best MMA fighter of all time. So, what casuals see is that they see like a bad sparring clip or whatever. They're like, "Oh my god, this guy's dog shit." I'm like, dude, that was what it could have been a bad day. Or he could have been young. He could have been sick. He could have just been off that day. And people that haven't been in the game, I'm not saying I know everything, but I've been in the game long enough to know we all have our off days where we just don't look as well. And again, Haney was 16, bro. He wasn't a grown man yet. He was a fucking kid. You can even tell he was a kid in the clip. So I don't really care that Tank beat him in sparring. He was a fucking grown man. So it doesn't really mean that much to me at that point. I want to see them fight now, for sure. I think it'd be a good fight today. He's a grown man now. He's a champion. But yeah, it doesn't mean that much to me at all. Like, come on, man. Noodle's awful takes have to be some marketing tactic. Oh, facts, bro. The majority of them are. The caucus bullshit. I know he doesn't believe it. I guarantee he doesn't believe it. He's using it for fucking marketing, for shock value. He's a fucking retard. Batman, remember when Weeb said that gorillas are slow as shit and said, and you said, oh, so you telling me you can outrun a gorilla? Let's actually look up how fast are gorillas. How fast can gorillas run? 25 miles per hour. Good luck with outrunning that if you're not an Olympic sprinter. If you're not an Olympic sprinter, you're getting run down, big fella. Sorry. Let's read what you guys are said. Gojo Lee, the humiliated ones. That's facts, bro. Unfortunately, and I like Gojo. I'm caught up with JJK, and so far my favorite characters is Megumi and Sukuna. I still miss Nobara. Shout out to Nobara, bro. Guy's a fucking legend. Let's see. From what I can tell, something is wrong with Ryan. What do you think? As far as Garcia, this is what I'll say about Ryan. He's very distracted, and I think opinions get to him too easily. Like him dating an OF model. Obviously, we're all gonna flame him for that. He's dating some hoe from the internet, but he keeps going on these rants about her, posting when he proposed to her. Like, bro, who cares what we think? First of all, you're fighting Devin Haney. What the fuck are you talking about this shit? Who cares what we think? Focus on the fucking fight. The fuck is wrong with you, dude? You know, so I think Ryan is just kind of weak-minded. I know he had his mental health issues. Those are valid, whatever. But here's the reality of that game. The mentally tough survive. I know a lot of talented guys that I know personally or just know from the fight game that aren't mentally tough enough to do it. Seeing guys quit, seeing guys just not handle the stress that it takes, especially when you're a champion and there's eyes on you and you're gonna have haters regardless. You have to be able to endure that. Not just the physical beatings that you take, but the mental sort of torment that your detractors are going to attempt to give you. You have to be able to endure that. Guys like Floyd didn't give a fuck what you thought about him. He didn't give a fuck. That's why he's a champion. Haney doesn't give a fuck. Tank doesn't give a fuck. Ali didn't give a fuck. Those guys are like, that's why they're the world champions. I think Garcia has some maturity to do, mental maturity that he has to sort of continue to progress with, because right now he's still showing distraction to me on social media, posting a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't matter. Focus on the fight, dude. I wouldn't even be on social media if I was in camp. Me personally, I wouldn't do that shit. You know, so I think there is something wrong with him mentally. I think he's just off. Very physically talented. You could argue he's the most talented out of the young generation, but he's just very distracted, and his mind isn't where it's supposed to be, in my opinion. So, W Stream, appreciate you, Sir Goats. Appreciate that, bro. Let's see here.
I
Yeah. By
just
the way,
thought of
should
Jay, bro. Fucking imagine Left for Dead.
oh my God. Yeah, that'd be bad too. Hell no. What do y'all think of
But
the
to be
fly?
fair, we could at least beat them. It would be the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
principle, either air support or just nuke. But
yeah. They're not like so threatening where they just mow us down, like Walking Dead,
uh,
Left 4 Dead. Yeah.
like
What do
they're
you?
still really cracked. Don't be wrong. All the special infected. Smokers, hunters, tanks.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
Mm, what do y'all think of the faster than light arguments for Sukuna due to his fight with Kashima? Truth be told, I'm gonna study that pretty heavily soon. I'm gonna do a JJK video about Toji. So I'm gonna definitely get more into that. My deduction currently
yeah,
is that no one scales to even light. I'm just being honest. Maybe my mind will
yeah,
change, but right now, I'd say no. Itachi over Kabuto over Nagato or Sage Kabuto. I think you can argue certain ways Kabuto and Nagato counter each other, but overall Kabuto is more impressive. I agree, and I do think you can argue either way. Um, I like Ron Garcia, but if he's going to drink and smoke weed before the fight, he's clearly not taking it seriously. He deserves to lose to Devin. Like I said, Ryan's distracted. Yeah, he's a distracted kid. He's focused on the wrong things, TikTok and all this other bullshit, dude. If you want to be a world champion, bro, that shit doesn't matter. I'm just being honest. Haney's focused. He's a devout, a religious individual. His dad keeps him centered. He just focuses on fighting, bro. That's why he's a world champion. So it's that simple. Um, I hope I didn't miss much. What's going on, BT? What's going on, bro? I didn't miss much. We've been talking about zombies. We've been talking about Boruto, JJK a lot today. Yeah. Who wins in a race between peak Sonic and peak Flash? I would assume Flash. I don't know too much about Sonic. I heard he's cracked as shit, but I would assume Flash. Flash like transcends time and speed altogether. Like he is speed. So I'd probably say Flash, but again, I don't know too much about Sonic. JJK or Attack on Titan, the better show? Whew, that's a tough one. I would say narrative wise, if I'm being, I'd probably say Attack on Titan. I think Attack on Titan has a better narrative overall. It's more polarizing, in my opinion. Uh, they have their different pros and cons. Attack on Titan just has no filler, straight to the point, extremely polarizing from start to finish. Yeah, it's a very black and white sort of trajectory in certain ways. So Rampage Obito versus War at Kakashi. Though you mean the one that slaughtered all those Anbu? Uh, War Kakashi was reacting to V2 and Cherokees at this point in time. The Anbu are quite unquantifiable. Yeah, they're Anbu, and he slaughtered like a whole platoon, to be fair. And he had like the Hashirama cell amp where he's using wood style. But I still think Kakashi's more impressive in my opinion, going against V2 Jinchurikis the way he did. Um, so I'll probably say Kakashi. Again, what's tough about Obito is the how to quantify the platoon he slaughtered, right? Because Jonin can vary widely in caliber, and yes, they are Anbu, but even they are perceived as fodder at times, right? Like for example, when Itachi left the village and those Anbu tried to stop him, and he like effortlessly genjutsu'd their ass. Like there's no, it's not that impressive, right? Just because they're Anbu. So I'd probably say Kakashi. You could argue that I'm using an appeal to ignorance. That's fair, but I would argue Kakashi has the better feats. So more concretely, I'd say. $5 from BT. I appreciate that, brother. Put that on the screen real quick. Give me a second, folks. So I put that on the screen. Appreciate that, brother. I'll read it real quick. If you could go back, if you could go back in any point of time to see an event as an observer, what or where would it be? That's a great question. It's a great question. Any point in time ever? That's a good question. Where would I go? If it's any point in human history, I'd probably say, where would I go? I'd probably say, mm, maybe Rome, like the first great empire that ever stood on that scale. It's Rome, or yeah, I'll probably say Rome during the times of Rome. The closest thing to the U.S. we've had in human history, as far as success and overall dominance. So weird how people are surprised that Sukuna was holding back against the protags. If Gojo failed to push him, how are people who are fodder to Gojo supposed to make him go all out? Yeah, it's more of like a progressive, concurrent, or rather consecutive, rather attack, right? It's not like a concurrent attack that could beat him, right? Because he's so dominant. in comparison to all other sorcerers, that you have to use a sort of consecutive attack with one combatant after the other, right? Because he's just so dominant that you have to essentially wear him down. Right? It's like the only way to take him out is to wear him down over time, which is what they seemingly are attempting to do, right? They had Gojo thrown at him, then they had they had Hikari, they had Yuji, they had Yuta, now they have Maki. They're trying to wear the guy down over time. Isn't Kuritsukino weaker anyway because of his fight against Gojo? Yeah, he's certainly very disheveled. You can even see observably. Also, spoiler alert, apparently there's a panel in the new chapter that says he's been holding back anyway, like the entire time. So there's that. So yeah, he's certainly weaker. Either way, because of all the combat he's had to endure, So, but yeah, any questions at all, folks? I think Batman's still here, but he's busy right now. But yeah, JJK's heating up. I'm certainly looking forward to this next chapter. I've seen some spoilers. I know the next chapter comes out tomorrow as well. Definitely looking forward to that. I'm going to read that ASAP. Definitely looking forward to it for sure. But yeah, folks, any questions at all? But yeah, going back to Sir Goat's question, as far as rants, I'll eventually do another one. I just got to think of a good topic, something worth doing. I did a couple, the Kaku versus Pain debunk, the Shishui scaling, the Jiraiya scaling, things like that. So if there's a topic worth doing, then I'll certainly do it. Like a debunk. Let's see here. But yeah, folks, any questions at all? Any questions at all? We went on a zombie tangent for a while. That's a good question, though. Shout out to Kedrick for that one. That's a good question. Appreciate the $2, Kedrick. Appreciate that, brother. Put that on the screen real quick. Right quick here. Appreciate that, brother. Here we are. Here we are. Batman should be back soon, though, folks. I think he's busy right now. I'll carry the boats for now. Let's see here. Team 7 versus Team Minato with just the kids. Okay, so no Minato. Alright, so if we include Kakashi with Team 7, then this will be like an older Kakashi. More experienced, probably better with Raikiri, better with Chidori, better just in general as a shinobi. Also, we got to take into account that Naruto can use Kyuubi amps as well. So it depends at what point in time, clearly, right? Obviously, if I'm being extremely technical, Boruto Team 7. If we use the same Team 7 from Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto would absolutely dominate. But if we're using like Kid Team 7, let's say like Part 1 Naruto versus Team Minato, before Obito's tragic event where he gets smashed in half by that boulder, I'd probably lean towards Team 7 again. Oh, you said with just the kids, though. Because of the Kyuubi amp, I think if worse comes to worse, and they're in character and they're, fighting for each other, I think Naruto would just have a rampage. I don't think anyone on Team Minato could handle that, including Kakashi. Sasuke is just naturally more gifted than Obito as well, with the Sharingan and things of that nature. And Sakura is just a better combatant than Rin. Rin has no feats at all, like 0. So I'd probably say Team 7, even without Kakashi. I think it's the Kyuubi amp. That's the main X factor here. Let's say that Kakashi does slam Team 7, kick Kakashi. Naruto, if he sees like Kakashi's willing to kill his brethren, he'll just have a Kyuubi amp like he did against Haku during the Land of Waves. It'd be something like that. Gojo versus Sukuna reminds me of Gar versus Lee. Both Gojo and Lee seem to be pushing their ops, only for Sukuna and Gar to be real. They never felt threatened enough to go all out. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Pretty much what it is. There's definitely some parallels there with how that, progressed. Part 1 Kabuto could easily take out multiple Anbu, so they're fodder. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to quantify Anbu. What's going on, Red Dalek? What's going on, bro? That's why it's hard to scale Obito, right? When he went on that rampage, it's just random, unknown Anbu. You can't really quantify where they stand as far as scaling. So, but feel free to ask about Boxing Belly, folks. Obviously, I'm a big fan of that as well. Or UFC. I know there's a great event coming next week. I think Jake Paul fought today. Speaking of boxing, let's see who won that, by the way. Jake Paul fight results. I didn't watch it because I'm not going to pay for that. I didn't really care for it, but I care about it enough to know the results. I think it's over. Give me a second. See what it is here. Have they fought yet? I don't think they fought yet. I think the card is still ongoing, if I'm not mistaken. If anyone knows, really let me know. I don't see anything yet, so. But yeah. If we want to rank Team Unito, we could argue that Rain would just go full-tailed beast. Yeah, and then Naruto would. If you know there's a zombie apocalypse 2.5 months from now, what are you doing? I would alert. I would have to prove it. If it's... Sorry, folks, my dog's barking. If it's not provable, then I would just prepare as best as I can. If I had proof, then clearly I would tell all like the proper authorities about it so they could prepare a society for it. But if only I know and I can't prove it, I'll try to convince who I can to the best of my ability. But prepare as best as I can. Probably move near a military base so I could just go there as soon as the outbreak starts. So it depends. But I'll certainly prepare ahead of time for that. $5 from Kedra, I appreciate that, brother.
No, no.
Right, appreciate that, brother. Let's see. Where would Team Unito scale if they were in the tuning exams? And how far would they go together and individually? Oh, if they were in the tuning exams? Kakashi's such a prodigy that, I mean, he was a captain of his squad is so young. Jonin's so young, even before the likes of Neji and those guys. I think he would
My bad,
defeat.
I'm back, brother. What I miss?
Oh,
What I
good.
miss? What I miss?
Someone asked if Team Minato was in the tuning exams, how far would they go individually and together?
He would fucking absolutely clean everybody effortlessly.
Yeah, Kakashi is a prodigy. The only guys he might struggle with is if like Gaara went on a rampage or Naruto used Nine Tails. But besides that, yeah, he's folding. Neji,
Yeah, like
yeah,
Shikaku, fucking yeah. Like if it's like Shikaku fully transforming and shit, whatnot.
yeah,
Like you could still make the argument for Minato, as crazy as it sounds, because he does have flying Raijin. And he also has that Rising Gun that can contest against the Nine Tails.
yeah. Obito, the tuning exams, he was still kind of green at that age, like as a kid.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't get too far.
Yeah, he got beat up by Guy in
Yeah, and
base.
Rin would go like fucking Sakura, so she wouldn't go anywhere
Yeah.
either. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
about it.
Kakashi, when he was that young, he was joning around that
Yeah,
time. Now it's
he's
without the Sharingan, like he was blatantly able to fight against like jonings from other villages already too, whatnot.
yeah,
So like Kakashi is no joke, but yeah, no Minato, like I would say like Minato would definitely be above Kakashi. Um, and things like that. Like he's like the upgrade version, right?
yeah,
But him having Rasengan, that's also superior to Shidori. Kakashi doesn't have Sharingan, then he's pretty fucked. Even if he has Sharingan, we know the Sharingan works. If you're still not fast enough, even if you can read their movements, you're fucked. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
pretty sure Minato would probably still be way faster than Kid Kakashi. But I think Minato would definitely be able to sweep everyone. It's just the
Oh,
only time you'll
Minato,
have a
yeah.
problem is if it's like the QB amps or if it's
Yeah, the
fucking
QB's the
Shukaku.
only like problems for these guys, especially Kakashi and Minato.
Yeah.
So
And obviously, like here is in the Sonning, all that, whatever. Like at that, they should definitely be above Teen Minato.
yeah. Thoughts on the databook statement that 6 plus Naruto's taijutsu is comparable to 6 Gate Lee? I would say just proof via contradiction that it's not hyper literal, and I would say it would be like in terms of skill, maybe. I would say in terms of like
And to be fair,
physical
that could be a
stats.
fake translation for all I know. But like that could be
Yeah,
one of those translations that are out there that like everybody just seen so much where they thought it was. Like I don't know, I would actually have to further check that too. But
yeah.
I,
You
I
could
do
say,
I do know what you're
yeah,
talking about though.
yeah. You could just say in terms of skill, obviously not in terms of physical stats, and you could just look at the narrative and proof via contradiction. That proves that it's
Yeah.
not hyper literal. It's hyperbolic, or it means in terms of like taijutsu skill rather than
And
power. So
And that would make more sense, like taijutsu skill of him being better than, which that would make sense, right? Because he's a specialty, right? Even though I think Naruto is extremely underrated, but
oh
like
yeah, his
believe
taijutsu is
that I
extremely
could
underrated.
understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but if it's
Um,
like, but the problem is like the fucking data book statement says like empower and everything, and it's like that's not.
yeah,
Like
no, no,
it's, you
no,
know what I
no.
mean? Like that's just
Yeah,
not it. Like no,
yeah.
and it's just blatantly contradicted. Like you see his feats against Haku and shit, where either Joning's in the war or Lokage. Like you know what I mean? It's like come on, like he's
Yeah.
not six pass level. He would be shitting
Um,
on everybody if he was.
yeah. Minato versus a third-rate Kage. Would Minato be able to penetrate through the lightning cloak? So if we presuppose this definitely matters. If we presuppose Kage has his scar, he's going to deduce that and attack that, and then he'd beat him. But
Yeah.
if he deduces before the scar that he received, um, an observation I saw. This is from TG. Shout out to TG. We were doing a video. In the panel when Naruto uses a Rasengan, you could see that the you could see that actually damages the Raikage, not just on his scar, but the Rasengan damages like his arm. I think like it shows like cracking. Shout out to TG because he pointed that
Yeah,
out.
there's like a mark on his arm,
Yeah,
right?
so it's
Yeah.
like affecting his body as well. It's a very, very good observation from TG. He's the one that made it, by the way, not
It
me.
it makes
Um,
sense too, Jay, because the Shidori we saw that go through for the fourth Raikage's armor. You know.
Yeah. So shout out to TG for this, but this is the difference I'd say. I think Naruto's AP is greater than Minato's. Definitely in Sage mode because he was in Sage mode when he used it to take out the Raikage. So there is the argument that Minato perhaps would not be able to penetrate the third Raikage's lightning cloak. Certainly possible, especially if he's not using Sage mode, and we can deduce he's not as good at Sage mode as Naruto. Even though people
Yeah.
use that Edo fee, like, oh, he did it right away. It's like, well, when he was alive, he never used it though. Why didn't he use it against Obito
Yeah.
or fucking the fourth or anything like that? Clearly, he's not that good at
Yeah,
it.
he would slam Obito. It just makes no
Yeah,
logical sense. Yeah.
if it increases reactionary time, why the fuck wouldn't he use it? So I would say he probably can't. More than likely, I think there's a theoretical possibility.
Like the
Again,
other
if
way
the
you could argue.
yeah,
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
if the scar's there, he'll just hit his scar. I guarantee. If Naruto could deduce that, Minato's gonna deduce it quicker. So he's gonna
Yeah,
hit
like
him.
and to be fair, like Naruto did have help, like outside help to deduce it, but the bottom line is Naruto's not like extremely intelligent like Minato, Itachi, Sasuke, Kakashi, whatever. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And if they were to notice that, I would definitely think they could do it. You know what I mean?
exactly.
They
Yeah,
could be able to deduce it with it's just come on. Like even I would really think that if I'm fighting someone and I'm throwing attacks and nothing's
yeah.
working, but I see a
Easy
scar in their
deduction.
chest.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for the of that point because that might be a weak point. Like that's just common sense too,
exactly. It's not a
So
hard deduction anyway. So yeah, exactly.
yeah, like overall, but like if you want to like argue for Minato and you want to like really like say the Rising On could just blatantly go through, like one way you could argue it is if like with the Team Minato thing where he was the Rising On to the Nine Tails Cube Bomb, things like that, whatever, and with the statement with Hashirama, so like if you kind of like argue around that and rationalize it, and then talk about fourth Hokage Minato, theoretically you could basically claim that his Rising On should just have enough AP and just go right through, especially like as Jay said, if Sage Naruto was able to make a mark on him, right? He didn't
Exactly.
make him bleed, but he
Yeah,
didn't make a
he didn't
mark
like.
that's
Yeah, it was just like a mark
a
thing.
bruise, basically, so it's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if Sage Naruto could do that, and let's be real, I do believe Minato scales over Sage Naruto though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In terms of physical
Yeah,
stats, yeah. Definitely speed at
yeah,
least.
like
At least speed.
speed or whatever you name it, and just like being
Yeah.
able to win and whatnot, like that is like when it comes to like power, that's a little interesting,
That's more debatable.
yeah. In Sage mode, it just makes sense. Sage mode is just fucking cracked, but especially Warwick Naruto, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Technically, and Jay's not really tripping. If you really analyze Sage mode Warwick Naruto, he was technically able to react fast enough to block Sage mode alive Madara with no
Exactly.
eyes.
Yeah.
Like everybody else gets speed blitz, but he was able to at least block and like use his arms in front of his chest to like endure the hit from the kick from Madara. So
Yeah.
like overall, if you kind of go that route, what I mean? So meaning therefore Sage Naruto technically has enough durability to not get fucking one shot by Madara, and even be fast enough to block the hit too. He still gets launched back. It's not like he just blocks and stops it. I'm not saying that, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
overall, like Sage mode is pretty impressive. So there's that too. So at the end of the day, it's really really interesting. Like regardless, no matter what, the third Raikage is this fucked. It's either you think he can go through it, or if he can't, he just uses his intelligence and gets through it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But shout out to Alexa with the $50. Appreciate it, Alexa.
And I will say this too, Jay. As a last resort, he could add Sage Mode eventually. You know what I mean? Because he only did it because he was absolutely forced to do it to Madara, right?
Yeah,
He
exactly.
didn't have a fucking choice.
Yeah.
So that's why he did. So if it's the Raikage and he can't damage him, that as a last resort, let's say he doesn't even think of the scar, he could probably do that too. He could easily just teleport, Sage Mode, teleport back, and then do Rising Gun and go that route too. You know what I mean? And at that point,
yeah,
I'm gonna be real with you. I think at that point, if he has a Sage Mode Rising Gun, even if he's not nowhere near as good as Naruto, it should definitely be at least more stronger than his.
At least,
gun, right?
yeah, definitely, at least
because that shit was way bigger when he went to charge at Madara. It was way bigger than his normal size.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So the AP at the very minimum would increase. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Part 1 final QB Naruto versus Part 1 psychotic Shukaku Gaara. Naruto probably beat him. Yeah, I mean he had Gamabunta's help, but he beat Gaara then. If he had
beat Gaara, yeah, he beat him.
He had Gamabunta to be fair, but if he has a fucking Part 1 QB amp, yeah, he's beating the end of the Valley. Yeah, he is. In your opinion,
what's it called? Like that same Naruto with the QB. Don't get me wrong, Kimmaru fucking bullied his shit, but he was at least relative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was blatantly like where it was this speed blitz tier above where Kimmaru is just striking and he can't even move and is dead, right? Kimmaru had to mow down all his 2,000 plus shadow clones and then deal with the last remaining. And then Naruto was gassed out and back to base and he was gonna kill him, but then Lee saves him,
Yeah, exactly.
So it's overall, fucking, if with all that, especially with the Kimmaru shit, you name it, and we know Gaara's a stronger form was able to fight that Kimmaru, so the meaning the weaker form would just get shitted on,
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Look at Gaara with Weightless Lee and then Sasuke who's relative to Weightless Lee. The man was getting bullied. Imagine QB Naruto.
Exactly. Shout out to all the donos, by the way, folks. The screen is pretty filled today. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that from all the donos.
Jay, you think the Arbor cracks is bad, bro? Man does one little QB chakra punch and bam, breaks right through, bleeds.
Fucking shatters. Yeah, literally.
He literally starts yelling like what Sasuke did on my blood.
Yeah, literally. What are the most interesting Naruto power scaling topics to debate over from Part 1 Shippuden and Boruto? That's a good question. Part 1 will definitely be Chunin exam topics. Sasuke versus Lee. Sasuke versus Neji. Yeah, Sasuke versus Neji.
Retrieval as well. Retrieval versus matchups too.
Yeah, you have a bunch of Sound 4 shit. Kimimaro.
The OG Joning matchups like Kakashi or Kabuto versus Zabuza, things like that.
Kabuto versus Zabuza. Yeah, that would be good. Shippuden would be like Itachi versus Pain. Heavy Sasuke versus Orochimaru, even though I think Orochimaru beats him.
Minato versus certain people as well. Like you could say Jonin, then eventually fourth Hokage.
Yeah, like Minato versus maybe Itachi. What else is another good one? Sage Mode Kabuto. There's tons of them. Sage Mode Kabuto versus Nagato. There's a bunch of good ones. Shippuden probably has the most.
You could also technically argue Nagato versus Orange Mask Obito too.
Yeah, that's another good one as well. Between the top 3 and the Akatsuki, any one of those 3 against each other. Nagato versus Itachi, Nagato versus Obito, Obito versus Itachi, Obito versus there's a ton of good ones there.
And you could theoretically do Pain versus Obito as well.
Yeah.
The only issue though is obviously there's pros and cons with that. You could still be in favor for Obito just being more better in scaling, right, or whatever, but overall, we do know bare minimum they're relative to Nagato's power, you know what I mean? And so if you connect those dots and whatnot and all that stuff, and we do see at least Konan do decently against Obito. I know he was holding back because he couldn't kill her too, but he could still move at full speed and shit and use his jutsu and shit and whatnot. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think Obito would want to get hurt for no reason, right?
Oh, definitely
that doesn't make any fucking sense,
definitely.
So at the end of the day, you got to give at least some fucking cookie crumbs to Konan. But either way, all I'm saying is if Konan could do something at least, even better yet, even Danzo's henchman. were able to at least do like I'm gonna be real with you, like Obito obviously is more over them, but Obito did come to the conclusion like, let me just get rid of my arm because that beetle shit is annoying as fuck. You know what I mean? Like otherwise, if Obito didn't have to do that, he would just straight up speed blitz or do some whatever. Instead, he literally like had to touch his arm or like he had to touch his body to calm him, and because if he touches his body, it's poison. So like overall, I'm saying if it's certain way weaker characters can at least be somewhat relevant or relative to him, right? If we have someone like to pass the pains, come on. Like I don't see why it would be like, oh, he's just getting straight up slammed or some shit. I think that's a little weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but Boruto. Okay, so Boruto topics. That's a good question. Currently,
Shisui versus certain Sasuke's is cool too.
oh yeah, Shisui versus like Heavy Sasuke or some shit. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, like
And
I think Kage
Boruto.
Summit beats him, but
Yeah, Boruto. What would be good shit? I guess like fucking Momo versus Kaguya. That'd be cool to see that.
you can do Delta versus Momo as well.
Delta versus Momo. Fucking Boro's kind of ass actually. Koji versus fucking. I mean, never mind. Jigen did whip his ass. I wouldn't say Jigen. We saw that.
Yeah, he only had 10% of his power, and he's still like, and he had to go stage mode to fight 10% too.
Maybe
he
like
couldn't even
fucking
beat Jigen.
yeah, and that was like a fucked up Jigen. Maybe fucking.
So I'll say this: like stage mode, Kashin Koji probably would be able to beat all the other outers though, or inners.
Yeah, I would fucking say.
I don't think any one of them could be able to at least beat a 10% Jigen.
Oh,
I think that was impressive.
Fuck no. Yeah, they had no way in hell. Yeah, definitely not.
Like the fact that he went stage mode and he did beat base 10% in Jigen of power, and then Jigen had to he had to use karma, right?
Yeah, he had to use karma.
And then he beat him. So it's like overall, and actually no, I forgot he couldn't use karma because he was weakened. He had to go to his true form to like Ishiki.
Oh,
That's how that happened.
He used that weird.
Yeah, so
like,
the fact that he beat 10%, Jigen with his hacks and sage mode and shit. That is a fucking feat, though. I know he's not worth full power, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like so I don't think any other inner or outer fucking Kara is doing that shit, bro.
Yeah, no other Kara member would have done as well as him. I'd say that.
Hell no.
Yeah, no.
So,
I'd say another good fight. Naruto.
What about? Do you think Orochimaru would have a chance against him? I think he actually might beat Orochimaru, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he probably would. He's pretty fucking powerful,
right? Because like we see Orochimaru like be on a similar ground with that one weird Hiruzen copycat that has like
the fucking
regeneration. Kashin Koji no diffed him.
Yeah,
like we see Orochimaru, like he was superior than him, but he was at least relative. Yet Kashin Koji just no diffs him in base.
Yeah, he probably would beat him.
Get on Orochimaru.
Yeah, he probably would beat him. Naruto versus what would be a good fight? Fucking Naruto versus Fused Momo by himself. Maybe that would be interesting. Like full power though, obviously.
Yeah, because if Naruto's at full power, that would like he would actually be able to do it. Because Naruto was at he was at less than 50% of his power.
He like siphoned like half his shit out of him when they went to rescue him.
His power of the Nine Tails and Chart, whatever, all that shit, like his base and Nine Tails. And then Sasuke was also fatigued from using the teleportation and shit, and you name it.
Yeah, exactly.
So like he's fighting basically two half power of them. And it makes sense because we literally see them at full power fighting against Jigen, right? Being relative at least.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that they scaled a fucking Jigen at full power, being relative, clearly they would shit on Momoshiki if they were full power.
Oh, yeah.
So,
if they're full power,
so I think like if it's full power Naruto, he'd actually probably fucking slam Momoshiki. I'm not
definitely Taijutsu, that's a fact. Yeah, he'd whip his ass.
like and that's another thing. Like even if like Momoshiki goes like his transformation and shit, like Naruto could literally also transform, or worst case scenario, just stack Sage Mode like he did against Sasuke. Literally. He can do that too, and then he's definitely winning. So Naruto would definitely win, regardless how you think the difficulty would be. I think he would be it would be a low or mid diff. And that's due to him fighting Jigen.
That would be cool to see actually. That's a fight I wish we could have seen. Current fight I want to see would be fucking Code versus Kawaki, full power. I think Code probably beats him right now from what we saw, but I want to see that. That would be kind of cool to see. I think Boruto beats either one. We saw what he did to Code. He fucking fodderized his ass in base, but I do want to see those guys.
I forgot, Jay. We to some degree we kind of saw what we were talking about before with Naruto and like Momoshiki, like Sasuke. to be fair, he wasn't at full power again because he did teleport, but he's not like drastically away, right? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
because we've seen that Sasuke when he's really fatigued, he's over here like getting fucked up by Urashiki and shit.
Oh yeah, facts. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but yeah, so he still has his power, but he was able to fight 2 fucking aliens. That one
that
big
was
dude.
dope. Yeah, the fucking
Yeah, he fought
Kichiki.
him and Momo, and then
Yeah.
eventually conceded. It's like, yeah, if I keep fighting, I'm gonna lose. You know.
Yeah.
So like that was also impressive. So furthermore, once again, like that's why like if Naruto was at full power, bro,
Yeah.
like I just
That shit's
you know,
fire.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
when they're at full power, they're
Yeah.
pretty fucking powerful.
They're cracked. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some of the best debate topics, I'd say. To be fair to Kurama, I do think he's pretty nerfed in the mental scape. Sage Naruto is whooping his ass, but KCM1 Naruto got bullied by the Bijou, whereas Kurama beat them by himself. Oh, you mean when Naruto KCM got bullied by the Bijou? Oh, when he was fighting the Obito. Um, I think they
Wait,
probably.
what is he talking about? Huh? I'm
To be
lost.
fair, I think he means when he fought Sage Naruto.
Oh.
He was nerfed. He had chains, right? I think in there when he fought Naruto.
Yeah, like this is what happened basically. I've seen that fight multiple times because like for other shit, base
Yeah.
Naruto gets absolutely slammed. He can't do anything. He just gets blitzed and shit, and Naruto's talking shit. Then Naruto does Sage mode, and then his mom has to help him in
Use
order
the
to have
fucking
so his
chains.
mom has to help.
Yeah.
Then he goes Sage mode. And then he also is able to like stack Sage mode with all like his fucking clones, which he can only do that in the dream world. He
Yeah.
can't do that in the real world. So
Yeah.
that was another advantage he had as well. And so he was able to pressure the Nine Tails. But basically, like the Nine Tails was still like he was still over, but he was at least being relative and giving pushback, right? And then his mom helped even more, and then he did the tug of war, so whatever. So like he doesn't technically scale to the Nine Tails. He had the help
Yeah,
from
he
his
doesn't.
mom.
Yeah, no,
You
he
know, and he
doesn't.
was only relative, and he was still losing with the help as well. But
Yeah.
so like, if we compare Minato in the Dream World as a teen, winning right with Kushina's help, right in
Yeah.
base with an incomplete Rising
The
Dawn,
fucking Bijou
I will
bomb.
say that is way better than Sage Mode Naruto.
Oh
in
yeah,
performance. He's
way
spreading in
better.
half. You know?
Way better.
Yeah.
It's not even
And
close,
Kushina
actually.
only had less Chalker as well. I think it was like a fucking fraction.
Yeah, and he was a fraction of himself too. He was like a fucking fragment after getting fucked up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So yeah, Minato definitely performed way better as a team.
Way better. Yeah, it's not even close, actually.
Yeah.
If
And Minato was injured, he was poisoned, he was fatigued.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. If 19 Fingers Akuna went full power against Gojo, do you think Gojo would compete and show relativity? Oh, you mean without Mahoraga? I think he would compete. There could be some arbitrary level of relativity, but I still think he'd lose. I think what would happen is Sukuna would outlast him. They would do the domain clashes. His cursed energy would begin to deplete, and I think Sukuna just has more has more tools in his arsenal. And at the end of the day, I think eventually Infinity would fall, and he would take him out. I think either way he'd outlast him. He wouldn't be able to handle Sukuna, in my opinion. So I think he'd compete though. I don't think he'd get fucking slammed or anything, but he would lose either way, in my opinion. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, one member of the Justice League has to protect you while the others are after you. Who are you choosing? I'm taking my chances with Batman. With prep time, Batman. Without
Yeah.
prep time,
I would say Superman.
probably fucking Superman. We could just fly away, fucking go to fucking some other galaxy.
He'd be
or some
way
shit.
faster, yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't
Flash
have to
can't
fight.
fly, so I mean, Flash could go back in time or some shit and kill me before I'm born or some shit. But
Actually, yeah, no, now thinking about it, I would probably say Flash.
yeah, maybe we could just run away until like
Yeah, because Flash has that fucking cracked hacks, bro.
Yeah.
He can do all that time and reality shit.
We could
dude.
we can go to another dimension, or we could go back in time to like go live with the dinosaurs or some shit. I don't know, some shit like that. With prep time though, Batman. Yeah, Batman's prep time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Batman with he has already his prep and stuff. Which I'm gonna be honest with you, whenever we have like, even if it's like it doesn't matter if it's composite or not, because every Batman and every fucking reset of all the reboots, the
Yeah.
moment he has time, whether if it's middle period or end period, he already has his prep. So it would have to be year 1 Batman or year 0. That and then hell no, would not pick that Batman.
Oh hell no,
even though he's still cracked, but it's just saying no, it would have
He's
to
green.
be middle
Yeah.
point Batman and or end point Batman, and therefore he would have all the prep. Meaning you're good. There's no way you're dying. There's no
Yeah.
way.
If it's year 1, he's too green, but after that, when he's like experienced, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Like the guy, the guy has a fucking bat suit that looks fucking badass. To where it's literally a contingency to where if he killed someone and never broke his code, it was designed to beat him and anyone else that gets in their way.
Yeah, and he has fucking suits that
Like
could
it
fight
literally
like
destroyed everybody. Like and it's just
yeah.
this random ass fucking suit just sitting there for
He has like
Batman to beat
fucking
him up.
suits that beat like galaxy level of people, like Darkseid and
Yeah, he has
shit.
all that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, like then he has like another suit that literally has element X on top
Yeah.
of something else, which basically gives him omnipotence. He can literally just do whatever the fuck he wants, create anything, and literally he can beat whatever. Like the suit is absolutely the most powerful crack fucking suit. Like the one of the strongest beings in the multiverse literally compliments him and says, "You are the most intelligent mind and have created the most dangerous, most powerful like armor to exist." Like it's an incredible like that's the
Yeah.
guy that's complimenting him. It's like some moderate shit to guy like you're the
Yeah.
strongest I've ever fought or some shit.
Yeah. Without prep time, Flash because he could just run away, just get the fuck out of there. But
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
we're
Yeah.
not gonna we're not
So
gonna beat them, but we could run at least. So,
yeah,
you know who
exactly. Like,
also
yeah,
blocked?
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's like if we're trying to survive, like what you asked, like it's
Yeah.
Flash no matter what. But if it's Batman with prep, then yes, we would do that. So
Yeah, because at least he could beat them. Who do you know who also blocked an attack from Stage 1 Rinnegan Madara? Shikaku. Oh, that's true, huh? Yeah. Would Sakura be more respected by the fandom if you gave her the same
yeah,
feats,
but
but she
that
could?
that Shikaku is actually more impressive because he actually had a running on though.
Yeah.
So
The same feats, but she came from the Senju or Uzumaki clan. Oh, it should be more respected if she was from them? She was fucking annoying anyway. I think we would have been annoyed by her regardless. Um,
oh, and that's
yeah.
another thing too. I forgot to mention, Jay. That's why Shikaku is so fucking cracked because like actually how did they go back? Either he had the running gun or he didn't. I don't remember. But what I do know is he did the Susanoo attack. Like he activated his Susanoo and it's alive, by the way. And he threw his Susanoo attack at Shikaku and Shikaku blocked that shit effortlessly. And that just goes to show you how crazy the durability is for Shikaku.
Yeah.
Like so like if he's able to block attacks from someone like Madara, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying, bro. Like that's why when it comes to other characters like having to fight against Shikaku and shit, like you really think like their AP could do shit? It would have to be hacks, you know?
Yeah.
So
You can't prove the zombie apocalypse to anyone, and you know the military bases won't let any civilians in. How would you prep? So if I can't convince anyone and the military base won't let anybody in, I'd probably try to stockpile and get as many guns legally and even illegally if possible as I can. I would leave this area, go to like a remote, either
yeah.
that or go to a fucking island. Just stay there. Go to somewhere
Yeah,
remote and
yeah,
desolate.
yeah, the best thing is an island, or you try to build your own army and team. But then
Yeah,
again, that's really hard to do
you
because
have to convince
like you would
people.
have to have really incredible leadership skills and be like a
Yeah,
tyrant. Like you would have to have that
yeah.
fear element as well.
You'd have to convince
So
people, and you'd have to have the
and be the
leadership
badass.
skills. Yeah, so
Yeah.
fucking either an island or like a fucking like desolate wasteland somewhere in like the middle of fucking nowhere, like Desert Valley or some shit. But if I
Yeah.
only have 2 months, fuck man, it probably would be
Yeah,
an
like
island.
to minimize the risk and like the most safest would be the island, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, it
But
would be.
it is going to be problematic because a lot of people are probably going to have similar ideas though. So it's like you basically would have to be really fucking careful. Like not only do you got to deal with all the dangers of the ocean, right? And
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. Yeah.
But you got like when you get to the island, you got to make sure like no fucking weird tribe people are there that are trying to eat you or kill you
Oh,
too.
literally,
You know,
bro.
there's that
Fuck
as
that.
well. You know,
Yeah.
and if they're not there, then you obviously got to make sure there's no zombies. You still don't want to like be naive and underestimate. And people might also be there. So if there's people, you guess what? You got to fucking leave and find a different island. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah, because also there's a risk of me trying to tell people they're gonna think I'm fucking stupid and send me to, like a psych ward or some shit. They'll be like, you're fucking
Yeah,
crazy. Because I'm trying to tell them like, oh,
yeah.
zombies are coming. Like fucking. So I'd have to keep that in mind as well. They'd be like, let's send him to put him in a straight jacket. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Like, they're gonna
literally,
think I'm
bro.
fucking retarded or something.
Or
So
better yet, you try to tell like a fucking weird, tribe person. He just looks at you all like, "What the fuck," and then he just like shoots an arrow at you.
yeah, so I'd have to. It'd be hard if not, I can't convince anyone. Then fuck, dude, I'd be fucked.
Well, I'll be
Uh,
honest. Like, we just died, bro. Like, I'm gonna be like,
yeah,
it's such a low probability of
I
surviving,
could be a,
man.
a, a weirdo and just go out in the middle of nowhere by myself and just live out there like a fucking weirdo on my
Yeah.
own. But I'd probably go crazy, man. I'd be like, fuck this. I don't want to live here anyway. So
Um,
it'd be hard as
and
fuck.
that's another element too. Like, yeah, you could be in survival mode, but eventually your mental health is still in effect as well. Like,
Yeah.
you'll start getting lonely. Like,
If you're
you're like,
alone,
especially if you're used to
fuck
having a
yeah.
girl around you too. Like, you're probably gonna want to have a girl to like still be, to do shit, like be a human being, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's like overall, like, I don't know, bro. It's just
It's like
there's so many things you got to combat. It's urges, mental, physical, fucking.
it's like Will Smith when I Am Legend when he was talking to the fucking mannequins because he was losing his fucking mind. He's like, what's up? He's like, what's up, Bill? What's going on, man? Like he's the fucking mannequin he's talking to. That's probably what I'd be
Yeah,
doing.
when he sees the mannequin move because they're being
Oh
smart
yeah.
and trying
He's
to
like, are
play
you
him,
lying to me, Frank?
and he's
I was
like,
like, what
and
the fuck?
he gets up and he's like, no, no, no.
He's like, Frank, are you fucking lying to me, dude? He's like fucking all pissed about it. That'd probably
Literally,
be
like
me.
he started. Yeah, that's how it started. Yeah, that's how it was. Like he gets out of the car. And like I think the first thing he says, he's like, "What the fuck?" And like he gets out of the
Yeah.
car, he gets his assault rifle, starts pointing. He's like,
Oh my
"Frank,
god.
you better tell me who you are right now." Like, he just starts going crazy. And the moment he just
Yeah.
ignores him because it's a fucking mannequin. Then he starts screaming and pointing and to say, "No, no."
Yeah. He starts shooting everywhere. He like shoots at the buildings and shit. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, the man lost it, bro.
Yeah. And then he got booby trapped. I think like a booby trap got him and he hit his head or some shit. I
Yep.
was like, damn, bro. That'd probably be me. I'd have like fucking mannequins in the corner and shit. I'd be like, what's up, Bill?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and bro,
Oh
like
my
the
god.
craziest thing is realistically, we really can't speak how we would be. Like, you just don't know until you're put into that environment. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
like unfortunately, that's just how it is. Like, there's no way to like sugarcoat or bullshit. You just don't know. You would have to go through that first in order to really know how you would respond to it.
Yeah,
You
it'd
know,
be rough,
so
dude. Yeah, especially if no one
like it's
believes you.
something
And
like
you're the,
there's just so many elements. Like overall, bro. Like I said, we're more than likely dying, you know, or we
yeah,
lose our
facts.
fucking minds in the process.
Yeah, especially if no one fucking believes you. Like, you're fucked, man. I mean, you're gonna be on your own.
Like,
Which generation do you think is stronger, Naruto's or Boruto's? Oh, it's not even close. Fucking Boruto's. Not even close.
oh, yeah, boards. So
Boruto
they
alone.
fucking just it's just straight power cliffing, dude. It's not
Boruto would
even.
solo
It's
Naruto's generation by himself.
well,
I'd
like
choose
and
Martial.
once again, like if you're really being generous if you or not generous, but if you take a Boruto even further to where you
Yeah,
think fucking like Boruto's already 6 pass level, like when he's fighting against Momo and shit and whatnot, which once again is an inconsistency, but what's it called? But if you like take that and then correlate that scaling to any other character he has interactions with, which would be Jugo, you name it, Konohama or whatever, that would just upscale everybody at that point. You know what I mean?
literally.
And
Yeah,
then they would
no.
all just fucking be slamming Naruto supporting characters or part one, you know?
Yeah,
So
it'd be terrible. I'd choose Martian Manhunter to protect me. He can use telepathy on the rest of the league, and if that doesn't work, he's at least as strong as Superman. Yeah, if the entire league's on his
yeah,
ass
not
though,
Flash though,
fucking
bro.
what's gonna happen is Batman is gonna tell Flash, hey, throw this cocktail, this fucking mock cocktail at his ass and set his
Yep.
ass on fire. That's what they would fucking
No,
do.
no, no, that's another problem too. Like what they also like forget. Like what actually I don't remember the question exactly. Like, is it all the DC people trying to kill you or Naruto?
I think he said Justice League characters. So everyone
Okay,
in the
yeah. So
Justice League,
that would
yeah,
also count Batman, which would now that means he would have prep time as well. And
yeah.
so I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I would say prep time Batman no matter
He'd have
what
a
now.
fucking
At
flamethrower.
this
He'd be
point.
like, "Go take this motherfucker out." It'd
Yeah,
be,
like because like even if we have Martian Manhunter, Batman could use prep time or fuck somehow or Flash, like we said before, can manipulate reality or time. We're fucked.
yeah, literally. What they would do is like in that movie, when they had like this pill that set Martian Manhunter on fire and he couldn't put it out.
Yeah,
Even when he jumped in a lake and it still wasn't put out, he was fucking dying.
yeah,
I was
and
like,
it was in his drink. It was
yeah,
nanites that it was
nanites.
fire nanites that Batman
Yeah.
made, and fucking when he drank it, it was like infinite on. Oh, excuse me, it was like infinite fucking being on fire. Like it was like Jiraiya's Sage Motojigan, basically. It would
Yeah,
never
he
go
would be
away.
fucked, dude. Fuck no. That's what Batman would do. He's like, oh, okay. Here's a
And to be
take.
fair, like it doesn't hurt him, but it's a psychological W. Like
Yeah,
he
so
just
he would
breaks.
just
You know?
torture him forever. Yeah.
Uh,
Batman, how would you react if Jay told you there was a zombie apocalypse coming? Oh shit.
Bruh,
Oh my
if
god.
Jay told me that, like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Can't prove
Like,
it.
I know Jay so like well enough to the point where I would know if he's fucking trolling or if he's being dead ass. And the way Jay is as a
Yeah.
person, if he's being dead ass, like that means he would have to have like some pretty fucking strong evidence.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
like that's something that's he wouldn't even lie about that. So like, if he actually told me. Obviously, I would believe, but I would be curious. I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Like, show me what you. And the moment I see that, I'm like, oh, we're dead.
Literally.
I'm like,
Basically,
oh,
all I
it's
can
nice
do.
knowing you, Jay.
Yeah, I don't know if
And
I'd
don't
be
get
able
me
to tell
wrong, like I
people.
would try to like I'd try to like link up with Jay or whatever and try to figure shit out and aim it and go from there. or just like start planning in some degree before everything really starts popping off and
Yeah.
whatnot. But nothing that like I'm sorry, but that's just nothing said. Like there's just so many probabilities at that point where everything's just gonna start going fucking crazy. And like
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
it is what it is.
Yeah, it'd be a shit show. Galactus versus Darkseid depends on versions. I think like typical mainstream. I mean, they're both around the same tier. Darkseid though, he takes over like sectors of the galaxy or the universe.
Yeah.
Galactus eats planets. I'd probably say
I
Darkseid.
think Darkseid would
Yeah.
probably. Well, it depends on the version of
Yeah,
Darkseid.
version
That's the
definitely
problem.
matters.
Like,
Yeah.
because Darkseid for most of the time is always fucking nerfed. Like, he's not in his strongest form because he has like astral projections of himself
Yeah, he
that are
does.
all
Yeah.
over like every. They're like in every universe and shit or whatever, like through the multiverse.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many versions of him. So, like, if it's like maxed out Darkseid where all of them are combined as one and he's not like separating his power, he's basically using Shadow Clone Jutsu is basically what I'm
Yeah.
getting at, everywhere. Like if he wasn't doing that, then Darkseid for sure. But
Yeah.
if it's not like peak powerful Darkseid, or better yet, even his strongest forms, which are like omnipotence,
Yeah, literally.
then fucking yeah, then he wouldn't win. Like
Yeah,
because
like that
the problem
fucking
with Darkseid is like he
yeah.
fucking scales to like people like Superman, or other people, whatever, blah blah, you name it. And those are strong people, don't get me wrong, but like Galactus, I think he's one of like the heavy hitters in Marvel. Like he's
Yeah,
up
he
there with
is.
like the other celestial beings and shit and so on and so forth. He's not
Yeah.
omnipotent, I know that.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
But he's no joke.
He's like cosmic energy and shit. So yeah, it
Yeah,
does
like he's
depend.
he really did. Yeah, he could
Yeah.
casually eat planets. He can fight all the heavy hitters. And other fucking people. Like it's like I would have to do more homework. But if I am correct, and he is able to fight like really really powerful people in the Marvel, and then like obviously at that point, yeah, Darkseid probably loses. But
Yeah,
it depends on the versions.
yeah,
Like
because
I
there's
said, they're all
versions of
composite
both.
characters.
Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
composite characters. And there's versions of each other that
Like
could beat the
Darkseid could be
other.
able to beat Galactus at certain points, vice
Yeah,
versa. It ultimately really, really
and they're
depends. If you
both
take
like
them
in
at their
that.
most strongest forms, Darkseid. So
Yeah, and they're both like those like galaxy plus universe around that level
yeah,
conquerors. They're
like
both
and
like
that's another
yeah.
problem too. Like for all because there's so many fucking comics. I can't even keep up anymore at this point. So it's like there could technically even be a version of Galactus that's now finally over Darkseid's most strong. Like I mean, so that's what I'm saying. It's things are always fucking changing
All
and
the
shit.
time.
So
Yeah, all the
yeah,
time.
all the
It's
time. Like for instance, like Iron Man, he had all these other cracked suits, but then like now his what I saw most recently, and for all you know, now he could even have something beyond this. But what I saw most recently, it was literally fucking it was like a cosmic Iron Man suit where he had actually had omnipotence, and he was able to fight another omnipotent being. But then the living tribunal came down and bitched them both and put them in their place and said,
yeah,
"Hey, you guys keep fucking fighting. I'm gonna fucking kill you both." You know what I mean? And then
yeah,
they had to calm their shit down. So he has limits still, but the fact that he's able to fight omnipotent people at that point, once again, like obviously that Iron Man will be able to beat a lot of Batmans or suits or a lot of other people, whatever, and then so on and so forth. Like so that's a little tug of war game where basically you're always
yeah.
playing a Marvel
It's
and
that's
DC.
a
They're,
yeah.
they're
Like we always
composite
say.
characters.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Composite characters makes it more abstract. It makes it more ambiguous. That's the problem. So
Yeah.
we'd have to like pick a specific version against each other, and then we'd be able to get a better
Exactly.
answer. So, yeah, exactly. What's your opinion on Gohan versus Goku? Do you think it's an ass pull that Gohan can keep up with MUI? Uh, from my subjective lens, yes, it is kind of an ass pull. Like you just got this magical power up that like fucks with MUI, but
Yep.
Gohan does have the latent potential. Ever since he was a child, we saw
Yeah.
even since when he blitzed Raditz, he was a fucking child blitzing a fucking
Yeah.
elite Saiyan. He fucked up.
It-
So he's always been that way. He's always been that way.
he's
So
literally Boruto in a regard, to be
yeah,
honest. You know what I mean? Like,
basically fucking Boruto. At 5 years old, whatever. I think he was a fucking toddler when he blitzed Raditz. Then he fucks up Cell with the rage, and then he fucking against Boo, he gets he gets like ultimate Gohan,
so
and
it's like the logic is there, the consistency is there
yeah,
too. It's like it's not like a complete like what the fuck, but and at the same time, technically, you could even argue in favor to where people could actually be mad that he wasn't actually over Goku and not
yeah,
just
because that
beating
was
him
a
up.
possibility. That was a
So
possibility. Yeah.
because like
So
especially with Dragon Ball Z, the whole trend where he was way over Goku and everyone with Super Saiyan 2, so
yeah,
overall like it is what it is. Like you could advocate for either side. But it is weird at the same time because once again you're talking about Ultra Instinct, which is like an extremely rare transformation, extremely hard to master and
Yeah.
use whatever and exploit. Even the gods of destructions can't
Literally.
fucking even, people to
Yeah.
do shit like that or whatever, blah blah. And mind you, they use like God Key, which is a whole other level of realm of power, you name it. And then you incorporate, so it's like it is really like what the fuck, like Gohan had this all along. Like you're talking about a power that is like that fucking high.
It's like God
Like
level.
imagine Gohan doing that shit in Dragon Ball Z, bro.
Oh my
Like
god.
what do you do?
Yeah,
What do
no,
you
no.
do?
He's always had that latent potential. Do I like it?
Yeah,
Not
so it is weird in
necessarily.
that regard. But,
Yeah, it's weird in the sense that like he didn't earn it. I get that. Like it's annoying.
Yeah.
But that's the same shit with Broly. Like his ass fucked up both
Yeah.
Goku and Gohan and Vegeta in like a few minutes. Like it's fucking
Yeah.
and he's never trained like properly. Like he's fucking both of them up.
That's how Dragon Ball always been. You just have natural geniuses that just
Yeah.
there you go.
Even Frieza,
like
4
fucking,
months.
look at Piccolo.
Yeah, Piccolo. Now that's an asshole. Why the fuck did he get levels of fucking Goku and Gohan? That doesn't make sense to me. But that's even worse than fucking Gohan because he doesn't even have latent potential.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
You're
that
really
doesn't
not
make
wrong
sense.
because, like, at least with Frieza, at least with that motherfucker, he went in a time chamber and trained his ass off.
Yeah, he trained his ass off for 10 years. That's fine. But fucking Piccolo? I don't understand that. I like Piccolo, but that doesn't make fucking any sense at all.
I'm gonna pull a 6 line when him and Swag were yelling at each other. You think that fucking green bitch is better than Infinity War?
That green piece of shit is what he said.
Yeah.
That show is fucking funny having both of them on.
So
two
good.
donuts from two. I appreciate that, Marcus and Kedrick again. Saiyans versus Vultramites. The average Saiyan versus the average Vultramite. Okay, so average Saiyan versus average Vultramite. The average Saiyan's power level. I know King Vegeta's was like 10K or some shit. That was the elite. So I would say average Saiyan is probably like in the single digit thousands. So 4 digits.
Yeah.
That's still above planet level, right? Because Roshi was able to destroy the moon. His power
the
level
best
was
feat that I know of for like because this is the problem with the Virtumites. Like I haven't seen everything, but like they're really cracked and they're like basically like Kryptonians, right? They're really strong, fast, whatever, durable.
Yeah.
You name it. But the only problem is there's only like very select few that are like really cracked, right? And
Like
while all the others are like well, yeah, exactly. Like while all the others are like fucking fodder and shit or whatever, or they're like mid. And I think I could be wrong. Jay can correct me, but I think with the Saiyans, there's way more high tier Saiyans. So
yeah, especially in comparison to Vultramites, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, and then they also use ki as well and like blast and shit. So they have range attacks.
Yeah,
while
exactly.
they are hand to hand combat. So that's another disadvantage.
Yeah.
So if I'm being honest in superiority, I would say the Saiyans, because like they just have more advantages, whatever. And I think it's more frequent for them to have way more heavy hitters than the Virtumites. You could say the Virtumites are probably more intelligent.
Yeah, I'll probably give them that. At least that. Their civilization
but overall,
is more.
but at the end, but I don't. They're not like intelligent like Batman or Iron Man or all this other shit to where they can deal with these fucking power hitters. Like that's the problem. They're more intelligent in like strategy, war, or conquering planets, or psychological manipulation and things like that. So overall, like that's I would lean towards with the Saiyans. The only way you can really advocate for the Virtumites is like basically a backpack W. But then again, it kind of goes back to the notion where if there's way more heavy hitters for the Saiyans, eventually, even if you have the strongest Virtumite, once he starts getting tired, and beating up all these people, he starts fatiguing, getting weak, and he dies, right?
Yeah.
So
like I would say 1-on-1 on counter, I would say the average Saiyan would be the average Vultramite. I think the power level thing it reinforces that. Just his scaling in Dragon Ball in general. I mean, you have fucking humans like Roshi destroying moons, and he's ass compared to like, the average Saiyan.
And those guys are like fucking upgrade versions of humans.
Yeah, literally. So I'd say Vultramites would lose to the Saiyans. You said the strongest Saiyans obliterate. Oh my god, Goku.
I'll say this, Omni-Man, I think one of his most craziest feats is just like I actually didn't know about this at first because I heard a bunch of stuff originally, but I actually seen it and I seen the anime of it as well. But he was literally standing in a black hole. He was just
Oh
sitting in that
yeah. I
shit.
know what you're talking about. That shit was pretty fire.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and then he was gonna literally throw himself inside of the
He's
black
like gonna
hole
kill
to kill
himself.
himself. So a
Yeah.
black hole can kill him, but he can
Yeah.
Deal with it to a certain extent, like on
Certain
the
extent,
outer
yeah. That
side.
shows his speed
Yeah.
at least, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it shows his speed or whatever you name it. But he was gonna kill himself. So
Yeah.
meaning it is so that's another. Don't get that twisted. 'Cause a lot of people try to rat and be like, "Oh, he can durability of a black." No, like he literally was going to kill himself, and then
Yeah.
the aliens like saved him and said, "Hey, like, what you doing, bro? Chill out," And then he went on and reformed himself, whatever, blah blah. So like things like that, and then if you take like the most powerful Virtuemite, and I don't know anything about him, but if you go watch Chuck, he's a YouTuber.
Oh, shout out to Chuck.
He's done videos on the guy. Yeah, shout out to Chuck. His name's like Thrag or something like that. I heard he is fucking cracked.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if we take the two strongest Virtuemites, which would be Omni-Man, Thrag, and then there's like one more other guy that's even more superior than Omni-Man, but he's not superior than Thrag. Thrag is basically the Madara of the Virtuemites. That's all I'm saying.
Pretty much.
But either way, if we take those three, the most powerful, sure, they're gonna shit on like all the average Saiyans probably. But once again, there's way more higher big hitters in Saiyans, and eventually they would tire and they're just gonna get overwhelmed and they would die.
Yeah, obviously Goku now would literally one shot all of them.
Oh yeah, and Goku just one shots every single one. Yeah, I don't even think Thrag is anywhere near.
They wouldn't even hurt him. Like they'd fucking try to they would do like it would be like the Beerus treatment of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Like they would punch him and he'd be like standing there like, what the fuck, bro? Was that a fucking punch?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So if you guys want more like insight and pretty good scaling for Invincible, like I'm eventually gonna do Invincible videos in the future too, but I just need to read the whole manga because the anime is extremely behind. I'm not waiting.
Way behind.
It's so fucking behind. Yeah, but I'm gonna read the manga, and then once I read the manga, I can give more, thoughts, whatever, blah, blah. And I do know certain stuff because I've seen a couple of videos when I stopped watching. I didn't want to spoil things. But like I said, if you guys want to know more about Invincible, just check out Chuck. So.
Chuck has good shit with that. Yeah, definitely check him out.
Yeah,
he actually did a video.
I think he even did Dragon Ball versus Invincible too.
Yeah,
for one of his videos.
He did a video on Superman versus Omni-Man. We all know how that ends, but he did a video on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to him.
And Superman shits on Omni-Man. I don't give a fuck.
Oh god, it'd be fucking horrible.
Fucking shits on it. If we take the most powerful, shits on him.
Yeah, it would be off. It would be fucking horrible.
Like you would literally have to pick the composite version of Superman where it's contentious, or Omni-Man would scale over. Yeah.
Hot take. I think Boo is the best Dragon Ball villain of all time. That's fair. I think it's probably Frieza, but I think Boo, Cell, and Frieza are all in contention for sure. Even fucking
Boo is my favorite, bro.
Yeah,
Boo's my favorite.
Boo, like we always say, he's like a force of nature. He was like a primal figure, while Cell and Frieza were more like sentient, malicious people.
Yeah, and smart.
Yeah, smart. Boo is just like a force of nature that ran through fucking, galaxies and shit.
Goku needed Super Saiyan 3, bro. Enough said.
Yeah, enough said. So that's definitely.
And that was to be relative, not even to scale over.
Yeah, exactly.
It was either equal or relative. I don't remember. So.
Yeah, Green Goblin versus the Joker. One-on-one encounter, no prep time. Obviously, Green Goblin would slam him because he'd have his gliders, bombs. But let's say it's like a war. The thing about Joker is, if he finds out Green Goblin's like psychological profile, he knows that Green Goblin has like this bipolar disorder. He's gonna exploit that and probably use tactics to break him mentally. He'll probably try to break his will.
There's so many ways he could beat him with prep time. It's psychologically, fucking gadgets, weapons, whatever you name it, traps.
Yeah, he would break him.
Guys, in Injustice, he literally made a trap for the Flash, and he was able to kill him instantly.
Yeah, literally. So with prep, Joker, but if it's a one-on-one encounter, obviously Green Goblin has that fucking super serum in him.
But if we take the most general composite form, especially if it's early Joker, obviously he's getting beat the fuck up in a room. Like, what the fuck does he do, right? You know what I mean? Now if it's like towards like endgame Joker, or the middle, which would have like some correspondence to Batman in a similar certain scaling regards, and obviously nowhere near as like proficient in combat hand to hand and things like that, or what you name it, but he's still pretty good or in a similar ballpark to where you could actually outscale Green Goblin physically as well. Like, it's crazy to say, but Batman and Joker have some insane speed and strength scaling towards the middle and end of their comic versions of it.
But those two they're just like outliers.
Like Batman without a bat suit, like it was in the Endgame comic, he was able to literally speed blitz and predict where Flash was running, a bloodlusted Flash that was controlled by Joker, and punch him in the face and knock him out.
Yeah, Joker
was talking with Alfred, and he literally says, "Alfred, hold on, something's wrong." Turns, kicks him in the face and knocks out Flash.
Yeah,
That is ridiculous.
that's pretty impressive. What's going on, Chidori?
Yeah.
Goku uses Kamehameha and kills the Viltrumites. Oh god, he'd fucking one-shot the whole planet. Yeah, it'd be awful.
Yeah.
I think
He
Chatsu can
destroyed them
solo.
all.
Chatsu can solo the Viltrumite race. Probably. You mean Conquest? Yeah. Thrag is the strongest Mark and Omni-Man relative in the comics. The comics? Yeah, I haven't read that far. My favorite villain in DB so far is Goku Black. Goku Black is cold, bro, for sure. He's cold. Name a character in Marvel Comics more evil than Darkseid. Character more evil than Darkseid? A villain?
Joker?
In Marvel Comics?
Oh, Marvel.
Let's see.
Carnage?
Yeah, Carnage is definitely more evil. He
Yeah,
just
yeah, no,
another-
yeah. Because Darkseid, he likes to just rule, or he'll be nice, or sometimes he'll be like, respectful. He'll even
Yeah.
acknowledge people too, like Batman, like you know what I mean? Like he'll be like, oh damn, you're really that guy, bro. So like
Yeah.
Carnage though, he just wants to kill shit.
Carnage is like kind of like Joker in a way, similar. Green Goblin's probably more evil.
And then Green Goblin, obviously, he's more
Yeah.
evil. He's very fucking
He's sadistic as well.
Yeah.
There's probably a few that you could list that are pretty fucking like the fucking assholes.
Yeah. You could do fucking that one guy. I think he's called Nor or some shit. Where he had the Necro sword and he's just
that guy's a
killing
fucking asshole
everybody.
too. Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy. There's a few guys. You just gotta find the malicious ones, the one like the sadistic ones. Yeah, and they exist. Carnage, Green Goblin, those guys. Yeah. So who you got? Goku or Gohan this next chapter?
I think
feeling
Goku.
Yeah, I have a feeling it might be a stalemate the way it's going because they haven't.
Yeah, it could be that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because they haven't even touched each other. Like they're obviously
Like
they're barely starting, but
unless Goku has a next like form up with UI somehow or some shit, or
yeah.
like some other crazy ability that he can do, and that gives him the advantage, Or if he can somehow like stack fucking I don't know Kaioken with that or some shit. I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting to see. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell who they're gonna give it to.
Yeah, very
My
hard.
gut says
contentious.
my gut says Goku because of how Toriyama is, but who
Yeah.
knows? It might be Gohan. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Because that's the thing too. Goku is always beating Gohan. The only time Gohan was over was when he was dead, so he couldn't train, or he could train, but he was still over because he had Super Saiyan 2 and during the Cell shit.
Yeah, exactly. So my gut says Goku just because Toriyama's the way he is, but who knows? Maybe he'll change things, but we'll see. How did Flash not see Batman's punch and dodge it? Wouldn't the punch be moving in slow motion? Inconsistency, bro. And my only answer is it's Batman. That's all I can say.
It's Batman. That's the problem. Like there's two ways you can go about it. Like and I completely like I'm not even a dog for that. Like it is very it is very retarded and weird. But the problem with Batman is for whatever reason the writers will make him scale to people when he needs to. And it's blatantly plot. Or sometimes they'll give some logic to it. Like I do know during Endgame, like before they're about to reboot everything, like he falls, like the cave collapses and there's like a pool of dilithium or some shit or whatever, and that goes into like his bloodstream and whatnot, and it heals his body, but it also amps him, so he kind of becomes like a super soldier type Batman, basically, right?
Yeah.
And then everything else goes, and so sometimes they actually do things to make it make sense. But other than that, most of the time they don't, and it's just he's Batman, So
yeah, all I can really say is fucking plot armor because that is ridiculous. I agree with you. That's fucking fucking ridiculous.
No, it was crazy. Yeah, that's my fault. It wasn't during Endgame because he beat the entire Justice League that are also bloodlusted. But he needed a suit for it though. What's it called? He was still cracked though because without a bat suit, a bloodlusted Wonder Woman picked him up, slammed his face in concrete, and he didn't even bleed. So he's still cracked.
Yeah, he is.
That's ridiculous. But either way, it was in another comic. It was where Poison Ivy was controlling him, and it's like it was either part of Rebirth or was part of New 52. I don't remember. But once again, like he was talking with Alfred. He's able to detect him somehow with no suit, no nothing. And he's like, hold on, Alfred. And Alfred's like, huh? And then he just turns and decks him in the face and knocks him out.
Yeah, exactly. $5 again from Marcus. I appreciate that, brother. Let me put that on the screen real quick. How strong do you think a Saiyan Kryptonian hybrid would be? Oh, that's a great question. Just think about this. Think about the DNA of both, right? So you have the ferocity amp aspect, right? When the more ferocious you get. And imagine sunlight also amping you. So imagine you have the ferocity amp and you have solar radiation like saturating in your
Yep.
cells, and you get even more amped. So imagine just a
God.
cracked god, and let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that even kryptonite doesn't work because you're Saiyan. So imagine you're like Kryptonian, but you don't have
That's
that weakness
possible
because
too.
you're
Yeah.
Saiyan. The most
You know,
cracked
like
version.
when Superman literally like if he gathers enough like sun shit, he doesn't have that weakness anymore.
Yeah,
So theoretically, if he's a fusion of like what you're saying with the fucking sands and their DNA, whatever, that could elevate him just enough to where
yeah,
he doesn't have that weakness anymore either. You know,
yeah.
and
He'd
they
have like
also, I think they also adapt as well. Like if they get beaten, they get
yeah,
stronger,
he gets stronger. He's
and
like
stuff and
Doomsday.
whatever. So
He's like
yeah,
Doomsday.
yeah.
Yeah. So he'd have the ferocity amp, and he'd have like the ability to go saturate himself in the sun, which he does in the comic
Uh,
books. Like when he goes Superman 1,000,000, apparently he was in the sun for
Even
like
just being
1,000.
close to it makes him more powerful.
Yeah,
Like the
apparently he
more
was in the
closer he
sun.
gets, yeah,
Yeah, he was like in the sun for like 1,000 years or something like that, and he came out like
yeah.
gold. He was like golden because of
Yep,
the sun.
it was Superman Superman
1,000,000.
1,000,000. Superman
Yeah.
1,000,000. That's what it was. Yeah.
So imagine that, dude. That would be fucking crazy, man.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
like that, and that was that Superman was really omnipotent. Nobody could fuck with him. Like so, and then you have Prime Superman, which is like ridiculously powerful. The one that could fight the Batman who laughs in like his
oh
strongest
God.
form, like the
Yeah.
Darkest Night. Like, bro, Superman Prime came out of nowhere and said "fuck you, Batman" in his omnipotence form, and just starts throwing hands. That shit, like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, literally.
like
It's
Superman Prime is cracked. Superman is also cracked, but he holds back though. That's the only
a
difference.
lot. Yeah, a
And
lot.
there's like another Superman that's also released. I think it's like Armored Superman. So bottom line is, if we're taking the most peak Supermans, if we even like, I'll say this: if we would just remove Clark, right, and we either use Prime Superman or we use the one where he's in the sun with all that energy, and then give him also fucking the sand shit, nobody beats him.
Nobody.
So,
Yeah, no, you need like an omnipotent being to beat him at that point. Yeah.
yeah.
I
You
think
just need like higher omnipotence. That's all it is.
yeah, literally. I think Baby's the most interesting villain in the franchise. Oh, he had a lot of potential. Baby was a great villain in Dragon Ball. Gildo
Mhm.
versus Pre-Warp, Naruto versus who's winning. He had a power level, I think 19,000 if I'm not mistaken, which is way above moon level, so he would solo the Naruto versus Pre-Warp. Yeah.
Speaking of Master Roshi, remember when that motherfucker had like a pseudo Ultra Instinct and was
Oh
healing
yeah,
the
yeah. I
Jiren?
remember like the fucking I think it
That
was
shit was
Whis.
crazy, bro.
Whis or Beerus were like, is he
All the
using
gods were shitting their
Yeah.
pants, and Whis is like,
He's like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I remember that shit. He got like roids or some shit. That shit was crazy.
That
MUI
shit
with
was
a calm
hilarious,
heart.
bro. It's like, what the fuck? Like, he's just that guy.
Yeah, Master Ultra Instinct with a calm heart should be better than True Ultra Instinct, which was boxing gas. So I feel like Goku's calm enough to be in MUI. He should stand a solid chance and adapt to Gohan, but it may just be a draw. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but yeah, I agree with you. My gut instinct tells me Goku.
All I'm
Uh,
saying, theoretically, he should be able to stack Kaioken though, if he
oh
can
my
do with
God.
everything else.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Because all Kaioken is basically the gates. You're just releasing your limits and just amplifying your body even further. It's not like it's like any psychic thing or whatever, blah blah, or
Yeah.
anger with the sand shit.
Plus, he's
So
still training. Yeah, facts. Who you got in Francis versus AJ? Honestly, dude, if you would have asked me this 6 months ago before the Fury fight, I would have said AJ for sure. But now, after the Fury fight, I think
yeah,
Francis is a better boxer than he's relative bare minimum to Fury. That you could say definitively. And I think he's better than AJ, even from a technical standpoint. Definitely power wise. We all know that. So I'd probably say Francis is going to beat him. Probably via
yeah,
late round stoppage. But I honestly think there's even the possibility that he outboxes Joshua. Honestly, I think
yeah.
he's that talented.
He
He's
has
like,
feet.
yeah, his feats. What he did against Fury, dude. I don't think world champions could do that to him. This guy performed better than fucking Wilder. Like, dude, holy shit, man. Like, this guy's a monster. So I mean,
He proved a lot of people wrong that
yeah,
day. I'll say
I
that.
thought he was gonna get schooled, dude. That's what I thought, and I was proven blatantly wrong, dude. I can't believe what I saw. I still can't believe it.
It's rigged, rigged.
Yeah, people are gonna say that shit's rigged. There's no way. Like, no, dude, he's just that good. And keep in mind, Mike Tyson's training him too. So there's that. Uh,
Ah,
yeah.
that
So
makes sense.
that's his sensei basically.
That's the
Yeah, but
sensei. Yeah.
literally.
He got the Orochimaru training app.
Teenage Mutant.
Not even,
Mutant.
bro. He got the Sasuke training in, bro.
Yeah, literally, he has like the fucking Orochimaru amps.
Man is
Literally.
Boruto right now.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus the four Robins from Batman. I know there was a fucking crossover movie where Batman fought
Yeah,
them.
there was. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
So there was a crossover. Basically, the Robin that was in there was Dick Grayson, but he was like
Grayson.
Robin. He wasn't at his prime yet as Nightwing, so
Yeah.
Nightwing would slam them. What's it called? But that Robin, he was basically in a similar scaling, and he could fight all of them at once at the same time and hold his own pretty well.
Pretty sure
but
Batman
then he
did
was
that
gonna
too.
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Batman came and he beat them all easily, no different.
Yeah, I'd say
and
the
then,
four Robins.
and then Master Splinter had to come and like stop Batman. He's like, "Hey, chill out, bro. Don't be beating up my turtles."
Yeah.
And then Batman's like, "What you gonna do about it?" And Batman was about to scrap at him, and Batman would have also beat up Master Splinter because we then eventually see Shredder fight Batman, and Shredder doesn't hold back. He always kills, while Master Splinter holds back. And Shredder went to fight Batman. Batman's beating the fuck out of him. Like, mind you, a guy that normally gives Master Splinter an ass beating or just shits on the turtles all the fucking time, right?
Yeah, he goes against all of them. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. So like he beats the fuck up of Shredder, just dog washing him. And eventually, like, Shredder was at least relative, but he was getting beat up really bad and blatantly outskilled in hand-to-hand combat. And it makes sense. It's Batman shit. You know what I mean? What's it called? But then eventually Shredder was able to get, like, one plot lucky blow in the end, and he hits Batman just right, and then it's able to, like, stop Batman from, like, fighting anymore. And then Master Shredder has to leave because then, like, you know, the Turtles come and shit with Robin. So like overall, like Batman is way superior. So if it's Batman, but if it's the Robin at that point in that movie, no. But now if we take all the Robins at their peak, they would
they're slamming. Yeah, I don't want to say that chance.
Now I don't know the comics for the Ninja Turtles. I'm just going based off.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the comics either.
So maybe in the comics they might have a better chance, or maybe even be. I don't know, but what I do know for a fact though is the Bat family is cracked.
Yeah, like Prime Damien. Prime Dick.
Yeah, Prime Damien,
Prime
Nightwing,
Jason.
they're fucking ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, you'd have Jason Todd, you'd have Tim Drake.
There's even this one chick, Batwoman, her name is Cassandra Cain. She's even better than Batman at fighting.
Yeah.
So,
she's a dog too. Yeah, they would slam. Yeah, they would slam.
They would slam.
Batman got that Suicide Squad video game armor, but all the time. Yeah, dude, he always has plot armor, basically.
Yep.
Would Superman Prime?
Oh, he's Naruto, but 24/7.
Yeah, literally. Would Superman Prime be able to contend with Cosmic Armor Superman at all, or is he getting fodder? Dude, Cosmic Armor Superman, he is like 6D. He's like 6D or some shit. So no, probably not. Yep. Yeah, I think he would fold any Superman. I think he fought like this multiversal.
Cosmic Armor and Prime would shit on all Supermans.
Oh god, yeah, he's like 6D or some shit. Like he's fucking cracked as shit. So I remember people on Twitter flaming Troy for saying that the manga Roshi scaled to Jiren. Oh really? Oh my god. Francis should have default danced when he knocked down Fury. Yeah, facts, dude. He's not the type to show off like that, but yeah, Francis doesn't really show off too much, but yeah. They were arguing that Jiren was holding back against Roshi. Oh, he was definitely holding back. That's a fact. He held back the whole fucking time.
Jiren was surprised, though, because I will say this. He scales to a holding back Jiren, which is insane. It's just like Jigen to Kakashi and Kojin all over again. Yeah, because when he did that shit, Jiren was like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck are you not getting slammed by me right now, bro, while I'm holding back?
Yeah, so ignoring Roshi, punching Jiren, and not breaking his armor makes him relative in AP and durability. Jiren held back the entire tournament until fucking till Ultra Instinct Goku. Like, and probably even arguably Master
even
Ultra
then,
Instinct.
even with Ultra Instinct, like he was still holding back. He
didn't go full power until
still,
fucking
like,
mastered. Yeah, he didn't go full power until mastered, basically. Yep. Doesn't Prime Nightwing scale above Prime Bruce in some continuities? Probably.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised. Most.
What's it called? Like, so like consistency wise, like composite, whatever versions, whatever, Batman is always over, and it makes sense. It's Batman, right?
Yeah.
The narrative's always doing that. The only time Nightwing was over in a sense was when he beat him in the Batcave and they were just throwing hands like with no suits or whatever. And it was a test basically to test him because Batman's like, hey, like you needed to step your shit up and stop being a pussy, basically. Yeah. Nightwing got butthurt and he was like, oh yeah, you're gonna talk shit, bet, let's throw hands. And then they fought. And then basically Nightwing wins in the end. But to be fair, Batman was testing him, and there was other things in context to where you could still argue he wasn't going fully all out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I
but
remember this.
the only problem though is then there's the author's statement where it says they both were going fully all out.
Yeah,
So like it's kind of contentious, but that's like the only moment where you can give like a Nightwing W out of all the other 100+ times Batman is slamming him. And mind you,
Yeah.
that's while he's holding back.
there
So-
was a this was a movie. I don't know if it's a comic book, but there's in continuity where Talia al Ghul brainwashed Bruce and
Yeah,
fucking
and he
Nightwing had
shitted
to,
on him.
yeah, and then he had to fight Nightwing and Nightwing, but he had
Yep.
help from Damian to be fair. So there's another, I guess, arguable point where he was like relative, but again, he had help and shit.
Yeah, he was relative, but he was still getting beat the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like
he
he
was getting
broke his
fucked
arm
up.
and everything,
Broke
and
his
then he
arm and shit.
subdued him.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
most of the time Bruce is winning. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Yeah, like Batman's always winning. Like,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, guys, like Batman's not a god. Like consistency wise, he'll always have the most W's, right? Like if he has
Yeah.
like a win loss, he'll be like 100-1, right? But that's the only reason why is because eventually writers just want to give like shining fucking armor plot moments for certain
Yeah,
characters.
the only guy
like,
that-
oh, let's just
yeah.
give him a W now, randomly, you know?
I
Like
know the only guy's story that's progressing that may surpass him is Damian, obviously his son, but he's still
yeah,
being I think that's still being
that's
written.
always
Yeah.
always hinted narratively and just shown. Like so for like when they eventually decide to finally end the torch for Batman and all
Yeah.
these other characters, which I want to be honest is going to be
It's
a
gonna be hard.
very very long time because
Oh, yeah.
people just cry about that shit. They don't want to move on.
Yeah.
So or better yet, it may never happen. But
May never happen.
if
Yeah.
if we do get comics that shows, if we at least just have future comics, regardless if they continue to have Batman stories, whatever, blah blah, of the past and shit, you name it. Damian is always being shown to be that guy. Like when we had Batman Beyond in the anime and the comics, he shitted on fucking Terry with a
Yeah, he did.
Batman Beyond armor suit in
Yeah, he did.
base.
Yeah,
He
he's a
shitted
fucking-
on him.
He's like
And then Bruce had to come down from the Batcave. He'd be like, "God fucking damn it! Like you have my DNA, you know, whatever, blah blah. You know, and you're getting fucked up by my kid, bro. Like, all right, let me
Yeah.
help you out and calm down."
yeah, literally like Damian's the only one. I know his story's still being written. He's like the only one implied that maybe surpasses his father one day, but we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. $10 from Sir Ghost. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that a lot. Appreciate that, man. Check out General Chat. Shinobi's chat. Shinobi's chat. Wait, what did he say again? Let me read that again. Yo, Batman. Check out Shinobi's general chat. Shinobi's?
On me?
Let me see. Oh, his pictures. This is
What
pretty
was
dope.
it?
Oh, his pictures. I see it. Oh, that's pretty dope for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, that's one thing. That's one skill.
Of stuff he drew. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. There's one thing I can't do is I can't draw for shit, bro.
Yeah, I can't draw for shit, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have
pretty
like
good, bro.
I have like
So-
doctor handwriting, like dog shit.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. You got the skill for it. I think you should, if you want to take that more seriously and make some moolah, is either go into like a institution or a college or something or whatever, or arts,
Yeah,
and just go into that and just keep pushing yourself even further. And you could probably be able to do some crazy shit, bro.
yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Let's see what you guys are saying here. They were arguing.
If you got potential, don't waste it.
Yeah, definitely. Replace the Saiyan invasion with a Vulturmite invasion at the beginning of DBZ. How would the Z Fighters fare? Goku would speed blitz all of them.
Oh yeah, like
fucking
DBZ
chest.
slams them all,
Especially if
bro.
he uses Kaioken, where his power level gets to like over 18,000 or some shit. He's speed blitzing.
Like, bro, Jay, you remember when Omni Man had to like fly around like the world multiple times in order to destroy a city?
Yeah. Yeah.
With his speed. So it's like, you know, so there's that, like, and which is really weird. Like you can at that point you can be like, wait a minute, like, wouldn't that make it like an inconsistency for the black hole? So there's two things: either it is inconsistency, or two, that was a weaker Omni Man, and so meaning the over in time, because we know people can get stronger, right? The Omni Man, where he's like having the black hole feet shit and whatnot, like that would obviously be like that. So if we're taking their strongest or whatever, it's still not like. At that point, it's still like not really a fucking competition because I'm pretty sure Goku could also be able to withstand black holes like that and shit, whatever, blah blah.
Yeah, he's just
You know?
these guys are like way above planet level, and Vulturmites barely like together can conquer a planet. So nah, man, it's just not gonna.
Yeah, no,
happen.
that is true. Like they literally sent them their strongest fucking members to conquer the planets, whether if
Yeah.
it's with power, and if they're not powerful enough, then they have to be a bitch basically and play behind the shadows and strategize, right? and then basically catch them with their pants down, and then
Exactly.
rule over the
It's not like
planet.
they're like
And
one-shotting
so
planets or anything, like
yeah,
Roshi
exactly.
or
No,
Frieza.
hell no. That's just not
Yeah.
demonstrative at all. Yeah.
So these guys, we're already talking about power levels like hundreds of times higher than Roshi's was when he destroyed a moon. So like, yeah, nah, man, it's a different level.
Yeah.
I do think there's also a narrative argument for Roshi scaling to Jiren since his lesson to Goku about relying on skill is meaningless if he only performed so well against Jiren because he was at 1%. Yeah, Jiren was holding back, dude, for sure. I mean, it wasn't like he was remotely trying at that point. Still impressive because Roshi did something, but he's not like he's ever a threat to fucking Jiren.
Like, hey, as crazy as it sounds, that Roshi at that moment we would even dodge everything Super Saiyan Blue Goku was doing.
Yeah,
and
that was
shit.
just an impressive moment that even impressed like fucking Whis and shit. So yeah.
Yeah. Now I think Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken would beat that Roshi still, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
What's it called? But any other version, like you'd be able to dodge that Goku too. Shit.
Yeah. Cosmic Armor Superman stomps Superman 1,000,000. Oh yeah, dude, for sure. He's beyond 6D. He scales to the Overvoid, which is beyond fiction. Yeah, dude, he's fucking cracked.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's fucking cracked. Toriyama did not need to cuck Raditz so hard by making Random Sableman exactly as strong as he was. That was a little disrespectful. I agree with you. That was a little disrespectful. They made Raditz look like a fucking pussy. He gets blitzed by a toddler, and then they make these Saiyaman like have equal power level to him. That is kind of disrespectful. I agree. Yes, sir. Shout out to Sir Goats, man. I appreciate you. So what about Namek
I remember
versus
seeing that for the first time, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is happening?
What about the Vulture versus Namek? Oh, so like all the Namekians. I mean the top Namekians would fold the Vulture like King Piccolo, that one dude. What was his fucking name from the fucking Namek saga? That one guy that was like kind of cracked. I forgot his fucking name.
Nappa?
No, he was a Saiyan
No.
too. I forgot his fucking name.
Oh.
I mean, not a Saiyan, a Namekian. I forgot his fucking name, but he would slam the Vulture.
I know like King Piccolo and shit, but
yeah, the Namekians would win because the top Namekians are just too powerful, and then they have healing abilities with Dende and shit.
That like the best argument you could have for the Virtuemites would be like, if you think Omni-Man, Thrag, and then and the other fucking guy, I can never remember his name. If you think those three can, have any chance or whatever, because like I said, the best feat Omni-Man has is the black hole shit, and then the other two are like way fucking beyond. Conquest is in a similar regard to Omni-Man, so but he's still over, you know what I mean? But Omni-Man's relative. And then Thrag is like way beyond, like he's like modern.
Thrag is fucking powerful.
So it's like yeah, so I'll say this: Omni-Man and Conquest probably get slammed, but Thrag probably could be able to like give him a run for their money, but then still lose, or maybe he could do it. But once again, I don't know how strong that motherfucker is. I just know he's no joke though.
Yeah, exactly. So. Nail. Yeah, that's his name. There you go. Nail. Nail was a stud. He'd fuck up the majority of Ultramites as well.
But I will say this. Now thinking about it, I think because let me ask you this, Jake. I don't remember. Can they blow up planets and shit?
The Namekians, the top ones, I know can. I know Piccolo could. For sure.
So then I think they would still like. So this is where it's weird, bro. So like, all right, I'll say this. So Thrag fights this like white fucking tiger dude on the planet, and it's like the two most powerful beings in the entire universe, right?
Oh yeah.
And so it's like the ultimate fight. It's like Madara versus Hashirama, basically, and they're fighting whatever, and like every blow they're doing, you name it, like. Nothing's really blowing up, you know what I mean? Nothing's like crazy or anything like that. Like the planet doesn't even get destroyed, but they're just going blow for blow and shit, whatever, blah, blah. So it's like, which is kind of weird, you know what I mean? Because it's like when you see Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and all this other stuff, whatever, like they blatantly have feats just from like grabbing the ground or shooting a key blast or what, you know what I mean? So, or even like screaming and shit. So it's like they have all that stuff while we see these two strongest dudes. They're fighting whatever, but nothing's really fucking happening, And then we see Omni-Man like with the black hole shit. So it's like we obviously do know a black hole would shit on planet Earth, right? It would fucking destroy it. You know, it's like it's bending like space and it's at the speed of light and all that, whatever, on space time and shit. So like it's really really weird, like because they technically would have the speed component. But at the same time, when they're like duking it out and fighting and like releasing all their power because they don't give a fuck about life. They can't. They're not even able to destroy a planet, and So I don't know, man. It's weird with Invincible. I just don't know it enough to really conclude things.
Yeah, I would say Nail and Piccolo would slam their asses. Like the Piccolo that fought version 2 Frieza when he was in that weird form with the big ass head. Like that
Yeah.
that Piccolo would fucking fold the entire Viltrumite fucking clan or fucking civilization. Like he's
Yeah.
fucking.
But
he's
you
fucking,
get what I'm saying though, Jay, right?
Yeah,
Like when
that
you
that
have
that.
like two evil beings and they're going
Yeah.
all out, they don't give a fuck about a planet. And if they
Yeah.
really scale that beyond, they're gonna destroy it. Or
Yeah, exactly.
like
Yeah, it's like Piccolo. It's like fucking Gohan and Goku. Like in the last chapter, fucking Beerus
yeah.
was pissed because they were fucking up his planet. They're like, "What the fuck, dude? You're fucking up my whole planet!" Like because they were fighting and sparring, and they wouldn't even
Or
show you.
remember when
Yeah.
Frieza in the God Key where he got so butthurt that he lost to Goku again and Vegeta, and then he like summons his God Key and he literally just grabs the ground with his fingers and
Yeah,
the
he's gonna
entire planet
destroy the
blows up.
planet.
Yeah, with his fingers. He just
With his
grabbed
fingers.
it with his
Yeah.
finger. Like it's like fucking picking up sand on the beach. That's all he did, and the planet
Yeah.
blew up.
Exactly.
You know
So
how
like,
much fucking power you need to have to blow up a planet by grabbing it with your fingers and just
effortless.
bending down? That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's fucking effortless. Yeah, it's not a problem to those guys at all.
Yeah,
It's like-
effortlessly too.
so the
So it's
Namekians
like
would.
that's what I'm saying, bro. It's
Yeah,
like
peak
this is
Namekians
what
are
it is,
gonna.
but
The peak Namekians are gonna beat the Viltrumites. They're not gonna lose to them. Do UI Goku and UE Vegeta scale to any of the gods in DC? Gods? Probably not. You're talking about like the top peak guys, like fucking the Spectre and shit? No, fuck no.
hey, I'll say this though. I'll say this because once again, me and Jay don't know everything about virtual. We're just going off based on what I know, and with that amount of information, that's why we're concluding what we're concluding. I'll
Yeah.
react to some of Chuck's videos with some
Yeah,
maybe
shout out
some
to Chuck.
invincible shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if Chuck has some crazy off the whip shit that's pretty up and beyond those motherfuckers, I'll let Jay know, and then there you go. All right?
Yeah, I want to hear his opinion on the black hole shit. That's what I want to hear Chuck talk about.
Not too. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see what he thinks, like what he extrapolates from that. I'm kind of curious. I'll probably check his shit out. Shout out to Chuck.
Yeah, because I know he has a video of like Thrag and like the white tiger dude fighting people and whatnot. And
Yeah, he
obviously
does.
he's gonna have them at their max performance and he'll scale them. So if I react to those videos, I can kind of see and have a ballpark of how far Invincible scales.
Yeah.
And then with all that, and then in correlation to Omni Man, and then therefore we could easily just knock this shit out. So I just don't
Yeah.
know it enough, bro.
Be warned that Chuck is still friends with Seth. I mean, fuck Seth, but I mean, I got no problem with Chuck. He's all right, but yeah, I know he's close to him.
Yeah,
to some extent.
This is my thing. Like, if he associates with Seth, like, obviously, I'm not gonna associate with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is
got
what
a
it is.
problem
Like,
with him,
it's whatever. Yeah, I don't have a problem with him either. But at the end of the day, I just don't like. I'm just not. It's not productive business wise.
Yeah,
It's just whatever.
Like his videos
But
are fire,
I will react to his video though, because if it's me reacting to it like once or twice just to get some information compared to me just having to read the entire fucking manga, and
Yeah.
spend some time.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a shortcut. I'm gonna do that, and who cares, right? I don't give a fuck. Like Troy, he literally watches Seth's videos still, and and it's not because he likes Seth, but it's just to see what he's doing, and then he'll talk shit about his content and say it's ass.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. It's like Chuck, I have no problem with him. I think he's cool, but yeah, I know he's still close to Seth, but I mean, whatever. He hasn't done anything wrong to me, like Noodles and shit. Fuck him. Like we have personal
Yeah,
issues. It's just that why I don't.
That's what I'm
fuck with
saying.
him.
So that's why, like, at the end of the day, it's whatever. Like, I thought Chuck was always cool, anyways. But
Yeah.
yeah, at the end of the day, with that being said, I just want to associate. That's all it is.
Pretty
So,
much. But yeah, as far as you
it's
got
unfortunate
Goku,
too. It's really
Yeah.
unfortunate. I don't know why people like Clyde or Chuck, whatever. And like once again, I'm not dogging Chuck or anything either, but I just don't understand or comprehend why they still want to associate with. Someone
yeah,
like
I
that.
don't get
Just
it. I know they've known that fucking dude for a long time and shit, but still, it's still like, I don't
And
know.
even Swag, like that shit really surprised me when he wanted to reach out and talk to Clyde just to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, bro, like, come on, isn't that like kind of a done deal, bro?
Yeah, like Swag is just a nice guy for sure, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's the same thing for me and Jay. Like, we're nice, whatever, blah, blah, especially Jay, right? But me,
Yeah.
I'm more stricter, and I like to stay away from the red flag shit. You know what I mean? I just don't want to be around.
they're a bigger man than I am because if I find out someone I knew was soliciting pics to minors, we're done. Like we're not friends ever again.
Oh yeah, no, facts. That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's the crazy thing too. Like, it's not affecting Chuck's like career. Like, he's still making crazy money on YouTube, whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing too. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. So
Yeah, he just streams with the guy. I mean, I wouldn't stream with that fucking loser, but I get it.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
Chuck's cool though, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
But I will say this, regardless how you guys view all that with morality and everything, whatever. I do know Chuck has good content. That I do.
That's a fact. I mean, he makes great content.
Facts.
Yeah, like great comic book content. I've seen a lot of his
There is
shit.
a
It's
reason
fire.
why Swag was with him all the time, acknowledging Seth the pedo back then, and fucking
Yeah, it's
you name
fire.
it. So there's a
His
reason.
shit.
Even Clark.
He reminds me of Crisis. Like Crisis shit is fucking fire. If you want good comic book shit, Crisis
Oh
might
yeah,
have.
yeah.
His shit's
Crisis,
fucking
yeah. He
fire,
has
bro.
good DC Marvel shit.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
He scales video games. He did the fucking Insomniac game Spider-Man versus
I'm
Arkham
assuming
Batman.
he probably did more scaling because the Suicide
Yeah.
Squad.
Oh, I think he did
And
do
he
that
was
shit.
probably so angry
Yeah.
for doing those videos, but he had to,
Yeah. He
bro.
had to. He did a great video of Insomniac Spider-Man versus Arkham
Yeah,
Batman. That shit was fucking fire. Like you guys need
I
to check
haven't
that
seen
shit
that.
out.
It's in my watch later. I'm gonna react
Yeah,
to it
that
though.
shit was fire. He
Yeah.
did a really good job on that shit. He's done a lot of fire shit that I want to do. He scaled the Rocky characters in the verse, like the best fighters in Rocky and shit. His shit is fucking fire.
Yeah,
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 he's
yeah.
actually very
I
creative.
know Chuck also does the SPC like scaling
Oh
shit.
yeah,
I
yeah,
heard
that
like
shit's
they're
fire
cracked
too.
as
I haven't
well.
really checked it out, but I know that SPC shit's like interesting. So
Yeah, like there's like also a creature that's literally like a more broken version of Doomsday as well. That's the
yeah,
funny part, bro. All these motherfuckers be copying from DC, bro, with Doomsday, but you know,
yeah, they're
everybody,
really
anime,
good.
you name it, but there's like this weird crocodile looking creature that
Yeah,
literally is like not only super fucking cracked and like powerful, like ridiculously like crazy. Okay, I think he's even omnipotent, but I could be capping on that. But he's
yeah,
very fucking strong, but he also has the power of like to evolve or adapt and do anything, and he could basically just beat anything because of it. It's
yeah. Like
ridiculous.
Crisis is so good that I'd say overall scaler. I think Naruto TG is my favorite guy, but overall, I think Crisis is my favorite. That's how good. Like I don't gas
Damn.
people up much, but his shit is fucking fire, bro. You guys gotta check his shit out.
Yeah, I don't blame him, bro. I
Yeah,
haven't
like
seen all his stuff to be honest. I have seen a couple videos, but the things I have seen, it's really good. So
yeah, like TG is my favorite Naruto guy overall. The overall
he's
scaler in
definitely
entirety.
underrated.
Yeah.
Bryce
Oh,
is underrated.
Crisis is like TG.
Yeah,
Those guys, I feel like there's a matter of
yeah,
time
he
between.
deserves way more subs, way more.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's a matter of time before both these dudes blow the fuck up. TG and Crisis. Like
If
those guys are
anything, we
fucking.
could try to. Now thinking about, it, we could try to eventually have him as a guest once we
Oh, I
conclude
would,
the
I would, that
Naruto
would be
stuff.
fucking dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I'd
could try to
definitely have
see
him
if
on.
he's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could find him somehow, I'd be hella down to have him on, bro. He's fucking dope.
I think Six definitely has his contact, and then Swag. You just have to reach out or
Yeah,
TG, maybe
yeah.
TG. I know Swag and Six for sure though.
Oh, I know this fact because Crisis actually used to work for Seth, but guess what? When he found out, he discommunicated. He
Yeah,
doesn't fuck with Seth. So,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so like
uh,
Swag and Six can probably have the contact info, but
yeah, Crisis, he has good shit, guys. Check out his shit for sure. Nail had a power level of 42,000. Oh yeah, Nail would slam the Vulture bro. He'd blitz them. Let's see. Mark, Omni-Man, and another Vulturemite flew through Vultrum, which is 2 times larger than Earth, and destroyed the planet. I don't know where that scales them individually in AP, though. Oh, really? Probably in the comic books, I'm guessing? Yeah, I gotta read the comic books or some shit,
well,
too. I know there's more shit.
it makes sense because once again, if we analyze the black hole thing, we obviously know black holes would destroy a fucking planet as well, and if he's able to sit inside of a black hole, not in the middle of it, because he would have died if he did that,
Yeah,
but
he
on
would
the
have.
outside of it, he clearly has enough relative speed to a black hole, right? You know,
Yeah.
relative, not equal or over. And we know black holes could easily destroy a planet, easily just being
Yeah.
near it, you know.
Yeah,
So like
exactly.
it would make sense technically for them to be able to just move fast enough and fly through or whatever. The only problem though is like you could argue like they need the velocity and build up for it because that was kind of shown in the beginning with Omni-Man with the city, but at the same time, when we see Omni-Man just not even moving and sitting in the black hole, yet he could still just resist the force and speed and whatnot. Therefore, meaning that would technically prove further that they could do it at all times.
Yeah.
So it's like overall that wouldn't surprise me, but the problem is with the Dragon Ball arcs that we're referring to, like these individuals are, I believe they're even further beyond, or most importantly, let's say they're in a similar scaling ballpark. They also once again have ki blast. They have range attacks. That's the problem, and martial arts as well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like
So,
the impressiveness and the sort of severity of their APs is better. Like fucking base Frieza with a one tap to fucking whole planet with his fucking finger and one
uh,
blast, like fucking, and that was first version base Frieza.
casually,
Yeah, casually, he
effortlessly,
just threw a little ass
the
blast
weakest
at him.
form of Frieza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so guys like Piccolo, guys like Nail, Guys like Goku, I mean, obviously they'd fucking destroy the Viltrumites. I mean, it would be
And
fucking
then when we saw like Frieza transform and everybody was shitting their pants like, oh my fucking god! Like mind you, they were already like fodder to the weakest form of Frieza. But then
Yeah,
when he
literally.
transformed and was even beyond,
Yeah.
everybody was like, yo, we're done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's like overall, like I think it's still in favor for Dragon Ball Z. That is still, but
Oh, by far.
and
Yeah.
once again, is that there's then the disadvantages, range attacks, key blast, whatever, blah blah. But the only thing like I can say, like I could also say this in defense of Virtual Mites. I think I could be wrong, but I think they also specialize in martial arts and you name it, yada yada. But the only problem is Dragon Ball Z is all about martial arts. Those
Yeah.
motherfuckers
Yeah.
are alien martial arts. You name it, the whole nine. So like I
Roshi,
think that is
yeah.
way more potent in a verse that's dedicated to that shit, right? Than Virtumites that are just doing it because they want to be the most powerful race in the universe. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, Crisis only post Suicide Squad content was ranking all the Arcanburst characters. Oh, I did see that shit. Yeah, I saw that video actually.
Oh, okay.
And putting
So
this.
that's how you know he hated that shit was ass when
Yeah,
he did a
and he
ranking
said
video.
his voice sounded like he didn't like Brainiac losing to the Suicide Squad. Yeah, I know. None of us like that shit, bro. None of us looked
It
that
was
shit.
ass.
Yeah, the
But
losing
like
to
that,
the
that's
Justice
why
League
I'm
losing was
calling it right
ass.
now. That's why he didn't make a Batman video of like where Batman finally actually scales fully
Yeah,
now.
there's
Yada
no way
yada.
he's gonna
Like
shit on Batman after losing to the fucking
no,
Suicide Squad.
no, hell no.
Yeah,
Nobody
no.
would. That's some
Yeah,
bullshit.
that was disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie. They fucking shot him on a bench and he fell over. I was like, bro, come on. Like the fucking
Now, I
dumbass
will
Harley
say
to pull that
this,
off. Come on.
and I'm pretty sure Crisis would also mention this as well.
Yeah.
Batman does have contingency plans to beat them all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
literally. What the
and we
fuck?
do know it. Yeah, we do know consistency wise, comics, whatever, in everything, right? It's always the same narrative. Batman could beat him because of those contingency plans. So technically, that means Batman would have to scale in some regard to these Justice League members. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the whole point of these plans is to combat against them when they're brainwashed, mind controlled, or bloodlusted. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
the main point.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it's like if we take that into consideration, technically that can make Batman pretty high in scaling. But once again, we just don't know, and it's even worse when it comes to the probability things because we literally just play the game. And you'll see why.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, literally, man. I was like, what the
yeah.
fuck? It was so disrespectful how they did the Justice League in that game. Fucking, I don't know, man. It is annoying. I played the whole thing.
It's just crazy, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, you know what it is, bro? It's like we see Madara, he slams the Shinobi Alliance. Then round 2, the Shinobi Alliance slam him. It's like,
It'd be
huh?
like, yeah, it'd be like Madara beating the Five Kage, and then he loses to fucking like Tenten or some shit. Like, what the fuck? It was like
Literally, it's
dog
like,
shit.
what's happening?
It was so annoying, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
or not even if we just take the same and just mirror it, like Batman alone, like slam them all, whatever, and then like later on, what in his own territory, or prep, you name it, whatever, Fear talks and all this shit, he loses.
That's so fucking
Like
stupid.
that's like Madara beating the Five Kage. They get a rematch, round 2, right? They come back, they're like, oh Madara, we're gonna beat you now, and then guess what? They
Yeah.
beat him.
Yeah, it was fucking dumb as hell, dude.
Or better yet, not even. It'd be like them beating Madara when he has the Rinnegan and is alive instead of Edo.
Yeah, the
Literally.
game is fun, but the fucking narrative is just fucking retarded. That's what it is. Yeah, like the gameplay's fun though, but yeah, it was fucking stupid, dude. Like the narrative was fucking dumb. A nitpick I always had with the DBZ anime is how long it takes Nappa's beam to reach Piccolo, meaning he could have tackled Gohan on the way. At least the beam is instant in the manga. Yeah, that's kind of like a media thing. I get, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a media thing. Like to display speed in media, it's restricted, right? You can't display beyond light speed in fucking 3D animation. It's not possible. So I get I get the criticism though. Makes sense. First form Frieza, power level 530,000. Casually destroyed planet Vegeta that had a gravity 10 times stronger than Earth. Yeah, exactly, bro. Way beyond anything a Ultraman could do. Do you think Vegeta will now get a new form? Right now, it looks like he gave up on UE. He doesn't wear the earring anymore, and it's already confirmed by the writers that he will never use UI. I think he will continue with Beerus. It seems implied. Obviously, when he saw Gohan and Goku going at it, he gulped. You know, we all laughed at that shit. Like he's like, "Oh god damn." But I do think he's gonna go the God of Destruction route. I think that's gonna continue if I had to deduce. He just has the personality for it. He has the ferocity for it. He's like the other side of the coin, right? They have like this sort of ideological sort of dichotomy with angels and gods of destruction, right? Goku sort of conforms more with the angels. You know, he's more calm, he's more graceful in his combat, he's more technical, while Vegeta is more ferocious, tenacious, aggressive, like a god of destruction, right? So I do think that's going to continue. That dichotomy is going to continue to progress. So I do think he's going to discover something else. I think it might be another God of Destruction derived form. If I had to really predict, just based off their dichotomy, the dichotomy they've always had from the beginning, since they met each other. You know, the more gracious one has always been Goku. The more aggressive and tenacious one has been Vegeta. Right. So that's probably what I would say. Um, I do think he'll get his own form, whether it's like a better UE, mastered UE, or something like that, or something else entirely. I think he'll get something. So yeah, that's probably what I would say based off just how they've always been. That dichotomy's always been there. You know, so they had to ass pull it, so Scarecrow had Carly had to reverse engineer Fear-Toxin in the past to justify them not getting folded. Yeah, that was stupid as fuck, bro. Stupid as hell. The narrative is just dumb. Period. It's just dumb. The gameplay's fun. I'll play it again just for the gameplay, but like the fucking narrative is dumb as hell. Where would you scale current Goku and Vegeta if you dropped them in DC? If it's like mainstream DC, most of Earth would be fucked. Superman, if he's like mainstream regular Clark Kent against current Goku and Vegeta, he'd have to like saturate himself with sun quickly, because if they use like their all-out power and blast him with a ki blast point blank, they might just fucking disintegrate him. I think his durability has to increase substantially. These guys are on levels that he typically doesn't deal with, I would assume, on Earth, right? He deals with like, you know, villains with okay AP, okay durability, okay speed, but you don't see him constantly dealing with like Darkseid and shit in mainstream, at least in the mainstream continuity, um, like Earth 52, Batman and things like that. So, excuse me, Superman. So they would probably deal with Earth more than likely, unless Superman, you know, saturates himself with sun. Maybe they'd struggle with him. But the majority of Earth would be fucked. As far as higher dimensional beings and things like that, obviously they wouldn't stand a chance. Spectre and people like that just would fold them. But Earth would be in a lot of trouble. Let's just say that. If you were to drop them right now in DC, mainstream DC. Do you agree with the criticism that the first through third form Frieza fights dynamic were a waste of time and he should have only had his final form where to improve his pacing? There's an argument for both sides, I think. I do think the pacing could have been improved in general. Dragon Ball's pacing can be improved in general. I think it's like a general criticism of the overall narrative. But do I think they should have skipped immediately to the final form? In a way, I see the purpose of it. I see the purpose of it. Obviously, they wanted to progressively bring a stronger protagonist against him, right? First it was fucking Piccolo, then it was Vegeta, and then it was fucking Goku, finally, right? When he was Super Saiyan. I get that purpose, but I do agree they could at least improve the pacing of it to where it's not like long as fuck and we're waiting forever, right? I get that. But do I think it should have went directly from, you know, Form 1 to Final Form? No. It just could have been faster though. More fastly executed, more swiftly executed. So, what if Edo Minato fought the Shinobi Alliance instead of Edo Madara? Would he stomp them as well? Yes. He would.
Oh
fold.
yeah, and he would have KCM theoretically at that point as well.
If he has
so,
KCM, he'd fold the Kage as well. Let's say like he's
yeah, he would absolutely fucking shit on
like
all of them. And then not only that, his
Yeah.
base alone is superior to Raikage because he literally concedes it.
Yep.
And he even says that while he had time to train and get stronger and stronger, and he's referring to past fourth Hokage. So what's it called? And we see that the fourth Raikage is like, you know, he's, you know, beating up KCM Naruto, whatever. And then Naruto gets serious and he gets that Minato speed, and now he's like above a Raikage. So once again, Raikage's fucked. All of them are fucked. Everybody basically just gets speed blitz, except you could argue for Naruto and Itachi and people and Nagato.
He would slit everyone's throats. Like if he was bloodlusted, he would just fucking fly and Raiji behind everyone's necks, fucking slit their throats.
Spam that shit, and that's the problem. He'll never get tired because he's an Edo, so he doesn't have to worry about the drawbacks during the Nine Tails incident. You know, we're fighting Obito. We'll have infinite chakra, basically. Yep.
Yeah, imagine like a fucking ping pong ball, like a ping pong ball going from like here. Yeah, literally. That's what he would be.
He can literally. He could literally make the biggest Rising Gun he possibly could. A massive
God.
fucking Rising Gun.
Yeah.
And then literally like just fucking teleport and just slam that through everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
just
just
imagine,
teleport
like,
everywhere and just hit him with the massive Rising Gun.
yeah, it'd be like a fucking ping pong ball just going left and right, slaughtering everyone
You
left
know?
and right. Just
And he
imagine
could also
that.
do shadow clones, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
whatnot too. And like so it's like at
KCM.
the end of the day, they're all fucking
They're fucked.
fucked.
Yeah, they
And then
need
obviously,
Naruto.
if he has to get serious, like let's say, I think the way it would go is like when Naruto's teaming up along with like fucking Killer Bee's actually redundant. He would get fucking slammed.
Yeah, he get fucked up.
But Naruto, he'd be the only one. Itachi as well, because he'd be like brought back and shit, whatever. And
Yeah.
then basically like Naruto and Itachi would just have to basically team up, and Minato would have to go KCM, and then Minato still wins because now he's over them. So
Yeah, exactly. It'd be fucking horrible, man. Like it wouldn't change
and
much.
Izanami isn't an option for Minato because he's not bad like Kabuto.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So he's not like
Yeah.
he doesn't have like a tainted heart like fucking Kabuto. So it would be horrible for
Yeah.
the fucking Shinobi Alliance. Just say that.
yeah, they all just get fucked. Like the only
Yeah.
way Naruto could have any chance is if he goes KCM 2 with Sage mode.
KCM 2 Sage mode.
Yeah, like so if there's like a plot moment, which I could see that theoretically happening if Kishimoto was writing it,
Yeah.
what's it called? Like if he goes KCM 2, I don't think that would be enough still. Because once again, Minato has the same shit. What's it called? And then like basically, it's just there would still be fucking problems. But yeah, like overall, that's still the way.
Orochimaru would have to haul ass and fucking reanimate Hashirama or some shit. He'd be like, "Hurry up, dude, hurry!" Like Minato's slaughtering everybody, and Orochimaru would have to hurry up, fucking get fucking Hashirama back from the fucking grave or some shit. They'd have to haul ass so he doesn't fold everybody.
Literally, bro.
Yeah, it'd be horrible. Superman has an anti-feat in current rebirth continuity of not being able to stop a bullet in time. Oh Jesus, that is an anti-feat. But DC wankers claim he's immeasurable
That's like
speed.
some Flash from CW show shit.
Yeah, it's like fucking the worst inconsistency ever. Like fucking Suicide Squad when Batman dies. They should animate Dragon Ball AF with Z-Core. It's actually fire. It's a shame how Super Saiyan 3 has a good design, but it's one of the most worthless transformations. Yeah, it is. That's true, bro. It is worthless. Very worthless, especially now. It legit could have been cut from the story completely and nothing would have changed. Yeah, dude, yeah, I mean, arguably, yeah. Edo Minato would low-key be more dangerous than Madara since he wouldn't hold back just to taunt fuck around with his ops. Yeah, he would slit everyone's throats, dude. He doesn't give a fuck about talking or nothing. He'd fucking slaughter everybody. Like a ping pong ball.
But he wouldn't have a choice. That's the problem.
Everyone would be fucked, man. It'd be horrible.
Like, look at Zabuza with Haku, like where Zabuza didn't hesitate, whatever you name it, went to slice right through, and that's why he was able to land a hit on a mentally nerfed Kakashi. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like they don't care anymore at that point. They're mindless fucking tools.
And like fucking Madara, like again, yeah, like you said, he's just fucking.
Like you saw Nagato when he was just like brainwashed and completely gone, like no emotion, no expression, nothing.
He's fucking blitzing and shit. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, he was just blitzing and slaying. That's what I'm saying, bro. And then like when you see him like when Kabuto's using them just to fill out Naruto and Killer Bee, and he can at least talk and shit, and he's trying to help them fight. He's talking by like giving them advice on what to do. But the moment Kabuto gets serious and makes him go fully bloodlust and all out, it's GG's.
They fucking mauls both of them. Yeah, like immediately.
Yeah.
So, chess between Aizen. Chess between Aizen and Minato or Aizen versus Soratubu. Who you got? Oh, chess game. Minato versus Aizen. Minato's pretty fucking intelligent, but I mean, obviously Aizen is
I
as
think
well.
Aizen has that though,
Yeah, his pure intelligence.
That's weird to say. I like Naruto more, but Aizen's so smart though, dude.
Yeah, the shit he does, just from an intellectual standpoint, like Minato deduces things quickly, but Aizen's level of deduction is just higher. Like what he does.
Yeah, like, he's able to like prep things, and he's also able to create broken shit too, and.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Aizen probably. Aizen's level of intelligence.
Aizen's like Madara in intelligence, to be honest, as well.
And probably Aizen. To be frank, if we're talking nasty anti-feats, base Dragon Ball Super Goku got tagged and hurt by a bullet. Writers just don't realize how powerful their own characters are most of the time. And
you're talking about the laser thing where he gets hit by a laser?
Yeah, but there is a statement from Whis though where he says if you're off guard, your durability is lower. Like you can be
Yeah,
taken out. He does say that about Goku
yeah,
and
he's
Vegeta.
just like a normal, average fucking human being, basically,
Yeah,
and
because we
that's
yeah
what anything. That's even with fucking Naruto as well. Like if you're not focused or whatever, enhancing your body, like you could literally be just like a fragile as a human. And it's
yeah because
blatantly
I think
shown
he
so many
like
times in Naruto. That's why with the Minato shit, we're like, oh, he's splinter level. You know, it's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Because then
yeah
you
it's
see the
bullshit.
guy doing feats that is completely way beyond splinter level.
Yeah, it's because Whis even explains it. I think he flicked Goku. Goku's like, "Oh fuck, that hurt." He's like, "Dude, if you're off guard like that, even like more primitive, lower level AP shit can kill you." Like for example, when Frieza's fodder ass guy shot him with a laser and like fucking killed him, it's because he was off guard and like when he was in his base form, like wasn't expecting it. So especially in Dragon Ball, durability varies depending upon the level of focus the combatant has. If he's just like standing there, like having a cup of coffee, like not having a worry in the world, and his durability is lower for sure. So it depends. Like if Goku's on guard and fucking Master Ultra Instinct, then obviously his durability is better. You know, so there's
Yeah.
that. Uh, uh, yeah, but he has the off guard excuse. Superman was too slow. Nope. There's a scene in the Dragon Ball Super manga and manga where Goku gets shot at someone with a revolver and he gets tagged and hurt by the bullet. Uh, in general, though, Dragon Ball Super does have inconsistencies, though. That is true. Like Krillin stalemating Blue Goku, the fucking Kamehameha. That's fucking ridiculous. Uh, where does teenage Avatar Aang scale in tuning exams? To Gara, Rock Lee, etc. Question mark. Um, Aang is a teenager. Well, if he's in the fucking Avatar state, I think he can take out a city. Like if he uses like a fucking tsunami or some shit or enough fire or earth. Without the Avatar state, depending upon the point of the narrative, like early Aang gets folded by most Shinobi in the Chunin exams. It's just the reality. It's in terms of speed and all that. He gets fucking blitzed. I think even Avataring, speed would just be immense. The gap would be immense between him and the fucking Shinobi. Like especially the higher caliber tuning exam participants like Neji and Sasuke and fucking Lee, they would speed blitz his ass. Um, I think even lightning speed starts to get reached in fucking in the tuning exam. So I'd probably say he'd lose. He'd beat a couple if he's an Avatar state. Give him that. He would beat Sakura and Ino and all those fodder ass people, like fucking Shoji and shit. But he would probably lose to Neji and like final Shun exam, Gara and Sasuke and those guys. Yeah, that's probably what I'd say. Yeah, he was off guard. Uh, I still have a conspiracy theory that Super Saiyan Blue was mandated to show up once per episode for the anime. It's the only way for him massively holding back Goku to go blue to make sense. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of problems with Super for sure. A lot of inconsistencies. Unfortunate. Z is definitely better overall than fucking Super. We can all agree with that. Uh, but yeah, folks, any questions at all? Any questions at all? It could be boxing, UFC. There's some great UFC fights. Sean O'Malley's fighting Cheeto Vera. Obviously anime, JJK. There's some great shows coming. Invincible, I think, comes out part 2 of season 3 comes out this month. The Boys season 4 comes out in June. We got movies coming out. Deadpool 3, I think, comes out in June or some shit like that. Fucking Joker 2 comes out soon. So there's a bunch of shit coming out. So feel free to ask about any of that. The Anime Awards, feel free to ask about that. That happened, I think, yesterday. I didn't even know about it till like this morning. Who tests higher on general intelligence? Orochimaru or Urahara? I'd probably say Urahara. Urahara's like intellectual feats are more impressive to me. I think like pure deduction ability, his is better. Orochimaru's is more ambitious than Urahara. He's more like Aizen in that sense, where he pushes the pace more, but Urahara's more talented and more intelligent. I think Aizen resented Urahara for that reason. At the end of the Espada arc, when Aizen gets defeated by Ichigo, he's kind of like talking down upon Urahara for his lack of ambition. He's like, all this intelligence, you fucking wasted it, and what the fuck is wrong with you? Like he resented him because of his intellectual talents and lack of ambition. So I think Urahara is more intelligent. In fact, Orochimaru does the same thing to Hiruzen in a way, except it's different. It's with his age, right? He tells Hiruzen like, you're the Hokage, you have all this knowledge, and you're letting age take you out. You're fucking disgusting. Like you're pathetic. Because he what his biggest fear was age limiting his potential, right? Which is why he kept experimenting on himself and doing these like horrible acts on children and shit to try and continue his uh, sort of quest for immortality, right? So, yeah, I do think Orochi is more intelligent though. But that's an interesting parallel between Orochimaru and Aizen. They have similarities ideologically in a way. Would you be on board with Cooler coming back in the Black Freeze arc? Cooler? I mean, I think you can make room for his introduction. Maybe it could be like an asset to to the villain side. I wouldn't mind, I guess. Avatar does elements way better than Naruto does it. Oh, that's definitely true. Like the elements are, the advantages of using the elements are way better used in with the Avatar. But Naruto just scales way above that verse. So DBZ had power scaling issues, but it's crazy how blatantly DBS just doesn't give a fuck. Oh yeah, they definitely had issues as well. But yeah, DBS are just way worse and more numeric, more common. Do you think that Gaara never feeling threatened enough by Basically to use his sand circle shield means Basically is fodder to him? Perhaps. I think shock was part of it. He was kind of like shocked by it and not like taking action. It wasn't like he was focused on slaughtering fucking Lee most of the time. So there's that. Like his demeanor was very like shocked when he saw what the fuck Lee was doing with his speed and his like taijutsu expertise. It wasn't until like the final stretch where he almost like fucking snapped Lee in half when the guy had to save him that he really tried to like eliminate him. So I wouldn't say he was threatened most of the time until the very end, but he was definitely shocked. Dude, I don't think he thought Lee was fodder. I think he was impressed the whole time, but I do think he deemed him as not enough of a threat to have to use that. So yeah, that's what I would say about Basically. Cooler existing
Oh
canon.
yeah.
Cooler
What Jay said. What
existing
fucking
in
Jay said, bro?
canon. Would kind of be an ass pull though. Why would Frieza never have mentioned him once? Yeah, it would be an ass pull. Yeah. I wouldn't mind him existing, but yeah, it wouldn't make sense though. I like Cooler personally. Does anyone in
Not
Naruto
thinking
test
about
higher?
it. What would, bro? Like, imagine if Broly got to their planet earlier during the Dragon Ball Z. What
Oh
do they do?
God, now he'd be a god. If
What
either
do they
that
do, bro? Like,
yeah, either that or he would have destroyed the fucking planet.
if Frieza thought Goku was bad,
Oh my God, imagine him during the Namek saga. Like if Broly was there.
that's the crazy thing. He wouldn't even need to go to Super Saiyan, bro.
Oh
Just his
fuck no.
base.
He would have
in
fucking
range.
slapped Frieza. He probably would have thought his base was Super Saiyan. He's like, "Is this the legendary Super Saiyan?" He's like, "Bitch, I'm in base. I'm not even in
Yeah,
fucking
like
powered up."
he'd just yell. He'd be like, "Oh, they just fucking beat his."
He'd like one
Or
shots
no,
his
that
ass.
old dude, his father. He'd be like, "Broly, beat him up."
It's like Broly
"Ah!"
go, and then he like slam his ass in base. He'd
Yeah,
probably
fucking,
think that's Super
it's like
Saiyan.
a
He's like, "Oh
fucking
my."
broken Pokemon legendary and just slams everybody.
He'd probably destroy the planet himself by accident. He's like, "Whoops, Namek is
Yeah,
gone."
to be honest, yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking
I,
dangerous.
I I will say that actually, well, no. Weren't they destroying fucking dimensions and shit when they fought?
Oh yeah, when they were
Gogeta?
doing that weird shit, where they're like shattering
Yeah,
a
yeah. Like they
dimension.
weren't destroying the planet, but they went like through dimensions and started destroying all
It
that
was
and just
weird.
shattering it all.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
in
So
this
he
weird like.
probably, if he didn't give a fuck, he'd probably just destroy the planet.
Yeah, because I remember it was their Goku or Vegeta told him like, "Calm the fuck down. You're gonna fuck up the planet or some shit." When they were fighting Broly in the movie,
Yeah.
they're like, "Calm the fuck down, buddy." Like they were trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
calm him
and then
down.
like I think when they started shattering and breaking all the dimensions, I think that's because Gogeta was probably inputting a certain amount of force to like make sure it doesn't affect the planet, to
Yeah,
where it was bringing them to that point.
it was like
Probably.
some
So
weird
I don't know.
like color prism dimension. They're like in some
Yeah,
fucking weird ass
yeah.
like
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
It was
like,
cool though.
because otherwise, if it wasn't affecting that dimension, the planet would have been gone.
Oh, facts.
So
Yeah, with all that
yeah,
power and
gone.
shit. Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
it would have been raps. Does anyone in Naruto test higher on standardized intelligence tests than Mayuri?
Yeah,
Oh, from
like
Bleach?
Shikamaru.
Shikamaru would probably be the best
Uh,
bet, or Amato
yeah.
actually. Amato is up there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Motto is fucking.
Yeah,
He's Batman. Yeah.
those guys. Yeah, those guys would. Amato, I'd bet is at least relative to Mayuri in terms of intelligence. Maybe Shikamaru, but definitely Amato.
Like this motherfucker Amato was building fucking robots that are cracked.
Yeah, he built
Like
Shinjutsu
and
God
and then
cyborgs.
building robots that have like fucking omnipotent dojutsu abilities. Now,
He built
I'm not saying
yeah,
they're omnipotent. I'm just that's what they call their abilities for
the
some reason. They
fucking
call it omnipotent.
yeah,
But
literally the fucking Ida had fucking ability called omnipotence, literally.
yeah, it's like
So
Shinjutsu or some shit, I
yeah,
think.
he
But
built the
what's it
dude
called?
built
But yeah,
God
but once
Shinjutsu
again, like don't get it
cyborgs.
twisted. We don't mean that literally, but
Yeah,
what's it called? Yeah,
reality warping
they
fucking
basically have planetary level like fucking jutsu abilities and shit. Like she had like
yeah.
a Kodo Matsukami basically.
Yeah, like a
Uh,
global Kodo. That's basically what she did. Fucking
yeah.
Amato built what he
Effortlessly
did
too.
effortlessly. Yeah, what he did is he built Shinjutsu God cyborgs. That's what he built.
Yep.
So he's a fucking
Like I'm
cracked
sorry,
ass
but how
like
do you even do that? Like how do
yeah.
you
How does he even know how to make like where did he get the Shinjutsu thing
you know
from,
yeah,
bro?
you want to know
Yeah.
what makes no sense, Jay? Like it's like when he was a little kid back then, it's like what the fuck made him like think of all this, bro?
Like how did he even build those fucking cyborgs? Like how did you even figure out how to make
Because
Shinjutsu in
he
general?
looks like he's in his third or like no, he has white hair though, so
Yeah, he's
he's
probably
probably in his like
like
what 60s or 70s.
yeah, he probably looks like 50s or yeah, it's hard to
Oh yeah,
tell.
50s, yeah, because he has
Definitely
white
older
hair.
though.
That's the only
Yeah,
problem. Yeah.
definitely older for
So
sure.
it's like overall like but either way like he's either like an adult or he's way older. But bottom line is like this motherfucker was like thinking of this shit and prepping since a little fucking kid, bro.
Yeah,
Like
he
and
built
mind you, he didn't give a fuck about the world. He didn't care about nobody. He's over here just building like all these crazy ass shit. You know, he's probably experimenting like
fucking
and made a
code.
fucking transformer that could be planetary already.
Yeah,
You know, and then he just doesn't give a fuck, you know. So,
it's like
but he's
fucking.
just staying to himself and it's working on his mind.
Imagine asking him like, "Hey, buddy, how did you build a robot that can reflect your intention by just thinking? Please,
Literally.
like, can you give me the blueprints, please, bud? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, Damon, all he has to do is know what you're thinking and reflect it. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what? How do you even build that? I don't understand that. He's fucking cracked, bro. So. Um,
Literally, bro.
it's funny that Lee never harms Gara once, doesn't make him bleed, bruise, or cuts him. Yeah, I pointed out too. He doesn't cut him fucking once. And after everything, Gara
Yeah,
casually
no,
got up.
he cannot go through that raw durability,
The raw
baby.
durability. He
Now,
said, yeah.
yeah, I will say this though, in defense for the Lee fans, when he did the primary Lotus with the first gate, that was implied to show that he could be able to seriously injure Gara because Gara had to use a sand substitution.
Yeah. So
So
fucking
what's it
yeah.
called? So that you could technically argue because like it doesn't make any sense to go
Yeah.
to defend yourself with a sand clone when if you think you can tank it. You know what I mean?
Because fucking
So
me and D1 debated that on the Colin show, the AP of Glee.
yeah,
Um, like he used the elemental disadvantage thing. That was a good
yeah, yeah.
counter. But my counter to that was think about it like this: Lee try to count how many shots he took at Gara, how many strikes
Oh,
he
he did
used.
so many
Probably
blows, so many.
hundreds, right? And
Yeah,
Sasuke only needed one fucking Chidori to break through the dense sand dome defense that Gara had. And it went through him and his fucking sand armor, and it hit him, and it made him fucking bleed.
yeah.
So D1's argument was good, but my argument was that the performance was so fucking vast in impressiveness that the elemental nature advantage is null and void because of how much different the performances were. It wasn't like it was close and like, oh, it's because Sasuke had lightning release. Like, no, it was fucking drastic. Like one attack
Well,
versus
not
hundreds.
only that though,
You
Jay.
know,
Like, what makes
so
it even more crazy, he did it while he did his hardest like defense dome jutsu on
yeah,
top of
exactly.
it. So he had like
Yeah,
he basically cushioned the velocity and blow. You know what I mean? And then got hit to his sand armor, and it went through that as well, and then
exactly,
hit his body and went through that. It went through three durabilities.
exactly.
And the
So that's
reason why
like,
that's pretty crazy is like we see
yeah,
Kimaru when he goes to CM2, and he's like a running fucking Shidori, basically. To be fair,
yeah,
this was a stronger Gara, but either way, he goes through Gara's like fucking wall sand, which slows his velocity and momentum, and then
yeah,
he hits Gara, but it didn't go through and make Gara bleed. It just injured his armor, like a blow from Rock Lee, basically, or Sasuke. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like overall, like the fact that Sasuke could go through a sand at its hardest, right?
Yeah,
And his armor, and then his body and make him bleed is just crazy.
yeah. So, but yeah, shout out to D1 though. He did debate me the best in that show on the Colin show. He had the best like arguments and shit. So, um,
Like I'm sorry, but it's not even a discussion. Like the AP is blatantly like,
Yeah, like that was what me and D1 were debating. Like, I know some people said like, oh, D1 got it because of the elemental advantage. I'm like, I mean, my argument kind of negated that, but shout out to D1 though. Lol, I made a guy on Power Scaling Forum that thought Ten Tails Obito was planetary and could destroy Earth because of the Nunu Boko was stated to have created the world. Yeah, that's not true. Yeah. Uh, how would Damon use his ability in a 1v1 and isn't touching anyone? He just has to know what you're thinking. I think he can read your mind and he
yeah,
reflects your intention. Like when Kawaki was when Boruto and Kawaki were with Damon, I think Boruto tells Kawaki like, "Hey buddy, don't think the wrong thing
yeah.
because he'll reflect it." So he doesn't have to touch you. If you're thinking about killing him, he reflects that intention and you die.
You're done. You're
Yeah, you
fucked.
fucking
Yeah.
die. So he doesn't even need to fucking touch you. It's like on some fucking
That
Aizen
shit is
shit.
probably like, I'm sorry, I've heard of so many things, but that's probably the most cracked
Yeah.
power I have ever seen in my life. Like you
Yeah.
would have to have a motto or Batman intelligence in order to somehow counter that shit. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. If Foreman
And
beat
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know how you would even beat that. But hey,
uh,
when you have smart characters, they do the impossible. So
yeah, you'd have to like block his telepathic signal or some Batman prep time bullshit to beat him.
yeah,
Some shit
yeah.
like that. So yeah, it's fucking cracked. If George Foreman beat Ali, would he be viewed as a GOAT heavyweight or would it still be Ali for overall impact? If Foreman beat Ali, so that was one of Ali's best performances, for sure. Now if Ali lost that fight, people probably there would be a small chunk or a substantial chunk that would say Foreman was the best of that era because Foreman fucking beat everybody. I think he beat Frazier, Liston, he beat them all. And if he beat Ali too, then that would like cement him as the best of that era. So there probably would be a substantial chunk of people in the boxing community that thinks Foreman's the best of all time. Um, so it would impact Ali, and it would impact his legacy for sure. But there would still be a good portion that would say Ali's the best because he beat a lot of people, Liston, Frazier. Um, he beat many great fighters. But yeah, that fight was substantial for Ali's legacy. So I would certainly say that wouldn't make or break his legacy. But as far as him being viewed as the GOAT, that would be more in question if he lost to Foreman. Especially the tear Foreman was on at the time. He was like fucking the boogeyman back then. So yeah, that's probably what I would say. That was one of Ollie's greatest wins. Taking down the giant. So beautiful strategy as well. Going to the body and breaking him down systematically over time. It was beautiful. So one of his best performances.
Yeah.
But doesn't Damon have to touch another person for the ability to activate? I'd have to relook at that. You might be right, actually. I don't remember off the top of my head. I have to look at that. You might be right.
I don't
Actually.
know, bro, because I remember that statement that you're talking about.
Yeah.
They literally just, all they say is, "Hey, you can't think whatever, otherwise you're fucked."
Yeah, so
So
I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I have to look at that shit. Was Devin versus Loma a stolen win? Here's the thing. I do think Loma won. Okay, I do think Loma won. Do I think it's a fucking robbery? No, I don't think it's a robbery. The other thing is, I thought it was uh, relatively clear. I don't think it was like as bad as Pacquiao versus Horn in Australia. That was a fucking robbery. Um, I thought Loma won this one. I do think it was more clear. I thought he outboxed Haney most rounds. But it's closer than people want to give Haney credit for. It was closer than people either remember it or want to remember it because they're biased
yeah,
towards Loma. So I don't think it was a robbery, but I do think Loma won. In my opinion, I thought he won, just like the majority of people. I don't think it was a robbery though. I think it has to be like fucking crystal clear for it to be a robbery, like some fucking
yeah,
Pacquiao
and
shit.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's understandable for why people could potentially think like, "What the fuck?" Like, wait a minute, but it's
Yeah,
like, nah, like it has to be objectively and crystal fucking clear. It's a robbery. Like, for instance, like if John Jones beat the fuck out of this guy, but it went to judgment somehow, and he's bleeding, fuck whatever you name it, and John Jones perfectly fine. He wasn't even gassed out, nothing, and the other guy somehow won to points. Like that would be robbed
yeah,
blatantly. So,
exactly. Biggest fall off in boxing history. The biggest fall off? That's a good question. Fall off in boxing history.
Logan Paul.
Dylan Dennis. No, I'm just kidding. He was never a fucking boxer. He was a fucking joke. Fall
That man
off?
is so ass, bro. He wants to be Jake Paul so bad.
Yeah, he never had a fall off because he never rose in the first place. He was dog shit.
Yeah.
Biggest fall off that I can recall. Uh, Someone said Roy Jones Jr. That's a good one. That's a pretty big fall off. He kind of fell off grace pretty badly.
Wait, now I'll tell you
Ali,
what, Jay. What was his fucking retarded ass bullshit excuse against his brother when they were arguing with each other about that? What did he say that what made him better?
you mean
I don't remember.
uh, Dylan
Remember when they were
Dennis?
arguing on stream about who's the better boxer?
Oh, Logan and fucking Jake. Oh yeah, yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I beat Floyd, and Jake's like, come on, you did not beat Floyd, dude. Shut the fuck up. He's like, and Logan's like, oh, you're scared of me. That's why the guys that fight you don't fight me. He's like, you're telling me Nate Diaz is scared of you, dude? Shut the fuck up. That's scary, you
Yeah,
stupid
oh
ass.
my god.
Logan is so narcissistic. Like, dude,
Didn't Logan get beat up by someone else too, though?
he lost to
Regardless of
KSI twice. Like, he's dog shit, dude. Like, come on, man.
He's trash then. He
dog
can't
shit.
a boxer.
Jake would sleep. Jake would fucking sleep Logan. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would sleep his stupid ass. I don't like Logan. I like Jake. I don't like Logan. But even objectively, Jake's a better fighter. He's not even fucking competitive. And I'm biased. I'm not gonna lie, but Logan can't fight for shit. He's dog shit. Yeah, the biggest fall off in boxing history. Oscar De La Hoya was a bad fall off because I remember his last fight against Pacquiao. Pacquiao beat the fuck out of him, dude. But Pacquiao was in his prime, to be fair. But I remember that fight. I was a kid watching that. He beat the fuck out of him. Like, retired his ass. That's how he beat the fuck out of out of De La Hoya. That was a bad fall from Grace. And he was a cash cow before Mayweather. Before Mayweather, De La Hoya was the biggest name in boxing. Um, that was a bad fall. Ali, in a way, was a bad fall. Seeing him kind of crumble, it wasn't even because of anything he did. It was his age. He kept fighting. You could see like the speed going away, the explosiveness. Kind of sad to see. That's a big fall off. Roy Jones, that's a bad one. I agree. Mike Tyson, and it's not even his physical talent. I think his mental. I don't know if it was mental health or what. It just started to deteriorate. Against Douglas, against Holyfield. Sad, man. Sad to see all that talent go to waste. I still think he's a legend, but I think if he was committed, if he had like Ali or Floyd's ambition, he'd be he'd be the best of all time, in my opinion. I think he was the most talented boxer of all time. That's my opinion. I never failed to miss most of the live. What the fuck? What's going on, Black Panther? What's going on, brother? Conor McGregor. He's not a boxer, but yeah, his fall is quite sad. I agree. He lost hunger. Conor McGregor lost hunger, but can we blame him? He made $100 million against Floyd. He probably made 8 figures against Khabib. 9 figures, 9 figures against Khabib. You can't blame the guy. I mean, I think power goes to your head, like the great Hagler, Marvin Hagler said. When you're sleeping in silk sheets, it's hard to fucking get up in the morning. It's hard to get up to go run those miles in the morning. So that's basically what happened to McGregor. Money, power, status. It brings comfort, and when you're comfortable, it's hard to voluntarily become uncomfortable to go fucking train at 5 in the morning. So McGregor fell from grace as far as being a champion. So yeah, his fall is quite sad as well. He's lost. He hasn't won a meaningful fight in fucking like almost a decade. Yeah, he beat fucking Cowboy. Cowboy was an old man, and that didn't really mean much to me. But he hasn't won a meaningful fight since like 2015, almost 10 years now. So that's sad to see. Yeah. There have been fighters who got all their power in the world and didn't lose their drive. You're right. Mayweather, Ali, Jones. Well, Jones actually is a fuck up. He's an outlier. He's such an outlier that he's a screw up and he still was world champion. But he's an outlier, so he's not a good example. But yeah, Ali, Mayweather, Canelo, GSP, Silva. Well, actually, Silva did power didn't get to his head. Age got to him, if anything. So yeah, but you're right. There are examples of guys that don't lose their drive. That's the difference between the greats and the difference between an all-time great and a great fighter is that an all-time great doesn't lose ambition, no matter how popular or how rich they become. Their drive is always there until they retire. McGregor doesn't. That's not in him. McGregor doesn't have the drive after the fact. He had it before. He was a lion before. He had all the fire in the world when he was broke and living on welfare. But once he tasted luxury, tasted the lavish lifestyle, that went away. And the reality is the majority of people will experience the same thing. There's not very many guys, fighters that have that type of ambition, to where like legacy overrides their comfort, their comfort. It's very, very rare to see that in a fighter. That's why the all-time greats are far, few and far between. Floyd, Ali, GSP, even other athletes, Brady, fucking Jordan. Like those guys have rare. They're so rare that they're rare amongst the rarest, if that makes any sense. They're rare in the rarest of pools, right? Because to become a great, first of all, you have to have elite talent from a physical standpoint, and to be an all-time great, you have to have that and have an elite, ambitious mindset, which is rare even in that rare pool, if that makes any sense. That's how fucking rare you have to be, right? To be like the all-time historically great fighter or athlete. That's how driven you have to be. It's very rare to be that kind of individual, and there ain't very many of them. You know, that's why they're all-time greats. Floyd, Tyson, Jordan. So Adrian Broner was a crazy fall off. Adrian Broner, dude, it was sad to see that, because I was in the midst of my boxing sort of, I guess, arc in my life when Broner was rising to fame. I remember he was supposed to be the next Floyd Mayweather. He was undefeated. He was a world champion. He was very cocky, like Floyd. He's trying to copy the blueprint. I get it. Floyd probably told him to do so. But then he met his match with Maidana. Maidana was a legacy killer. I think that's what they were calling him back in the day. Marcus Maidana. He was like the legacy killer. And when he fought Broner, he humbled him, dropped him, schooled him. And ever since then, Broner's just never been the same. Yeah, he's still a good fighter, but he's not elite, world-class competition. Ever since then, it changed him. It changed him forever. I think even from a mental standpoint, that kind of fall from grace, some people never recover from that. Ronda Rousey, Broner. There's some other examples out there, guys that fall from grace and never recover mentally. Because it's hard to take a loss like that when you're on top of the world. So um, it's a tough pill to swallow for athletes and people in general. When you fall that hard on your face, it's hard to recover. So yeah, Adrian Broner is a good example. I saw that fall for myself. I've seen him at the top, and I saw him fall from grace. It's sad to see. So that was sad to see for sure. Just take a look at it, and yeah, in the Boruto chapter 71, Bug reveals that Damon has to be touching someone for his ability to activate. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah. So the Hanzo nerf of getting weaker once you lose conviction and drive happens in real life. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Confidence is extremely pivotal. I would say not even just in athletics, but any field of discipline. Confidence is the difference between being world class and being just a regular person. Absolutely. Because there's a lot of talented people in the world that lack conviction, and they're never sort of illuminated to the world because they lack it. They lack the conviction to act on their gifts. It happens all the time. I know gifted fighters. I know gifted people that lack the drive. They'd rather stay inside and put their feet up and fucking watch Netflix all day and live a normal life. They don't have the fucking ambition to try and strive for, greatness. And it could be a genetic thing. I'm sure it is. It's an environmental thing. Depends on your upbringing and many, many factors that are both internal and external. But yeah, loss of conviction and drive certainly happens, especially when you fall from grace and take, a hard shot. When you fall that hard from the top, it's like you're falling off a fucking building. It hurts. So it certainly happens in real life. And anime does display that quite nicely too. So certainly. Have you seen Chandler Jones? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chandler Jones, the brother of John Jones, great athlete. But yeah, I've seen some of the issues he's been going through. It's kind of strange. Maybe CTE. He's like Antonio Brown. Yeah, yeah. Antonio Brown's even worse, dude. That guy has some fucking demons. If you even just look at interviews from him when he was still in this with the Steelers, the guy was a regular person, class act, polite, professional. Now you look at him now, he looks like a completely different person. Aggressive, like unnecessarily aggressive, uh, disrespectful, slurs his words more, his vocabulary's gone down. Like it has to be fucking CTE, dude. Or just all the trauma you took from taking hits to the fucking head. Like it's sad to see, man. That's fucking sad. because Antonio Brown's an all-time great receiver, whether people want to admit it or not. I don't like Antonio Brown, but he's an all-time great receiver in his prime. One-on-one, he's one of the best I've ever seen. He went against Hall of Fame fucking corners and made him look like dog shit. You know, he made him look like dog shit. I remember his performance against Jacksonville in the playoffs. They had two all pro corners on his ass, and he fucking mossed both of them. Like that's how good he was. You just couldn't stop him. So it is sad to see him fall like that. It really is. JJK taught me so much about having conviction, going all out when I'm gambling on some. JJK is so appealing because it displays that sort of theme very well. All right, it displays guys that have to do they have to do all it takes to win, right? Especially Yuji, right? Because Yuji was just this kid that was just some kid, right? He had all his potential, had this tough sort of journey to progress through, had a prodigy fucking sensei, and then that's kind of all ripped from him, right? With the Shibuya arc, his fucking friends dying before his fucking eyes, his fucking Nanami and all these guys dying before his eyes, and he stood tall. He stood tall, and he rose to the occasion. We saw that against Mahito, and that was his conviction speaking there, because Mahito was trying to break him. He was telling him, "You and me are more alike than you think," right? And then at first he's denying it. He's like, "No, I'm not like you." And at the end of the altercation, he tells him, "You know what? We are alike." He tells him, "No matter how many times you keep coming, I'll just kill you again and again. Like my ambition's here now." Right? That's kind of the testament of how important conviction is. And we see that with Gojo and Sukuna. That kind of inspired Yuji to let loose and let his ambition to drive him. He still has a humanity, right? And this is another thing I like about JJK. Gojo and Sukuna dichotomy. They both have pros and cons, right? Gojo doesn't really have the ambition that Sukuna has, but Sukuna lacks the humanity that Gojo has. Yuji has both. So that's what I like about the ideologies in JJK. Do you know any IRL examples of someone who was goated but became a loser due to losing their drive and conviction? Connor's a good example. I wouldn't say he's a loser, but he definitely fell from grace. Another example. I know a lot of fighters as well, and not even during their career, but after the fact, where they just fell apart. They just fell apart. They lost their drive. Let's see. Athletes as well fall from grace. A lot of guys, what happens is it's not even when they're during the midst of their career, it's after the fact. Like, for example, this is a story I know because I knew a guy that knew Roberto Duran. For the boxing fans that know who he is, he's one of the greatest of all time. He was so talented, but the problem with Duran is he lacked an education because he was from Panama, right? He's from Panama, and he was so gifted. They call him the Hands of Stone, right? That's his fucking nickname for the hardcore fans. He beat guys like Leonard. I mean, he went to war with guys like fucking Hagler and Hearns, and he was a fucking monster. But his lack of drive made him fall, right? And in fact, the guy told the story that knew Duran, he grew up in Panama with him. He said the night he fought, I believe it was Hagler, he got high. Like, he got fucking high before he fought one of the greatest boxers of all time. And he got fucked up because he lacked the drive and discipline to do the work that it takes to be a world champion. He has all the talent in the fucking world. The guy hits like a fucking truck. But because of his complacency, he fell. And then he went broke. After his career, he went broke. He just fell from grace. So yeah, there is instances where guys fall from grace because they lose that drive. It's the climb that gives the drive for most people, right? When you're in a state of suffering, you want to escape that state. But once you're no longer in a state of suffering, it's more of a discipline thing. There's a difference between desperation and discipline. You can make any person desperate, right, with enough suffering. You can't make any person disciplined. Because discipline requires you to engage in these tough acts regardless of whether you're suffering or not. Right? That's the difference. the difference between desperation and discipline. And most people won't have discipline after a certain level of comfort, right? That's why in a first world country, there's I don't want to talk shit, but there's more obesity problems, etc., because they don't have to be disciplined. There's no incentive for it. In fact, in today's climate, I don't want to get political, but there is actual deterrence from being disciplined. People talking shit about you, people thinking you have a god complex, whatever. It's actually very interesting how it's counterproductive to be disciplined in a first world country in a lot of ways. More so external ways, but yeah, it's an interesting discussion. Joe Rogan. Shout out to Joe Rogan, man. Jay, have you heard of Muay Thai Visa? I haven't heard of that. I know what Muay Thai is. It's a very good discipline to learn, but I haven't heard of that specific thing now. Where's Batman at? I think he's busy right now though. But yeah, folks. Great questions, by the way. Great questions. I like engaging in like philosophical stuff sometimes. So, but yeah, like I said, there's a difference between desperation and discipline. If you look at it that way, it's actually very interesting. Do you know any IRL examples of someone who lost a fight but would have won if they weren't mentally nerfed? Oh yes, Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas. Mike Tyson was a fuck up at that point. He said that he was getting wasted in Japan. Probably came into that fight fucked up. Like the example I just gave, Roberto Duran got high on fucking coke before he fought fucking Hagler and got his ass whooped. He was definitely mentally nerfed. He was intoxicated. So
he ain't built like John Jones.
yeah. So yeah, people were asking me about like real life examples of guys that lose their drive, like Conor McGregor, for example, guys like that. And they were talking about like the
The bottom line is
comparisons.
you just don't do fucking drugs.
Yeah, drugs is fucking
If you're
stupid
doing
in general.
professional sports, it doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing. If you're going into something professional, you don't do substances.
Yeah,
That's
drugs in
you're
general
literally
isn't.
hindering your body,
Yeah,
your mind, you name it. Like it's just there's cons to it, and it's just not worth. Like if you want to be the best of the best at what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing that bullshit. You shouldn't be doing any bullshit, you know?
yeah,
Now if you want to be content and just settle and be like mid or whatever, blah, blah, then whatever, you do you. But
yeah,
if you're
exactly.
trying to be the best, that shit ain't gonna work. You're gonna fucking underperform because it affects so many things. It's a
Yeah,
domino
if you want to
effect.
be an all-time great, you have to have like an
Yeah.
inexhaustible
You need
ambition.
to be the exception once again, like John
Yeah,
Jones.
exactly. You got to be like the outlier. Also, what's the thumbnail topic about? The Spider-Man 2 game update. Oh, March 7th, they're gonna drop an update for Spider-Man 2. They're gonna drop New Game Plus, and apparently they're gonna drop new suits as well, like new Spider-Man suits. I think
They
for
don't
both.
have a new game plus. What
Yeah,
the
apparently they were gonna drop it sooner, but they're having trouble at Insomniac. I don't know what the fuck was happening, and they're barely
wait,
dropping
wait,
it.
wait,
And
wait.
yeah,
That's
barely gonna
fucking
drop that
crazy
shit.
because they have it for Miles, they have it for the other game. In the Arkham games,
Yeah,
that was just a given.
that was a
So,
given.
like,
Yeah,
you're telling me in 20
barely.
fucking 23, they
Yeah.
don't have a new game. What do you do if you beat the game then?
Yeah, I just have it sitting there. The only reason I haven't deleted it is because they're gonna drop it on the March
Yeah,
7th.
fact.
It's
And
about
I'll do the
fucking
same. But
time
like,
though,
what?
man. Fuck.
But what I'm curious about, like, when you beat the game, so what? You can only free roam now and just fight
Yeah,
crime?
like I 100%ed it. But there's
Yeah,
literally nothing to fucking do except like the random fucking
yeah, like
like the
crime encounters.
yeah, the random crown encounter. So I just
That's
been like
crazy, bro.
I haven't played it since I literally
At least
100%ed it.
Yeah, at least you can like still free roam and shit, but
Yeah.
that's weird. What the
I don't know
fuck?
why
Like,
I know
bro, like
it's
Arkham Asylum had new game plus,
yeah, it's fucking
like, like immediately, like,
yeah. The visa is like a traveling visa. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I know what a visa is, a traveling visa, yeah. I have friends that competed in Thailand, Muay Thai. I've never went to Thailand. Muay
my
Thai, I never.
quick question, because I don't care about this spoiler, but like,
Yeah.
are you able to use the symbiote suit at all times, or you eventually lose it?
Yeah, you could use it. They actually updated that. You could actually use it. Yeah, which is actually pretty dope. So they actually let you now. At first you couldn't, but now you can. I know for sure now. You could use the symbiote suit with Spider-Man, which is actually kind of dope. But yeah, I've had friends that have gone to Thailand to compete in Muay Thai. I've never done Muay Thai. I started on MMA and then I've done boxing for a long fucking time, like decade plus. I know Noodle says I don't have experience, but just compare me to him is night and day. But yeah, boxing is my main like thing. But yeah, I respect Muay Thai though. It's definitely a good thing. Buster Douglas had a mental buff because his mom passed away. Yeah, he promised his mom he was gonna win that shit, bro. That's the ultimate fucking amp, bro. That's facts. Wasn't there a certain fighter who mentally amp himself before fights by imagining his opponent trash talking him and his family? Probably is. There probably is fighters that do that shit. There's guys that go into that shit like it's a war. You think a good example is probably Alex Pereira. That guy, dude. If you look at him when he's walking into the fucking octagon, dude, that motherfucker looks like he's gonna kill you. That guy puts himself in a different headspace when he fights. Like he's there for fucking war. Marvin Hagler, another guy. He used to have stories where, in general, even preparing for a fight, he would mentally amp himself. They say that he used to run in the fucking streets at like 3 in the morning, freezing fucking cold, and he's like screaming war in the streets while he was running, preparing for his next boxing bout. The guys like that are always amping themselves before fight and before fights. Guys like Hagler, like Pereira, guys like that are always fucking amped. You know, they play that mental warfare game with themselves to amp themselves. You know, so the mental part of the game is almost as important as the physical part in you know, for athletes. So good afternoon. What's going on, Maui Gaming Channel? Molly Gaming Channel. But yeah, folks, we'll go about 20 minutes or so. Unless someone donates, we'll go a little longer. I am enjoying the philosophical tangents for sure. Appreciate the questions and donations from all the goats as well. And by the way, I haven't reminded you folks, but if you haven't already, if you're watching this live or in general, the recording, make sure to hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated for sure. Appreciate that. But yeah, folks, any questions? Any questions here? Go about 15 or so. Great questions though, by the way. Obviously, I'm a big combat sports fan. I'm probably as big as I am an anime fan, to be honest. So, if I'm being honest. But yeah, any questions before we depart? But yeah, this is a great, talking about combat sports, it's a great year for combat, man. UFC and boxing wise, a lot of great bouts coming. A lot of great bouts. UFC 300, Canelo apparently is going to fight Jamie Mungua for the hardcore fans. You guys know who that is. Apparently he's fighting him in May. Haney versus Garcia. A lot of good shit. Who you got? Page or Holland on the 299 card? That's a great question. Page for his organization, he's established. Holland has skills, so it's hard to really compare because obviously the pool of competition in other organizations doesn't compare to the UFC. And the guys Holland has lost to have been like dogs, like fucking Kamza. I mean, the guy fucking is a monster. Can't really blame him for losing to Kamza. He lost really badly. He lost in like fucking 30 seconds, but the guy's a fucking animal. I hope it's competitive. I would say Page certainly has more experience than Holland. Holland is quite gifted. They even have like similar physical attributes. They're both long and rangy. Um, it's gonna be a good fight. I would lean towards Page because of the experience. Because I would deduce he has the better striking as well because of the experience as well. More technical, more than likely as well with comparison to Holland. Holland's more green in that aspect. I'd probably say Page got it if I had to choose between those two. Page just has more experience. He's been more tested. Regardless of Holland being in the better organization, I think Pages is more tested in general. Um, do you agree with Machiavelli's argument that peaceful revolutionaries are likely to fall and fail, while violent ones are more likely to succeed? In certain ways, I agree. If you're talking from a purely like territorial standpoint, as far as like making change, peace typically doesn't do that. As far if you want to make forceful change and create a revolution, even from a historical standpoint, uh, you know, people in positions of power won't hear you out unless you're a threat to them, right? Because they have more power over you. So if you're a peaceful revolutionary, they're either gonna kill you or they're just gonna ignore you. But if you use violence, where you know you're threatening people in power's lives, then change is more likely. Compromise is more likely. So in a way, I agree. I agree in a practical standpoint. From a practical standpoint, from a pragmatic standpoint, I agree. From a moral standpoint, I don't. Because I think going back to like the ideology of a vicious cycle, I think violence is just meant with more violence. I think resentment is built when you're violent towards a group of people. That's the way I look at it. So it's debatable. It's debatable. Short term, I would say it's probably better, more optimal. Long term, I think you're just gonna create more violence because you're gonna have people that resent you because of the violence. So
My bad. I'm back, brother. What was happening?
someone asked, do you agree with the argument that peaceful revolutionaries are likely to fail while violent ones are more likely to succeed? That's a good question.
Uh, yeah, it's a very good question. You can kind
Yeah.
of advocate for either or, but
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like a
so
yeah.
yeah, like what was your thought process? I'm actually
I
curious if
said
you think similar.
yeah, I said from a short-term standpoint, like in real time,
Yeah,
obviously violence and threatening people in power will lead to change because if someone in power feels
yeah,
threatened, they're more likely to compromise. But
facts.
long term, you're going to create resentment if that's how you make change. Like for example, if you
Yeah,
force change
cycle of
in a
hatred
group,
and shit.
exactly, yeah, that's what I was saying. Cycle of hate, like the cyclical nature will continue. Like years from now, generations later,
Or greedy for
may
power, or wanting to be
yeah,
better. Like look at North Korea.
exactly. Like generations later, those people will want to avenge their like ancestors for what you did to
Yep,
them, and then they're gonna fucking revolt on your ass. Like so, it's like,
yep.
I would say peaceful revolutions are probably better for long term. Violence is probably better
Facts.
for short term. That's probably what I would say.
Yeah, yeah, like if
Yeah.
you want something right away, yeah, it's contingent upon the periodic like timetable basically. So it's
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
if it's short and you need something whatever, yeah, obviously sure, but then again, as you said, there's pros and cons to everything because if you do violence and it's in the long haul, then nah, you're gonna have problems in the future. Violence
Yeah,
just incites more conflict. It's as simple as that. You kind of learn that message very heavily in Naruto,
exactly.
so
It's
and
like
it's just how the real world works as well. It's like
yeah,
the current wars that we have now, Afghanistan, what that we had for how long with them.
yeah.
It's just
It's even like
yeah.
in the United States, like they always advocate the peaceful transition of power, like with president from president
Always.
to president. And look what
Yeah.
happened when Trump implied that the election was rigged. What did that cause? January 6th, right? And there's like all this
Yep.
shit in the White House. So
And
that's
a
what
bunch of
happens.
craziness. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And then not only that, like another problem too. I don't know if you agree, but it also is contingent upon if you're actually more powerful than the people you're going against, because
exactly. Yeah,
at that point, it actually wouldn't even be short. You're still going to have a long term issue because if it's like the U.S. against like a fucking small little, I don't know, fucking country or village or whatever, you know what I mean, like something that's irrelevant. Obviously, we dominate whatever. There you go. For the short, it's great. But let's
yeah,
say it's like Russia or I don't know another mate or China or whatever. That's gonna be a long war. That ain't being short.
yeah. That's gonna cause like a fucking probably a world war with that two
Yeah, but
superpowers.
exactly. Yeah, that's just
Uh,
that's what I'm saying. So like overall, like I'll be honest, peaceful long wise, it probably has way more pros. If I'm being honest with
yeah,
you,
there's a reason
it's
why
really
the
contingent.
Yeah, there's a reason why the United States has stood for like 200 plus years because of peaceful transition of power.
The
Like
reason why
obviously,
Naruto also wanted to have fucking peace and not fight unless as a last resort.
yeah, like he wasn't forced until the fucking Suitsuki came, where he couldn't deal with it anymore. Like the power's too great for him to
Yeah,
deal
there
with.
was no
But
talk no jutsu because they don't care.
yeah, they
They're
don't give a
very
fuck about
religious.
you. They're
There's no or people
yeah,
like Madara. They don't give a fuck.
yeah.
So
It's like in the real world, like peace usually is a better way. Obviously, it's not black and white, but in
no.
general, peace is the better way. That's how empires and
Yeah,
superpowers last.
Naruto realized that after getting talk no jutsu from Pain from
Yeah,
Nagato. Once he got like beaten up and then like and kind of like bitched and like then like put in his place like on facts and shit and how reality works. Which is literally based upon what we're basically talking about as well. He immediately finally matured in a mindset into where he realized, sure, I can go to fucking Payne's hideout and just kill him or whatever, but what would that really do? You know what I mean? What would
yeah,
that
exactly.
really accomplish and solve? And it literally everything we're talking about right now. So that's why he was even arguing with fucking Eno's dad and all those people. And he's like, yeah, but if I fucking kill him and whatever, it's just gonna do this and this and this and this. So no, let me talk to the guy and let me confirm something, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
Because Naruto was conflicted between the exact question that you're answering. Is violence good for short term, or or is it good to do short term violence? Is that better, or to have peace for long term? So yeah, so
yeah, exactly. But yeah, folks, probably gonna wrap it up there. We've been about almost 4 hours. This is a great stream.
oh,
It went from JJK to extremely philosophical, which I don't mind. So
And then the fucking Walking Dead
The
zombie.
Walking Dead shit. We had to clip that shit. That shit was actually pretty goated.
Oh yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, shout out to Kedrick. That was a good question by him.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, we have the full squad. I'm trying to work on a couple guests as well for you guys. More
Sure.
goats. Shout out to the ones I've been on. Swag,
Yep.
Six, TG the Goat. Shout out to him.
I'll be
Everyone,
honest, we're
Daigo.
spoiling you people. We've been bringing back-to-back guests like in quick succession too. Like we're not even
Yeah.
taking our time.
Yeah,
Or
we're
doing
trying
it
to
as like a
bring you
monthly
guys.
thing or multiple. Like we're being really nice.
Yeah, we're trying to bring all the goats for you this year. We've had quite a few of them on already. We got a few left in mind. But yeah, we hope you folks enjoyed, and we'll see you next week, folks. Have a good one. Stay classy.
Peace.
Peace. Right. All right, that was not a bad stream.